Everyone demands the music. Ain't that right? Gibbs. Let's not bring that up. Thank you, fellas, for being here. The music's important, right?
It's such a bad
People
song.
said the favorite part of the show is the music. But for you,
I was
Connor,
jamming in the back.
because it was good. Yeah, everyone loves it. Everyone's jamming. Yeah, there you go.
The little royalty-free music.
The best kind of music. Like,
I'm gonna be honest. I hate
Like,
I don't like people who listen to video game music in real life. You don't really like it.
I 100% agree. It's like, what are you talking about? You like
Well,
fucking...
people listen to Kingdom Hearts music all the time. I don't know.
Yeah, wait, hold on. I know they exist. They're terrible people.
And
Kingdom
don't
Hearts
have
music is
they're
terrible
not in
music.
they're not in sold. That's the problem with them.
in soul? Sorry, what do you mean?
They don't have a soul.
Oh, don't have a soul. Okay.
Yeah. It's a Catholic term. They're not in sold.
Okay, sorry. I've never heard that before.
You
But
gotta get up on your
But it's like I just feel like they just want to be a part.
This
of
is the
something.
wrong
They're like,
opinion,
Like
by
this
the
is
way.
my personality.
Yeah.
So I like the video game music and I play the video game and I wear the video but you don't really like this.
I
Yeah,
agree.
unless
There
you're
is-
listening
and
to
it's
like
this-
GoldenEye 007, then
No,
you get
Well,
no.
There-
They
you guys-
do have some pretty
That's
fire
the one that
007.
You guys are
EDM
just
remixes.
wrong. You guys are wrong. There's so much good music on video games. You guys are wrong.
No one's
Yeah,
saying that
those-
there's not
those
good
GoldenEye
music
remakes.
while you're playing video games, but it's not
Hold on,
good
yeah.
enough to check out while you're not playing the video games.
When I was at
That's
Freaky
crazy.
Deaky, they played
Yeah,
one of the
that's the thing, like,
nastiest
you listen to
GoldenEye
music.
EDM remixes I've ever heard, and I had to immediately download it. I was like, that's fire.
Yeah, but that's made for your consumption. It's different.
Maybe you can remix something.
Well, that's
what
neither
about
here
all
nor
the-
there,
what-
Hunter,
old,
okay?
like an ode or something?
It's neither
What
here
about
nor
all
there.
the music tracks on Madden and 2K?
Those are different because they're pulling.
Oh,
This
those
is
are
regular
different.
No, wait, hold on.
Okay.
Those are obviously
Okay.
different. That's just a song that they hosted
on
this
the
radio
on
music.
what is the song
Yeah.
going?
You're so
Video
Stop.
game. Yep.
You don't
Yep,
believe
yep.
this. You know the distinction that we're
Yep.
making. It's actually not
Saying
even a little
irrelevant.
bit not confusing.
So, my friend Bam, right? He says
This also applies to
specific-
anime OSTs.
he he says this
Bam, you're just so
specifically-
wrong right now. I've never
he
disagreed
said-
with you more in my life.
Well, you'll find more reasons to disagree with Bam. Don't worry, he'll always give you more. But he says this specifically to antagonize me. He knows what he's doing, right? Look at his fucking face. He knows what he's doing. Of course, I'm one of the people.
I
who
do
watch
mean this from the bottom of my
this-
heart, but yes, it feels better to. I know it affects you as well.
Yeah, so of course
I
I'm
no,
one of
but I
watch-
do, but like I judge you more, Prime.
What happened? Why is Prime getting judged?
because I listen to video
Oh,
game music.
like I was saying that, like, people who, like,
unironically
listen to
outside of
anime-
video games.
The WWE also has some fire ass theme songs too. That I
Those are
played.
different. We're talking about what's it called? Not acapella, the opposite of instrumentals.
Go on, you can have one. So there's instrumental music in video games. And
You
then
playing
there's,
lo-fi in the
that's
background
made
of your
for the video
stream?
game?
Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah.
Yes.
Damn, you're
But
having
like
some
you're
interruptions,
actually
network
listening to
interruptions.
lo-fi. You put it
But-
in your headphones and then you go for a jog. You are not insold. I stand by it. If you
So,
do that
okay.
behavior,
So there is instrumental music
Wrong
made for
opinions.
video games, and then there's vocals, like there's songs with vocals made for video games, right? Both of them, I listen to both of them. Both of them can be equally valid. If you like a music,
You jam the game
music,
soundtracks?
what different? Yeah, well, what
Fucking
difference does it-
lit.
Yeah, what difference
Hell
does it
yeah.
make where it comes from? Yeah, you're back, Bam.
the difference is that there's a good place and a bad place. That's the difference.
Good music is good for whenever place.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Which is
Okay.
why the good music is always preferential to listen to.
I
agree.
think soundtrack
That's not
music is
true.
specific to the soundtrack. I need the ambiance around it. Never in my day am I walking around feeling enough like Link to be listening to Link's music. You know, that's kind of I think the
thank
issue.
you. Thank you.
So at my wedding, I had like
I'm just
all,
at
I had,
Amazon
like,
putting
all theme
packages
music.
away listening.
We had
Yeah,
like we had
isn't that
like Zelda
crazy behavior,
instrumental,
Ollie?
they were like the
Like he's just like he's
orchestra
at
shit.
work and he's got fucking headphones and listening to Zelda.
Ocarina of Time in the background.
Why is
Yeah.
that crazy? Sorry, go ahead, Gibbs.
I'll say, yeah. So when I did my wedding, one of the things we did for like the little cocktail hour, we had like all the like band shit, but we had a live band play like classical versions of like the Ocarina of Time, and we had like Star Wars shit, but it was like all like classical, like artsy fartsy
You
and
would.
people
have
were trying to
Star
like
Wars in the
guess which ones they
background.
were. Yeah, well, my whole wedding was Star Wars themed at the time, but yeah, people like guessing the theme songs, like that's this song. I'm like, that's right. It's pretty good.
Gibbs,
Connor,
can I
what's
just
your
say,
take on
I'm glad
game
that Disney-
theme music?
I'm glad that Disney took over Star Wars and low-key kind of ruined it for you. Like
Hey, it's
that
a-
makes me happy inside.
It's fine. Hey, I mean, you know what low-key makes me happy?
What's
That,
that?
that you're happy.
Oh, that's sweet. Thanks, Gibbs.
Yeah. Okay. I think you should be able to enjoy.
By the way,
whatever you
Hunter,
want.
I blame
You
all this.
can
to
do
you.
whatever
don't even
you
know.
want.
I called a
And
Jew.
part of doing whatever you want is me
Hold on.
judging what you're
Last
doing.
week because of Hunter.
Hold on.
That's all
What
Hunter-
is Gibbs
That's
screaming about? What is he?
Hunter has caused that people now.
Freedom
Every
of
time I
speech,
post
baby.
a TikTok, they all think that I'm a Jew now because of Hunter. I just get Mossad comments and
Hold
Jew
on.
comments. on my
Here's
shit
what's
now.
crazy. You think I'm a Jew? I went to
You
fucking
told us you
Sarah's-
were a Jew.
Wait, you are Jewish.
I'm Jewish.
He's
I'm-
Jewish-ish.
Now they think
I'm
I'm a
not-
Jew.
no, no,
I'm
no.
literally like back to
No,
the
no, no,
Neanderthals
no,
level
no, no,
genetics.
no, no.
Ask
There's a
me.
distinction. Hold on. There's a distinction because there's a distinction between like religious Jews, like Orthodox Jews, and then those who just like their
They're
mom
talking
is
genetic
Jewish.
Ashkenazi or some
There's
shit.
a difference.
Yeah, he's
no, but he
ethnically-
brought
Yeah,
me
your
onto
mom's
onto
gotta
a
be
debate,
Jewish.
onto a religious debate on the Bible, and I'm like, oh, I'm an atheist. I'm obviously going to take the other. And Sarah's
Sure.
like,
Yeah,
oh, well,
well,
you're the Jew on
regardless,
the
they all
debate.
think I'm part of the Mossad because of you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hunter. It's all your
If
fault.
you think
Okay.
if you think I care how bad you are having it, think about how amplified it is for me. You're just getting it.
I just send them to your TikTok. I just post.
Gibbs,
your
it's just
TikTok
that you're
link.
looking more Eastern European every day. You know.
I know.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
we are
let's
from
get-
there.
I gotta start
Let-
learning to dodge. I guess.
Ali, you agree we are
Let's
from
get
there?
started.
From where?
From the from Palestine.
Who's from there?
The savant. From
I guess
Like,
I mean, all of
the Levant,
civilization
the
did
Levant.
kind of start in Africa, I guess. So, like, I mean, technically, we're all, you know.
Yeah.
That's true.
Let's
That's
get
why we
started
all
on
get
this,
the
fellas.
N pass.
Hell yes.
Oh boy.
Get
we're
him,
gonna
Bam. Get him,
started.
Riddell. Get him.
Wait, hold on,
I'll
is
join
that
too,
not
guys.
true, Brian?
It's okay.
I'm not
It's okay.
doing this.
I join. I'm slightly more melanated than the rest. Just a little bit.
So we're gonna get started. Hey, on that note, guys, everyone, right? So Twitch is being a bit more strict with language. Notices have gone out, so just be aware of that. So hey, guys, be very careful as to what you say. No slurs. I mean, you guys are pretty good any which way. Like, there's not like a big deal on my panel, right? But I just need to say that, right?
Well, Hunter was baiting me
Um,
there.
Hunter's been baiting me too.
Now what? Saying the N word?
No, with your question.
But
What am I
just-
doing?
It's fine. It's fine, Hunter. It's okay. Okay. But guys, seriously, just be aware of your language. I don't do anything that can get any of us in trouble. All right. I know that can be quite expansive on social media platforms today, but we're just trying to do our best, right? So no one just be careful, all right?
Yeah, Bam, watch your
Um,
shit, man.
Yeah.
That's
Okay, so I just wanted to state that, and we'll focus on the main topic, and we'll get started now, right? Because I think there's a lot to discuss, and we got a full panel. Haven't had a full panel in such a long time. So I'm really excited that we have all of you. My voice did a weird thing just then. Don't point it out. Okay.
You want to resend that topic?
You want to clip that?
You want to resend that topic there, Prime?
Yeah, because you got to dig through fucking a lot
Okay.
to find the. You know what I'm
I
talking
mean,
about?
I got it. My original DM. You know,
Sorry, did
'cause
I-
you
did
guys
I
not
send
get
the wrong
private
topic
DM
before?
before
No,
he
no, no.
added
No, I was
it?
just
I'm
just making a joke at the 3,000 text in this.
I had to
thread, but yeah.
mute that shit last night.
Oh,
that to be
oh,
muted.
I see.
Blasted.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, we're here and we're focused on the topic. Okay. So anyway, thanks all for being here.
For now.
Much appreciated. Guys, if you enjoy this space, you beautiful people out there, consider following the channel. You've done so before. Hit the follow button wherever you happen to be. I'm on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick. So consider following me at PRIMECAYS. Would love to have you. All right. So we're gonna get started. I'm gonna read the topic and then we'll go around with intros. Okay, so in the House of Representatives, there is an unprecedented turnover happening. More incumbents have lost their seats than has happened in decades. This is paired with at least 62 members not seeking re-election. Much of this current turnover has been driven by a progressive wave washing away centrist Democrats. I was trying to be poetic there. However, we saw a similar situation a decade ago when Republicans were being defeated across the country during the Tea Party Revolution. This is a good thing. Is there a benefit to having long-term institutional stability through long-serving members? Does this strengthen the country or hurt it? Should incumbents be protected by their party? Or should the party step back and let voters decide one way or another? Does your answer change when people coming into office are extreme? However you define that. I'll leave that up to you. But yeah, so just a little bit more expansion on that. Yeah, this is huge. Right? This is I mean, as huge as it can be, right? So far, I think I believe in total like 9 people have lost races, which doesn't sound like much, but like incumbency is extremely powerful, right? Like the fact that that number sounds so low is because that generally doesn't happen. Incumbents just come into office and sit there for decades. Lindsey Graham just died on his seat, right? So that's just how it goes in American politics. Incumbency has a lot of power. And then again, right, like because for various reasons, but at least one of the reasons why those 62 members have not sought re-election is because they understand this is a big change election that's happening. They can see that there's a lot of headwinds coming at them. And so to preserve their political power, right, they leave office. It's always better if you don't lose a race. Even if you just leave before you're about to lose a race, right, that's better than losing a race. So they'll do that, right? But this is a big thing. Like we lose like a lot with that, right? There's a lot of people who've been there for so long and know how the House works, know how to quote unquote get things done in Congress. Oh, I have a big problem with that, but I'll go with that for a second. There are it's just knowledge that's just lost, right? Is that okay, right? Or should we be more interested in like this new energy that's being put in, right? Again, new energy was put in for the Republicans when the Tea Party came through, right? A lot of new energy. And then Donald Trump happened, right? Like the Republicans were ascendant when all that came through. Yeah, like maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. I was actually going to let Bam go first, but he's having trouble because Bam is the one who inspired this topic. And hopefully he can get his network connection in order because I really want to hear from him. But as always, right, we start for White Man.
I have better things to say than Bam. So,
well, sorry about good friend Blacktoid.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
It's only good that I go first. I did win the coin flip that happened early on in this.
Was a rock, paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors, my bad. I won the rock, paper, scissors early on. It's been so long, I forget what kind of game of chance it was.
Rock, paper, scissors has a little bit of luck, a little bit of skill.
Fair enough.
Coin flips
I'll take it. I'm
0%.
better. I agree. I'm better. And so the White Man goes
Calm down,
first.
Homelander. Calm down, Homelander. I'm better.
So I just want to comment. I think one of the greatest degenerations of our political arena has been in the fact that we can't say slurs on Twitch, as Prime just warned us. That is entirely you people, you lefties. This is not the right that is causing this. This is a direct responsibility.
We agree.
This is the culture war, and I think that you guys should be held responsible for that, hopefully someday. In terms of the broader question of, well, how are things going in American politics? I know everybody likes to be doomer and everybody likes to have this nostalgia for how great things were back in the 80s when you could smoke on planes. I mean, hey, it's pretty good to me. But I think that the reality here is that generally things are better. But in terms of politically, I think things are just nuanced, right? There's some good things. And there's some bad things. There's things that I agree with more. So I think we've been a lot less interventionist. I know we still are because we're still America. But when you compare it to the full-scale invasions that we were doing in the early thousands, I think that we are less interventionist. And we're a little bit easier on things like weed than what we used to be. I mean, and drugs generally. I mean, that was a pretty serious thing that we undertook. We are getting a little bit worse on free trade, which I think is bad economically. And we're kind of seeing this on both sides of the aisle as well when it comes to both, tariffs and then also taxation. More from the tariffs more on the right now and taxation more on the left. But generally speaking, obviously, I think the left has gone much further left since the 90s than the right has gone right. If you want to go step by step and look through every single specific policy platform. And I think that is a major problem. And I've said this before, I think Democrats thus pose a major serious threat to the politics of the country. And it's only been getting worse since the DSA has been winning elections. Avowed socialists and some of them avowed Marxists, are openly winning elections and beating the centrist sort of long-standing Democrat politicians in the primaries. Some of you are cool with that. Some of you are lamenting it. But I think it represents a serious shift in how your party deals with itself and what kind of people that your party is appealing to. And I think that's much more of a serious threat than the Tea Party or even MAGA. In terms of the other question here, what about all these people, Nancy Pelosi's, these people have been in politics forever. Are we losing something when they're leaving? To some extent, yeah. I think fresh blood is good. I think that it prevents the development of stagnation, complacency, and political machines. I do think we do lose a little bit of expertise, long-term planning, people who are used to all the mechanisms and procedures of everything. But on balance, I think it's generally good to get newer politicians, as long as they agree with me, mostly. To me, that policy is much more important than whether or not they're new or old, honestly. But assuming that two politicians, all else equal, I think having somebody new come in might be a good thing.
Thanks so much. And before we go on to the next person, we have a $20 super chat from Pondering Politics. Has a whole list of statements.
Damn it.
It says,
Just ignore the Star Wars one.
He has his own opening.
It says, I have messages. Tell Hunter I recently watched TROS. I don't know what that
The
is.
Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, okay. And thought of him every exquisite second. Oh, God, please.
He masturbates to it. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm not joking.
Talactoid. He's fascist but a stud.
Down 20 pounds, Josiah. I'm down 20 pounds.
Hell yeah.
Hey,
Congrats.
shout out
job,
to you.
brother.
Seriously, good work. Tell Gibbs Andor is the best. It is.
I agree.
You
It is amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Good opinions. Tell Connor Sheev would punk the God Emperor. Buddy, you'll have to help me out with that one.
Fuck you, Josiah.
Steve is Palpatine.
They also already have.
I think
they already have their
I'd
version of
still
Sheev
take the
in 40K.
Mandalorian.
They already have
I think
versions of Sheev
Mandalorian's
on 40K.
better
They
than
have Vangerich in the War of the Beast series.
Interesting.
He's in
So-
there. He's basically Palpatine, but weaker.
This is a debate between Warhammer, I believe, and Star Wars. Is that correct, Gibbs?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Connor is a big Warhammer fan as well. Did I translate well for the
You did.
plebs?
He did cool.
Which is surprising
Thank you.
because usually the Warhammer fans are the fascists. But anyway, continue.
True. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, thank you so much for the kind $20.
I also like Warhammer,
Pondering
so.
Politics. Yeah.
What's your army lactoid? What's your army lactoid?
Tau, don't judge me.
I'm judging. You never stop being a tanky. It's clear.
Let's go.
I'm sure
to
this is
our-
hilarious if I knew what was going on.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm lost. I'm sorry, friends. Let's go to our friend Hunter, who we haven't had here for a long time. Hunter, like we've
I know, it's
honestly
been-
missed you.
It's been busy. Thank you so much for having me again. Look, I think most people know where my political ideologies lie. I'm a centrist shill. No, I'm not a centrist shill. I would consider myself a progressive, but I'm definitely not aligned a lot with these DSA type. Sort of depends. I mean, Lander, I think, is okay. I think DAC is kind of a raging psycho. I think Hong is a raging psycho. I think there's definitely some psychos that are infested in our party right now that I'm a little bit worried about for sure. But I think the big frustration that I have right now with this conversation is the framing that I just cannot believe is occurring. Much of this current turnover has been driven by a progressive wave. No. I just really disagree with the framing here. I think that there are certain DSA candidates that are doing better than they thought. in extremely deep blue districts that are obviously more left wing than I am. But in the purple states and the rest of normal America, they don't do well. I think that progressives, I mean, it kind of depends on where we're looking at, but moderates are still doing okay. Progressives are still doing okay. DSA is doing, I mean, hats off to them. They're doing a better job historically than they ever have. But to call this the vast majority of the 62 members not seeking re-election is driven by this progressive wave, when there's like 8 representatives that we're referring to, and one of them was Stevens, who won by less than a percentage point in Michigan, or sorry, not Stevens, El Sayed, but beat Stevens. This feels crazy. I don't know. There's also another question: should incumbents be protected by their party? I don't know what this means. I always like fresh blood. I think that it's good that there should be some overturning. Obviously, there's some systemic reasons as to why incumbents do better than their party. They already have an established. They already have the ability to. I don't know. They've already got infrastructure that the newbies are up against. So I don't know exactly how to counter correct that. But if it's like, I don't know. I think incumbents are. I think when someone overturns an election, they're usually welcomed by the party. So I don't even know what that question means. I think that's about it. But yeah, I'm still going to vote for Hong. I'm still going to vote for El Sayed. I'm still going to vote for. I mean, not that I can.
You're going to vote in all those states?
I know.
Yeah, it's just
Overplayed your hand there.
Right. I can do that shit. I just go over there. I just mail
your
in votes,
hand.
and then I tell the Democratic Party in charge.
Wait, just real quick, Hunter, when they're saying like like should they be protected, they're talking about the people in the House, like Jeffries endorsing the incumbents, like they're talking about the endorsements. That's protection that they're talking about.
Of course, the Democratic primary should always endorse the primary winners. I think that it's fine that they endorse whoever they feel like is better in terms of like the actual primary. I don't know why that should not be controversial. I feel like I don't know what else to do about that.
They're talking about in the primary. So like obviously,
in the primary you can vote. You can endorse whoever you want.
But in the primary, they do kind of have rules that they endorse the incumbents. Like that's kind of just the way it's always been done.
Sure. So you can always just not endorse someone. I don't even okay. Of course. Obviously, if it's someone who you've been working with, you're more likely to endorse them, and also you don't want to endorse the wrong person, and then the person goes in, and it's like, oh shit, now I have to still work with them. I thought we were friends. Yeah, but if you have strong ideological, I don't know, if you're strongly ideologically consistent with them, then endorse them. I feel like I've been talking for too long. I'm gonna pass it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of always feel that way about you. But let's go to our friend.
Hell yeah, brother.
Let's go to our friend Gibbs, please.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, incumbents are good till they're not. Do you lose something when an incumbent that's been there 35 years or something is gone? Yeah, I mean, sure, you lose their connections, their power. But, if they're not getting the job done, just like John Cornyn wasn't doing it, just like Massey, just like some of these other people haven't been doing it, it's time to get the fuck out. I'm so excited that we're getting rid of all these neoliberal, neocon, uniparty, baby back bitches, and we're getting back to conservatism in the era of Polk, when we're going and rebuilding the American empire. I'm so excited the Greater North America plan is being put into effect, and we're back to modern Fortress America with the Don Roe Doctrine and controlling all these different ports all over the world, all these straits, all these wonderful things. This is what America's about. Whooping ass, taking names. I love it. And I'm excited to see these people that are not getting on board getting kicked off the train. And, if you're not going to sit here and get the job done, you're not going to vote for what the people want, it's time to go. And in fact, I'm going to say something crazy. Dan Patrick, he's in the pocket of big tobacco and big alcohol. And guess what? In Texas, there's a real chance now he might fucking get kicked out because he pissed off the farmers. He's pissed off the fucking smoke shop dealers. He's pissed off the people. And Republicans are now talking about voting blue or voting third party on the lieutenant governor slot. Ken Paxton's even mad because now he thinks that Talrico's got a chance because of the stupidity that Patrick has done. And whenever you do something stupid, you deserve to get booted. And so I think it's fine whenever you have an incumbent that gets kicked out. And people that say I'm a partisan hack, guess what? I'm saying right now I might vote third party or blue against Dan Patrick just to get him out, and I'll vote red on the rest. But hey, if you fuck up, you gotta go. And that's really how simple it is. Also, I do want to say, we have one more franchise in this room, and I think it's important because we're talking about America projecting peace overseas. So peace through power. I'm going to turn it over to Kane next. There we go. Thank you.
I know. Is that a
That's Brotherhood of Nod.
That's a Brotherhood of Nod, bro.
Yes, he knows that one. There you go.
Flashing
And I'm
flags.
fucking GDI all the way, so I am unsurprised by this development.
Yeah, I mean, I do have a religious background, so it makes sense.
They're the terrorists.
All right.
They also are the cool ones.
Wait, hold on. He loves terrorists. What do we? I don't understand the confusion.
Yeah, I like
Hey,
them
he
on our
wants to
side.
bomb
I think
terrorists.
Gibbs is
The
anti-terrorism.
GDI would have made more sense, but I still appreciate the reference.
Okay, fair enough. All
But
right.
but Tom looks like Kane, kind of, is the joke there.
Oh, okay.
You
All right.
actually did.
Oh.
All right, I see it.
Okay. All right. Well, Tom.
Look at you two getting along over here.
No,
This-
it's not gonna last.
Look at you two.
Best
It's
friends
not gonna last.
forever.
This is beautiful. What a
Pretty cute,
moment.
isn't it?
If I knew my shaved head could bring you guys together, I would have had it around you guys a lot sooner.
Go ahead, Tom.
I even did the DSA thing. Sorry.
Yeah, DSA sucks. The even the chapters are generally fucking nuts. I'm not progressive. I'm liberal, more moderate liberal. I think that a lot of these people are coming in and they have a lot of ideas and a lot of things that people want, and most likely a lot of it will end horribly in burning flames, as it usually does, and then we'll go back to the status quo. But currently, I do think that, like, the more far left factions, I think they are a real threat. I think that they are something that is really likely to take over. I think a lot of people keep playing these games of like, oh, so what if like a large portion of the Democrat Party says that they're in favor of socialism now and they're identifying as democratic socialists? They don't know what socialism means. That's worse. That's literally worse. That's how these like rabbit holes generally work, is people get you to identify with a label, but then they're able to use that tribalism to pull you in and keep using more and more policies to say, well, these are socialist policies. And they say, well, socialist policies, I'm in favor of socialism. I'm a socialist. So that's what I like now. And that's how they're able to pile more and more things on. And it doesn't go great generally. I think Mamdani's, I don't know how they still have money. I don't know when they're going to run out of money. I don't know what the fuck's going on over there, but I'm waiting to see if it works. I'm hoping for the best for them over there in New York, but I feel like they got to run out of money soon enough. And outside of that, yeah, I think we'll go back to tomfoolery was right all along, and we should start listening to him again.
Okay. All right, I got questions to
He
ask you
hated
later
that.
on, but let's go to our friend who we have also haven't had for a long time. Our friend Connor. Happy to have you, friend.
Oh,
Nice.
real quick,
Wow.
I do want to add it. I do think we should vote for them, though. Still blue, no matter who. Still vote for them.
Okay.
Still vote for them.
Me and Tom are locked together.
Hey, Bam. Consider using your phone if you're still having trouble. I'm not sure if you can hear me, Bam. But if you're consider using your
hear you.
phone, yeah. If
Okay.
you're
It's
very good
pretty
connection, having
glitchy.
trouble. Yeah.
Let's
Let's
move on
go
to
to our
Gibbs'
friend
best
Connor.
friend. Go ahead.
Yeah. Connor?
Yeah, if it's me, then I think a generational change into the guard is good. We do live in a gerontocracy, which is unfortunate. I do feel like a lot of our systems are stagnant because of the lack of vision of the previous generations. They're happy to live in what they've already built, but they're not thinking about what needs to be built for the next generation. However, I do think that the prevalence of populist and more extremist politics is a bad bellwether for our country. I'm worried that the younger generation are dumb and easily manipulated. And so that's something that I'm very worried about. If the incumbents / moderates / centrists don't actually take governing this country more seriously, then MAGA is definitely going to remain a power broker in the Republican Party long after Trump is dead. And Democratic Socialists will become the American Labor Party. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, in Australia and in the United Kingdom, the Labour Party is effectively their far left party. It is filled with social democrats, but also with ardent socialists. And there was a CNN poll stating that 30% of Democrats already identify as democratic socialists, even if they don't know what that word means.
Well, I know what it means, but okay. All right.
Thanks for that, Prime. Helpful as always.
Thanks so much. But yeah, let's go to our friend Riddell.
All right. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can.
Unfortunately.
Okay. Hater. When it comes down to this conversation, I do think that there should be a distinction when we're talking about like progressives and the DSA. I do think that's valuable for a conversation because, of course, there's people who's going to putting out progressive policies that is very clearly and staunchly not associated with the DSA and do not believe in socialism. Now, that overlap can mean a lot of things in terms of whether or not this populist message and rhetoric is valuable in the overall discourse, but that distinction is necessary at the same time. Ultimately, I do think the movement and the changing of the guard thing is fine. I'm kind of aligned with some things that were said earlier. As long as you're a good candidate who has policies that I agree with, that's what I care about more so. There is also the understanding why incumbency is valuable. Of course, there you can put the lens that there is something more nefarious to retain power, but also structurally, as was said earlier, it allows people who have the name recognition more likely than not to get voted again, as well as they have not only the connections and the relationships already integrated while they're in, but also if they're working on something, they can continue on the project that they're working on at the same time. There's like purposes and reasons why there's value there. But ultimately, if you're not a good candidate, then you should be brought out. And sometimes people who want the status quo, who refuse to change, are getting in the way of progress. So that conversation is also very necessary. I'm not pro DSA. I think DSA is bad. Obviously, I think they're antithetical to like American values, but of course I think MAGA's worse. They're fascists and I don't want them to win. So at the end of the day, of course I would pick a DSA candidate over them, but I do think a lot of these candidates that are aligned or associated with the DSA need to be starchly questioned about their relationship with the DSA, in particular, whether or not they agree with the underlying principles that DSA agrees or DSA advocates for. So I think that's very important because if they do believe in that end goal to derode or get rid of all these core functions of what America is or the American project is, then I do think that should be told for the entire world. And for the most part, even though people do like some of the policies like Medicare for all, people still don't like communists. So that is also something very important to note. That's it.
Okay. All right. Next we go to our friend Ali. Glad to have you.
Yeah. So I think everyone is just tired of the old fucks that are in politics. We see the same people, the same thing. And then when we see from the Democrats or the liberals or the progressives is that the progressives are just moderates. And so that nothing's getting done, nothing's getting changed. Things are kind of semi status quo. That's what the perception is, which is why all these people are winning, right? This idea that that like these socialist candidates or DSA are only winning in deep blue states, and so that doesn't mean anything. I mean, that's just indicative of like what happens when you are in a left leaning state. You're going to want more left-leaning policies because you're going to be looking towards other people who have these same policies. And if they end up working out, well, then obviously it's going to be encouraged. So you have Mamdani right now, who's, called a communist, a socialist, and an Islamist throughout all of it. But the New Yorkers are happy. The New Yorkers are happy with what they have. They see a mayor that's working for them. They see the benefits of the person that they voted for. And so if they see that happen, well, then maybe the purple states go blue and then even bluer, which is where the progressive wave kind of seems to come from. And I don't think people are stupid or dumb, and I don't think people want communism. I think people understand that they live in America, that we're supposed to be the wealthiest country in the world, the powerhouse of the world, and then they're looking over at European smaller countries who don't make as much money, and they're like, well, these people have free healthcare and free college, and Americans call them socialists and communists, but like those are the things we want here. And so now we're getting called socialists and communists here. It's not so much that people want to be communists, it's that People just want a lifestyle that they were promised, actually fulfilled and given to them by a country that they believe can and has the means to fulfill it. And if it doesn't have the means to fulfill the promises, if America isn't this powerhouse, well, then let's just admit it and go on from there. But like, stop putting on this facade. It's one or the other. We either give us our free shit or not. Thank you.
Give us our free shit or not.
Wait.
Like,
Also, all of these people have earned the vote of their constituents, and the people, the moderate Democrats, did not earn the vote. So it's like we stop wanting them to lose. Stop wanting Mamdani's policy to fail. Stop wanting, like, let it win. Because if it works, well, then now you have the blueprint for your for the guys that you're running next. There we go.
I said I'm hoping for the best for him. I said I want him to succeed.
So okay. We have Bam coming in on 2 feeds. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on, Fred. But can you hear me? Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
I can hear you. Okay. I reset my router. My internet speeds was trash. I hate this internet. It's one of the things. I listen to what I can listen to. Generally, my first opinions are people have goals for what they want for the country, and then you have the ideas that you want. Like, you have like ideas and principles and gut feelings. When it comes to the concept of those gut feelings and the ideas of what feels good, it would just be like, hey, we don't have parties. We just want everyone to go out and vote for who's best. Who needs a title, who needs anything attached to their name. Vote for the best guy. And if we do that, we'll eventually just get what we want, because democracy is good inherently. And democracy means that I'll get more of what I want. I think what happened really, really quickly, because the founders didn't intend for the concept of political parties to exist, but what come to be really, really quickly is they understood that, like, oh, actually, you need to, if you want to get things done, it's actually important to coalesce power. Or, I don't know, power is like the word used for it, but really it's influence. And how do you coalesce influence? The same way you do anything else, like, hey, let's get together and let's, work as a team to get these things done. Those guys don't want what we want, but we all kind of have a general idea of the things that we want to be good. So to do that, we should work together. I've got your back, you've got my back. And that's essentially how we came to get the concept of political parties. Now, with the downsides of this is we do have people who aren't necessarily good at advocating for their people, advocating for their constituents, who continue to win seats over and over. I understand that this is a negative reality that happens, and that's common in a lot of seats in Congress and in general. But what you don't do is then decide to throw out the baby with the bathwater and pretend that there's no value to incumbency and protecting people who are in positions, who do know how things work, who do know which hands to shake, and who do know how to get, so and so on board for things. You can't just always come in and tear things down and break things because it makes you feel good. We actually have to govern. When we look at good examples early on, Mamdani has shown to be actually pretty good at governing. It's early on, like I said, there's only so many types of legislation that he's actually passed, but so far so good. We can look at other progressive candidates. Really, when you look at like the Squad, when you look at the AOCs, when you look back at like AOC's gotten a lot better actually, but you look at Cori Bush, Rashida Tlaib, etc. You go down the line. These people look great in the picket line. These people make great, headline statements. But when you look at what legislation can they do, and really not much of anything, because they're not good at governing, because they don't participate in the party. They come and they're always looking to shake things up, and they don't want to be friends. They don't want to shake hands with anybody. like I said, they just want to tear things down. I'm sure we'll hear more from different people as we go on, but I believe as a institutionalist that our institutions are the only thing that separate us from monkeys and animals and everyone else in the world. Like without our institutions, there would be chaos. I'm not saying these things can't be improved on, but just trying to rip apart everything at the foundation of what it currently sits just because you're not getting what you want is a child's way of thinking. And we continue on from there. Also, I'm going to pause this. Can you try to, I'm going to drop out and try to bring my other stream and see if it's more stable now. If not, I'll come back like this.
Yep. And can you test? Test. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
That's much better.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
looking good. Okay, all right. And Ryan, this topic was designed for Bam Bam. He brought up incumbency in our last stream, right? And then him and Gibbs and me kind of got into it at the very end, but we didn't have enough time to really dig into this. So I'm very happy we could focus on this topic today. We'll love to hear what you all have to say.
Yeah, could I start this out by just making I really want to do this. Can we fucking stop with the small bean? We're us at the DSA. All we want is free healthcare. Every fucking Democrat, find a Democrat who doesn't want free healthcare. Like genuinely,
I can find one. Easily,
find one.
Obama
doesn't want free healthcare. What are we talking about?
No. Yes. Actually, you're saying free healthcare. He had a chance to design his healthcare system. All he did was replicate. He made a Republican.
He couldn't even pass what he had.
And
what the fuck are we talking about?
Sorry, I won't let you rewrite history. Immediately, you start with this bullshit. Immediately, Hunter. Right? I won't let you rewrite history because I fucking remember what happened.
Oh, really?
Really?
Do you remember? How long did we have that?
Can we have some foreplay first before we just start?
No, I know. We're already fucking.
Nah, we're going right in, bro. We're going right in,
bro. You want the fight? You get the fight.
No, hold on.
Slightly above,
I'm not going to let you rewrite history. It's not going to happen in front of me.
Okay.
I'm not going to let you gaslight me.
How about this?
I'm not going
to.
Hold on. No, not
gaslight.
I don't fucking care.
I'm going to say my point.
I don't fucking care.
Excuse me. I'm going to say my point. I'm going to talk about the policy. Excuse me. Right? Because Obama came in.
I'm going to concede all this and ignore it also.
Shut up. Obama came in on a wave of energy, specifically on healthcare, specifically either for a Medicare for all, right, or if not a
fucking Affordable Care Act or something like that.
No. A government option.
Public option.
So public option. Excuse me. Thank you. A public option, right? That's the energy that he came on, right? And he was happy to make people think that's what he wanted. But immediately he sabotages the entire effort. Immediately, I'm not sure if this is what we can get. Immediately, he puts in Rahm Emanuel, finally remembered his name, Rahm Emanuel as his chief of staff. He puts him in charge of the effort for Obamacare, whatever that's going to be, right? Okay. Rahm Emanuel, who took a ton of money from the medical industry. Rahm Emanuel, who helped dilute the legislation, and again, and the thing that they come out
I'm ignoring all of this, by the way,
is a Republican plan, a Heritage Foundation plan, right? A Romney Care. This is what they get. So you're telling me, that's what they wanted. They specifically ignored all that. They specifically watered it down continuously for that lobby. So don't bullshit me.
I don't care about. I don't
care if you will care.
So let me rechange.
I don't care. I don't care what you say.
So noted for the record.
I am going to make sure the actual history is stated.
Cool.
Sounds
good.
What you just said was a lie.
Let's ignore.
I know what your point was. Under that,
Dan said something though.
That the DSA coming in all woo and they want this communist utopia because I've seen the website.
No, not communist utopia.
I've read the website. I've seen the website.
I mean, to Bam's point though, what he wanted,
I've seen the website.
Those two things.
Yeah, I understand. I understand people say these things. Because they're trying to get the, they got to get the people going, right? It's what gets the people going. You ramp it up in the beginning when you're kind of just coming up. but like really, then when you're asking, well, how are you going to do it? Well, you can't really abolish the police, right?
I agree.
You
I
can't
don't know why they
really
fucking
have,
talk
you
about
can't
it.
really like,
It
you can't
is
really just vote.
confusing.
You can't vote one guy in and then all of a sudden you get communism, right? There are things that happen, right? And I think everyone understands that. So they understand that it's like that there's this shoot for the moon policy where we're going to go with this
Not the leader of the
extreme
DSA.
rhetoric because we've noticed extreme rhetoric seems to work. Right. This is what amps people up. And then realistically, you shoot for the, you shoot for the moon, shoot for the stars, you get land on the moon.
So you're saying Mamdami's aid was like, let's impoverish white
No,
people?
there are
and that was the
ambitions,
moon,
there are
and they're just
ambitions
settling
and
for
goals.
healthcare?
But also people understand that like realistically you're not going to
Ali,
get you don't have to go to work today.
I have a question for you. Name a single Democrat who is currently in power who is not on the record in favor of a public option or single payer healthcare.
None, but like okay, so why
Okay,
what
are we talking about?
Oh my god, why don't we have it?
Why don't we have it?
There's never been a
the
position.
margins in the
there's never been
fucking
a time to have
Senate
the
and the
vote.
House. Are you fucking for real? We
margins in the
lost.
Senate
We
and
lost
the
the
We
midterms.
literally
There's
haven't had
consequences
the
for
ability
voting.
to do it.
What? We don't have.
Thank God.
We've never had the
Thank
ability.
God.
We've never had a trifecta.
I'm just finding out all Democrats.
No,
are
but
so
even-
short.
never had a
even when
fucking-
This is crazy.
No,
You need,
I know,
you need,
that's
a,
why to let the Dems lose is let them talk.
you need a
Hold on,
certain
hold on, hold on,
majority.
hold on,
Ali.
hold
You
on.
need a certain
Even
majority.
when yes,
never-
even
we've
when
never
we
had
had
socialist-
wait,
A certain
wait,
majority,
we
right?
had a trifecta.
So what you're
Even
telling
when
me
we
is
had a
that you guys
trifecta-
can't
wait,
get it
hold on,
done.
Ali,
All I'm hearing is you
Ali,
can't get
Ali,
it done.
Level.
Ali, hold on.
We fucking
hold on,
wait.
Ali.
No.
Ali, hold on, wait. Hold on.
You're the
no,
king.
chill, Hold on, wait.
Hold on.
You know, the Nazis also had universal
I'm really
healthcare.
trying
Just
to-
throwing that out there.
Real quick,
I'm the
okay,
thing
okay,
destroying the party. Go.
Okay, hold on.
Okay,
This
hold
is
on.
functional.
The thing that we're talking
And no unemployment.
throughout Biden's administration, they wanted to do this, but they couldn't because of people like Sinema in Manchin, right? That you can get like a bunch of really fucking progressive people in there, but if we end up getting like 49 the most progressive fucking candidates you've ever seen, they're all fucking anarcho-communists in the Senate, but there's 49 of them, it still doesn't do anything, right?
But you know what the issue is? You know what the issue is right now? Right now, all the progressives that want to get in that would be able to take over the seat, well, they have to fight with all the liberals and moderates who are like, no, you guys are communists. We don't want this. So that's what happens. Is the progressive is the leftists go up, right? And then they go, all right, cool. So we're gonna do this, and you guys shit on them for fucking ever
shitting on them?
throughout the whole primary. Throughout the whole primary, Al Sayed was literally called a fucking Islamist.
Hold on, Ollie. We can't even say his full name.
Everyone's
getting
getting
a fucking Islamist.
Ollie, they put out a
Everyone.
statement saying it was racist to say his full name. Just saying.
And not you. Okay. Oh my God. Not you specifically. Don't turn this into. Don't act like we don't know what the rhetoric is online about him, right? Don't act like we don't know what the rhetoric is online about the guy, or what the rhetoric against Mamdani is, what the rhetoric against I don't know, or whatever Hong is when they're like, oh, you want to get rid of Thanksgiving? It's like she's not going to get rid of Thanksgiving.
Hold on.
Right?
No,
Why is she saying it though?
Wait a minute. No,
It's
there's,
like why
there's
is
a
she
bunch
saying
of
it?
there's a bunch
Because
of
that's what
dumb
she
stuff.
believes.
But
That's a view she has. Do you want her to lie?
She does want to get rid of
Why would
Thanksgiving.
she say something?
Because she doesn't like Thanksgiving. Is there an issue with candidates expressing their actual beliefs, or are you guys just going to hold them over the coals because it's a stupid
No,
belief?
you know what? Actually, Ollie, I like that. They should tell us their real beliefs. That is the best way to do things.
Hold on. Here's my issue with this.
All right, go ahead.
Obviously,
It's like Grand Platinum.
obviously, I fucking want politicians to speak their mind about what they want about specific policies. Why is it bad
He
for
wore his
me
policy on his
to
chest.
go, hey, you know what? I don't know if you have the strength to move this up in the governorship, but I don't like that you have that. I don't like that you have these beliefs about how you think the country should be run. It seems incompatible
But it's
with
okay.
me.
Trump didn't advocate for fascism. Trump never said let's do
Exactly.
fascism.
He's not
So
a
it's
fascist.
okay, guys.
And
It's
honestly,
not a
when you
big
think about it,
deal.
he didn't even really ban Muslims from the country. So why was it really
Yeah,
that bad?
yeah, he never really.
Wait, who really
I
cares
know
if
we're
he's
gonna
a-
talk-
if he's
He
the-
can't.
So you guys are telling me that presidents can do the things that they want for the people that they want, even if it's when it's a Republican. But like when the Democrats, we can't pass certain things.
I get that you're
right?
going through your
Hold
talking
on,
points.
honey.
That's not.
That's not a talking point. It's a fucking question. You just don't have an answer, so you call it a talking point.
Ollie, we didn't say that.
But right now
We said
you're
the
throwing what
opposite.
Trump.
We said
But
that-
you're right now what you're doing is you're throwing what Trump has done in
No,
my
but
face
we
through
said what
executive
Trump
order. It's not like
couldn't
Trump
do.
did fascism. It's not like Trump did the executive
Trump
order to ban
couldn't
Muslims.
do.
All right, cool. So just do your executive orders to get our healthcare.
No. We're saying
Are
he
you
did
for
do
real?
fascism. We're saying that like a lot of times he expresses really harmful in fucked up beliefs, and the rest of us look at him and think, there's some like problems with this guy's moral compass, or he's very different from me. He doesn't actually represent.
And then the rest of the people
my
vote for him.
beliefs.
So
Yes, and that's bad.
oh my God, but that's the issue. We are in an extreme version of that. We're extreme rhetoric is what is
Ollie, here-
Wait, but then when we get mad at people, Ollie, when we get mad at people.
Yeah.
No. When we get mad at people for voting for Trump, if they turned around and did this whole like, but you can't actually get this shit done, it doesn't really matter. He can't have a fascist government overall. We would tell them to shut the fuck up.
No, but he kind of does get shit done. That's what they say all the time. He does exactly what we want.
Abolish the police.
Lactoid and Gibbs, are you guys annoyed?
Stupid argument. It's a fucking stupid argument.
Arguing on like 20 axes at once.
I'm annoyed, but I think it was probably for a different reason than you might think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really enjoying y'all showing how socialist y'all are.
We are kind of going like.
Okay, so I'm going to go to. So I'm going to go to Bam. I'm going to go Lactoid and then Connor. All right. Okay. And Gibbs, please.
I'm coming in after that.
Bam.
So.
Okay, so Bam, did you hear me? You go first.
Okay, yeah. So there's obviously going to be a lot of talk relating to the Democrats, but I just want to like bring in structurally, like this is a principle thing. I think the Republican Party is also faltering from, like, when you say they're like, oh, they did the Tea Party stuff. I think that that's actually a big issue with the Republican Party right now, that it's just a bunch of dudes with no principle, no background, who like leaned into this level of populism, and now they're there and they say things and like they're completely incompetent. I don't want Republicans to win in my country, like, ever, but I do want to have I would love for the Republicans to be competent if they were the like alternative in any seat, because there's going to be places in the country that do go red, and I think we're seeing, like, I'm not even long term, but we're seeing like 10 years further out of what leaning into this hyper populist, let's just primary everybody who, you know, isn't like radical and fun looks like. And I don't like what it looks like for them, and I don't think it would look better in blue. The next one I wanted to say is that it's okay to advocate for things. I think there's people who are governing well, you know, like primarying on certain levels, but the issue is whenever all of your primarying of incumbency, whenever everything you're doing is only attacking the party that you're most similar to, that we can't coexist like that, especially when the alternative is that party is expected to be like always open armed and welcoming to you at every case. Like, why should Democrats accept the way that not even really progressives, again, just like the DSA commie types come into the party, because again they don't come into the party to make it better. They don't come into the party to work with the people in Washington. I mean, they say verbatim that I'm here to like wreck shit. I'm here to tear it down. I'm here to shake things up. Like, and whenever they actually, the ones that do become decent at politics, end up being less hated. Like, I think the AAC's grown so much as a politician with her with gaining experience being in Washington, and I think her popularity's only dropped. Yeah. Like, she's increased with like normies, but she's dropped with like DSA types, because she's not like a praxis leftist.
Because she moderates. Wait, can I respond to just that part real quick and like why they should be? Because the idea is, I do want to get to Lactoid. The idea is that like the left or the DSA just want to accelerate get to what like the Democrats say they want to get to already. So like if the Democrats say they want free healthcare and they want free college, so on and so forth, well, the leftists only feel like they just want to accelerate to that. That's why you should accept them, because if that, it seems to be the same goal.
Then go win a red seat. That, like, get us closer to 60 senators. Get us to, like, you know, don't just keep taking the same seats. That doesn't get us any closer.
But they're only going to win in like deep. Okay, so like, because the state is already blue, because the seats are already blue, that means the constituents, the people, the voters are clearly leaning more blue, right? Because they already have like their Democrat majority in their town or their state or whatever the fuck it may be. So now they're saying, well, since we have this, we want more. So which is why New Yorkers voted for for Mamdani, because they're like, well, we already have all the left, right? This is already a left-leaning city, so on and so forth. Well, all right, cool. Maybe this guy who wants more things done will get them done because we're voting for him. He has the support.
I'm super
let's
fine
go
with it on
to-
a local level. You can go. Yeah.
Let's go to our friend Lactoid.
Yeah, so I'm as I would assume would happen. There's a lot of comparisons here between, well, we got these literal self-avowed Marxists and literal self-avowed socialists running within the Democrats. Well, we still got to vote for them though.
I don't know if any
because,
of them are self-avowed Marxists.
I think some of them are. I will double check that for you. For sure, they're socialist. I am pretty
Ilhan
sure
Omar
they're-
probably is.
I'm pretty sure there are some of them that are Marxist.
'Cause, yeah, Democratic
Um,
socialists are generally
like
not
Hong,
like,
for
super on
example,
board
who
with
is
Marx.
22% ahead
She's-
of like all of
She's
the.
the most likely for sure.
Sure.
okay.
I'll fact
You
check.
can
in a second.
presume, but an
Um,
outright statement is I'm unsure about that.
Sure. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure like more
Yeah,
than
like,
one
so
has
you're wrong.
identified as a Marxist or identified with Marx in some way, at least historically. I will fact check myself on that. If that's not true, they're self-avowed socialists, right? Which I think is terrible. And so when you compare this to MAGA, when you compare this to Trump, personally, I think that these two situations are just not comparable. I think it's crazy to call Trump a fascist. But at the very least, there's not this open acceptance of fascism that there simply is amongst socialism within the Democrats, right? Neither myself nor Gibbs would vote for a fascist. I don't think even Gibbs, and Gibbs is further right than me. He would not vote for a fascist. If Trump were to come out and say, "Yeah, I'm a fascist," no, like fascist pride. No, of course not. If a third
Has
of
anyone ever
Republicans-
claimed that title?
If a
Wait,
third of
I don't want to cut you off.
Hold
Is there
on.
any? Is there like ever a self-claimed fascist? Like, is that how the term's ever been?
That'd be
used?
like Mussolini.
I could think of
Other
one.
than
Mussolini.
Mussolini, yeah.
Yeah,
like-
No.
Mussolini,
Steven Crowder.
Franco, of course.
Hold on. Steven Crowder just recently did a video called "Why Fascism is Based."
Well, that's Steven Crowder.
Yeah, so they're
Yeah,
getting
it-
there.
it-
They're
it-
getting
it-
there.
Did
Matt
They're
one?
Walsh-
Did Steven Crowder
Matt Walsh
identify as a
identifies
fascist, or is
as
it some
a-
kind of comedic video? Some kind of
No,
No,
sarcastic
he was
video?
serious. He was super serious
Matt Walsh
about it.
does identify as like I forget what it's called. but he-
Theocratic
it's like a
fascist.
Yeah, what's the light version
Yeah,
of
theocratic
fascism?
fascist.
So like communism, it has
There's
socialism.
no
What's the
way.
light version of
No,
fascism?
he 1,000%. I watched
Matt
the video. Like,
Walsh
he just-
identifies as a
Fascism.
theocratic
Oh,
fascist.
I don't know about Matt Walsh. I'm
Go
talking about
check
Steven
his
Crowder.
fucking
Yeah.
Twitter.
Crowder.
Hold on. It's
He
Twitter.
identifies.
Yes, Matt Walsh identifies
Am I
as a
crazy? What's his
theocratic fascist.
Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah, in his Twitter thing, he has some Christian.
Am I
he's like
am I
Christian something, or
misremembering? I could be
No, no,
Christian
misremembering.
Matt-
Hold on, bro. Y'all are getting trolled. It took 2 seconds to look it up, and it says this is a running joke to troll lefties on like literally.
Okay,
like,
Matt Walsh's
everything
bio
is
says
true.
theocratic
Okay, hold on.
fascist.
I'm looking up right here. So the origin of the label, Walsh put theocratic fascist in his Twitter bio after a critic used it as an insult, adopting it as a tongue-in-cheek response. This is not the same thing. Again,
Yeah,
Well, they're
this
not-
is
they're
not.
not-
This is
they
not.
meme.
Stop.
I
Stop.
watched a
This
video
is
of
first
him
they
stop,
meme,
like
then they
stop,
build.
stop.
First
This
they
is
meme,
not.
then they
This is
build.
not the same thing. If Joe Biden put like Marxist communist in his Twitter bio
Joe Biden
after
and
like
Matt
Trump
Walsh.
called him that, well then yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah,
consider
Joe
Biden?
to be actually an avowed Marxist communist because he's
If
obviously
Joe Biden did
doing
that?
some kind of even if Joe Biden did that because this
Now,
is
if the
some
president
this-
did that, I'd be like, damn,
stop.
that's crazy.
This is some tongue-in-cheek response to an insult that's
tongue-in-cheek.
made against him. Obviously,
This is
in
how far
this
we've
case,
gotten.
we do not have
Crowder thing is
we-
like sus. Like
The president can just
Well,
put
look,
Leninist Marxist in his
well,
profile.
I mean,
Well,
So you
let-
act
let
like a
Fran- let
fascist,
Fran-
and then
let
you
Lactoid-
jokingly call yourself a fascist. I don't know.
So
Yeah,
you become a
far,
fascist
so
the
far,
goddamn
one of the
time.
thing
But
with
let's go to our friend
so,
Lactoid.
so far the thing with Matt Walsh, complete BS. I'll look into the thing with Crowder
Can I-
in a
could I-
sec.
could I
No,
quote
you
Crowder?
cannot in
Crowder
a
thing
second.
is BS. The Crowder thing is
The
BS.
thing-
I
the
am
thing
going
with
to later.
Okay, the thing with Crowder, I don't know. I haven't looked into that. If that's true, if you have Steven Crowder identifying as a fascist, actually, I would not vote for him. I do not think anybody should vote for him. And if 33% of Republicans identified as fascists, according to some CNN poll, that would be a major problem.
You'd
Right?
vote
I would
DSA.
consider this to be a major problem. This is what's happening with you people. A third of your party is identifying with actual socialists. This is the comparison. This is the analog.
Democratic
And you have people who are, sorry, New York City is no big deal. That's a city with a population larger than 9 states. This is the largest city in America. And you have in my state, the front runner for the Democratic primary is a lunatic, Francesca Hong.
Hell yeah.
I mean, look, I'm sorry. It seems like you guys seem to acknowledge this, and you're like, yeah, it's terrible. They're just acknowledging this label now. They're just rolling with it. Mamdami's picking people who are, outright saying, but their goal is to impoverish, middle-class white people. Hong is on record opposing every single major U.S. holiday because it's racist for some reason, except for Kwanzaa, of course, the most legitimate of all holidays. These people are insane. And it seems, but then of course it just goes back to, but MAGA's worse, blue no matter who. Are they? At what point does that stop?
Much worse.
Do you have any kind of metric here? And what has Tom Tiffany done that's worse than what Francesca?
I don't care. I care less. When they get out of power. Like, don't get me wrong. It matters what you identify, what label you attach to yourself. But like,
he did the same thing I did last week, when he talked about the rise of fascism being left wing in its origins. That's
he didn't. No, I can.
I'm looking at the transcript right now. He says that a bunch.
Hold on. Gibbs just lied there. Let me read the fucking.
I can read this off the fucking transcript.
Do that on a different time. Not right now.
Shut the fuck up.
No,
not right now. A black man is speaking. Go ahead, Bam.
You don't have to do that right now.
The left.
This is not important.
Sorry, you can read Hunter, you can read the summary quickly, but I want to go to Connor.
The left loves to scream fascism anytime action is taken to stop Marxism from destroying a country, but the history tells a very different story. From Pinochet's Chile to Franco's Spain, from Brazil's 1964 coup to Bolivia's Hugo Banzer, each so-called fascist takeover followed the same pattern. A far-left government wrecking the economy through nationalization, price controls, and radical policy until someone stepped in to clean up the mess. That's what he's referring to about Pinochet.
He's talking about, that's exactly what the fascists did. That's what the Nazis did. They did a far left government. They stepped in. They created a bunch of price controls. They ran. No, I'm not misunderstanding. This is I did an in-depth video about this.
So you're admitting that you're.
He's saying that the fascists needed to step in to stop the.
That's not what happened. Radicals. I'll wait.
Wait, hold on. Do you agree that the military stood up crazy, Blacktoid?
No. Franco, yes.
No, he likes
not Pinochet. Yeah. Pinochet, look, the fascist who's ultra free market globalist Pinochet.
No. Yeah. He doesn't mind. He doesn't mind.
Fascists are free market. What are you talking about?
What? Autarky is not a major pillar of fascism? You think Germany or Italy or Spain, any of these countries were pro-free trade, pro-globalism? You think so?
Yes. I think that they leaned towards free market most of the time. Yes, for sure.
No, yes. This is absolutely incorrect. We'll take time to go through each example here, but this is not true.
Revisionist history.
I don't know enough about this. Let's go to our friend Counterpoint. So I'm very curious what you have to say, Connor, please.
Yeah, everyone's going to agree with me instantaneously, and it'll resolve all the disputes. It'll be great. So fascism is political corporatism and flexible authoritarianism, identifying the nation state as a single unitary analogous to a single biological organism, and then trying to advocate for the corporative health. Flexible authoritarianism basically means that you don't care about how you gain power, you only care that you do gain and retain power. That's why Mussolini still had to share power with the church and the king. That's why Hitler had to go through the representative system in order to become the supreme leader of Germany. That's why he still had to share power with oligarchs even after he seized power. And I'm not going to agree that Nazi Germany was laissez-faire capitalist, considering while they weren't socialist in that they wanted to decommodify basic needs and have workers on the means of production, they basically did have extreme command control of the economy. So no, they are not like anarcho-capitalists. They're not authoritarian anarcho-capitalists. So, but the point that I wanted to make, because I think the leftists are horrible at defending themselves.
Nazi Germany was for a 6-year period. They had literal policies that were for 6-year period only for the war, to gain supplies for the war. That's what it was.
Okay,
I'm also really good at defending myself.
What I will point out to you is that political corporatism, people will oftentimes look this up and they'll look up like corporatocracy, which is like a government run by the corporations. That's not what's meant in a fascist sense. Core means body. They're talking about basically if a fascist is deregulating something, it's because they're at least arguing that it's good for the political corporative body of the nation state. If they're heavily regulating something, they're regulating it because they're arguing it's good for the political corporative state. They're going to make that argument every single time. I don't know why Lactoid is looking confused by it, but I wanted to help out the
I want to push back
lefties.
against it.
Yes.
That's why.
Well, we don't have
push back
fuck
against
you,
it.
I'm great
Well,
at defending
I
myself,
just want to
Connor.
ask a clarifying question. Does this mean that, like, let's say I was to institute free market, laissez-faire capitalism, free speech, gay rights, legalize drugs, and reduce crime, all because I argued that it was good for the political corporate entity that is the country, that would make me a fascist?
If you took over through military
No,
rule.
because the thing that you're missing is flexible authoritarianism. It's political corporatism, which, by the way, I'm a political corporatist, and flexible authoritarianism, basically meaning that you will do whatever is necessary to seize and maintain power. And also, there's like this philosophy here between the individual and the collective, where fascists actually don't believe that you ever resolve the conflict between the individual and the collective. It is actually up to the individual to climb up the social hierarchy of the collective and subordinate it to their will.
So, okay,
It's actually like Sith philosophy.
I'll change my question very slightly then. So let's say I seize power for whatever means. I seize it, and then like I establish some kind of system into which like my power, I'm heavily biased in favor of remaining in power in some kind of unfair way. And then I implement free speech, gay rights, drug legalization, free market capitalism, blah, 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 every sort of kind of globo homo gay stuff you can think of, right? In a good way, Twitch. And I do all that. And then you're saying that that's still fascism.
Yeah,
if you actually believe that it was for the political corporative good, I would argue that it's still fascism. And by the way, there are benevolent dictators. Like I know that we all just like to think that every dictator is Adolf Hitler, but Tito out of the former Yugoslavia and Augusto Pinochet out of Chile. You can say what you want about Augusto Pinochet, and particularly as a leftist who hates fucking right-wing authoritarian governments, he killed less than 8,000 people over the course of his reign in his politicide. His politicides were like infinitely smaller than a shitload of other politicides.
Less. It was a kinder, gentler politicide. Oh, wonderful.
I know we're joking, but yeah, like Indonesia had a million-person
killing 8,000
politicide.
Yeah, that's actually a huge problem. But anyway,
Indonesia and Cambodia and China all
they
had
killed
way
a
worse
fuck ton more.
politicides.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, that doesn't mean that. Oh, he killed less. He's a smaller mass murderer, right?
Well, they were communists. So what are you gonna do?
Literally what it means.
I wanted to help out the leftists real quick because they're really bad at making their own arguments.
I agree with that, but I don't agree with your definition of it.
I'm great at making my arguments. You're fine.
Okay,
terrible.
But go ahead.
So what I would say is that like where I love the panic. I wish we had McCarthy 2.0. I wish we could persecute all the communists and the socialists again. However, I think that's not in keeping with American liberal tradition. Okay. I don't think that that's what our country is all about or should be about. Okay. What I would argue that the lefties should be arguing is that there are extreme economic issues going on in this country. The populist economic wave that's hitting this country is genuine and sincere, that the leftists of this country are trying to represent that genuine, emergent issue. And then not just that, but if you look at the United Kingdom and Australia, they haven't had Maoist takeovers of the country. The socialists had to share power with the social democrats, who had to share power with the fucking progressives, who had to share power with the liberals in order to build coalition governments that then instituted technocratic policy that is in line with the lefty worldview. So the panic about a Maoist takeover is alarmism based off of observation of the United Kingdom and Australia.
I just looked it up. There's multiple DSA
I said all of that.
Identify as Marxist, just to be clear.
But you were like yelling and shit.
You had,
so I didn't listen.
No. You just had time to clean it up. I was arguing with people while I was doing my speak. So like this whole let me defend lefties better. Nope.
Well, yeah, but like some girl was texting me naughty pictures, so I had to. I was distracted. So
score for you.
Wait, but wait. The DSA candidates were avowed Marxists.
Yeah, multiple DSA candidates are avowed Marxists. And I think that the head.
Well, can I come back in real quick and say sweeping for the Marxist
the head of the
suck
platform
ass too?
is different
Like the progressives and the lefty
but here's the thing, Connor. They're right, so that's the issue.
Wait. So you think that they're right that the
no.
decommodification of basic human needs and workers owning the means of production is the next material step forward for humanity?
I think what the actual thing is like, yeah, if we actually have a world where we reach like the oneness or whatever the fuck it is, and people just get to like live their world and we just have robots doing the work, like that would obviously be a utopia. That's a great goal, so on and so forth. Ha ha ha. But in getting to that, because every time I've ever heard any of these people speak, they always say, yeah, communism doesn't happen for like thousands of years. It happens, it doesn't happen. Like in getting to that, well, yeah, like the free college and the free healthcare would be nice.
Yeah, but this is what pisses me off about this, particularly is the revision when it comes to the 20th century socialist regimes, because they use the decommodification of basic human needs and workers owning the means of production in order to justify
stop treating the workers like shit. Stop having workers feel like they can't afford anything, so then they won't want that. They don't want the means of production.
Connor, I don't know. So I don't know where you got the authoritarianism. At least, like, not from what
I got it from Hassan Piker, a populist leftist YouTuber.
You guys are so obsessed with Hassan, bro.
None of us here are
because he sweeps for Tankies Ali,
right?
bro.
You stop talking about him, he stops existing.
Yes,
literally. He only exists because you guys have this hate boner for him and repost everything he does. Like,
sorry.
I'm trying to listen to
I
Prime.
or Ali is no, Gibbs. I haven't forgotten about you. I will. You're on the list, friend. So neither I or Ali are Hassan, right? So we won't answer for any of Hassan's nonsense, right? But to answer your question directly, Connor, you said, and if I get it wrong, I do apologize, right? That you asked, do you think that a decommodification of human needs and the workers owning the means of production is the next step in evolution of our economy? Yeah, I think that is. We should be decommodifying human core needs, right? Like housing, like food. Actually, that'd be great.
So that's what you would run on. That's the next thing we do next week. That's
no. So that's not.
I don't even fucking care.
Hold on. One second.
Next step doesn't mean immediate.
1 second. Yeah, sorry. No, maybe I know him. No, that's fair. No, that's fair. I'll accept the criticism. I wasn't putting that as like, hey, that should be within Mamdani's like plank, right? I wasn't saying that, right? But I do agree that is what we should be working for. Absolutely, I am committed to that. Actually, yes, I'm not hiding my power level whatsoever on this. So yeah, I don't think that there can't be like an individual owning their own private business, but we should give the opportunities for workers to own their own the means of production, right? Let's say if an owner was going to sell their business, a policy that says, hey, well, you have to give the workers an opportunity first to be able to buy your business at a fair price, right? That seems pretty workable. Then you could do that. You're not forcing it. You're not like seizing the means, right? You're giving people to buy it at a fair market price. Yeah, that actually seems pretty okay.
Prime, do you think that worker co-ops are banned in this country?
No, I don't think they're banned.
No, it's just Amazon's allowed to have slaves.
Sorry, Hunter. I don't think they're banned, right? The policy that I put forward, right, only helps assist more of them to come through. I never said they were banned, right? So I didn't imply that. So you don't have to ask that. Yeah, so I want more of them. I didn't say that they were banned. Thank you.
We're just against Amazon paying essentially slave labor compared to what they make.
Why not fucking institute some minimum wages?
Minimum wage again. Minimum wage. We'll get that done in 10, 15 years. Minimum wage.
What the fuck are we talking
about?
What are we doing?
I want a beautiful, sexy redhead to talk next. Okay?
Yeah, all right. I asked y'all for quick patience. I'm going to read 3 quotes from 3 important people. All right. So first one's from the German economy, 1870-1940. This is from Gustav Stolper.
Does anyone care about this?
I do, bitch.
I
do. I let you talk for the last 20 minutes. I'm talking now.
I just got
I'm going to read 3 quotes, and you're going to like it, all right? The first angle was moral principle. The second was financial system. The third, the issue of ownership. The moral principle was the commonwealth before self-interest. The financial promise was the breaking of the bondage of interest slavery. The industrial program was nationalization of all big incorporated business trust. By accepting the principle of the commonwealth before self-interest, National Socialism simply emphasizes its antagonism to the spirit of a competitive society as represented supposedly by democratic capitalism. But to the Nazis, this principle means also complete subordination of the individual to the exigencies of the state. And in this sense, National Socialism is unquestionably a socialist system. All right, one more. Here we go. Actually, two more. I'm so
That's
sorry.
not socialism.
Oh, it is socialism. The socialism of the entire, this is from the same book, the socialism of the entire German productive machinery, both agriculture and industrial, was achieved by methods other than expropriation. To a much larger extent,
Wait, what
and
is
on
this
an
book
immeasurable...
defining as
Well,
socialism?
let me done. I got one more quote
Wait,
after this.
I
want to
know what he's
No, wait,
I
no,
will
hold on.
finish.
Let him finish, and then we can
All right.
talk about it.
All right, most convincing scale the authors of the party in 1920 probably ever imagined. In fact, not only big trusts were gradually or rapidly subjected to government control in Germany, but so was every sort of economic activity, leaving not much more than title private ownership. And then one last quote. In 1939, the book The Vampire Economy, Doing Business Under Fascism, Gunter Reitman, who was a communist, had fled, while most of the means of production had not been nationalized. They had nevertheless been politicized and collectivized under an intricate web of Nazi planning target, prices and wage regulations, production rules and quotas, and strict limits and restraints on the action and decisions of those who remain. Not only the owners of private enterprises throughout the country, every German businessman knew his conduct was prescribed and positioned within the wider planning goals of the Nazi regime. The historical record is clear. European fascism was different, simply a different shade of socialism. Now, I don't think that applies now quite so much with fascism. There are different forms of fascism, but 1930s, 1940s fascism is much more left-wing than what we're talking about today. Now, that's why I also say that the Nazis were socialists. And when I turn around today and see what the DSA is proposing, and I see what the liberals are going along with, this is just the continuation of these policies. Now, I just want two other quotes. Those people right there, one's an award-winning economic historian, the other's a Nobel Prize-winning economist. So if you're not arguing with me, you're arguing with qualified people above all of our pay grade, and they're both saying this, and they both fled Nazi Germany. So how do you think y'all know more than me or anybody here when you're going to say that the DSA isn't socialist when they're pushing the same sort of policies nationwide?
Well, they do think it's
Do you
socialist.
think historians
Wait,
don't
wait,
know
wait,
us?
hold on,
They're
hold on. What are they calling socialism? What
They're
you said,
calling
what,
National
you named a
Socialist
bunch
government
of
socialist.
things. Yes, I understand. I'm
And
saying
Mussolini.
you read a bunch. Hold on, you read a bunch of things that they say this is what makes it socialist, but none of those things sound like socialism to me. So what
Well,
are they
I'm sorry that you're not
defining as
educated on what
socialism?
socialism actually
What
is, and this is why y'all get invaded by
I'm
the DSA
asking
people.
you to answer the fucking question.
Sure,
What
the
you-
argument would be that I hear the lefties make all the time is, Hitler allowed private organization companies to exist. Well, that's not really what happened. Is they would do something what they call the Führer system, and you would have to go to a management. So you basically only had private industry in name only because everything was like subordinate to the overall German government to decide. If you didn't want to do the quotas for the thing, everything. If you didn't have a job, guess what? They gave you a job, right? They made you do something. So my point is, when you look at the DSA, they're sitting here arguing these same policies, right? They're even going further. They don't even want these corporations to exist. They want to just absorb them completely. These people just had de socialism, just de facto socialism, because hey, we're not actually socialists. We allowed the company to exist, and then made it so the company couldn't exist unless they did everything the government allowed them to do. That's socialism. Like that's in and of itself, by every metric, socialist. And that's why when y'all are sitting here talking about Steven Crowder, you're misinformed, because Crowder said the same thing. If you read through his transcript, he talks about how they implemented these policies, and then that empowered them. This is the necessary outcome of socialism: is you get these dictators that are in charge and push these socialist policies.
It's a bad thumbnail.
Like,
though,
not
but
the
yeah.
video.
Okay,
it's not the thumbnail. That's not what the video's about. But
read the thumbnail. I put it in the Grok and had to do a summarize in the transcript. It's easy. You just
Hold on,
read
wait.
No, just watch the
Nothing
video.
he said is true.
That's not what the video about.
No, just read the transcript. It's the same thing. Well,
No,
everything.
it's not
I
what
mean,
he said.
everything I said is true. It's
Nothing he said-
unequivocal.
I don't care about
unequivocal
Germany.
fact.
We're talking
Nothing
about
he said-
political
Hold on,
parties.
hold
I mean, you're arguing with
I
historical
understand
economic
What
historians.
socialism is or isn't. That's not the conversation that we agreed to.
Let's
No,
go.
wait, no,
let's
no,
let
it
Tom
is.
finish his.
No, it's
thought.
not.
But, like,
This conversation is not about is socialism good or
yeah,
bad.
after that, I
It's
do
not.
want to focus on.
Well, sure. And the reason I bring this up in regards to the
Well, it's
conversation
kind of that,
is,
right?
yeah, is y'all are advocating right now.
Or what it is. It's not about socialism.
Well, because we're talking about whether the
Now
new
you're
candidates are good or
diplomacy,
bad, and they're socialists that are winning. So
And they're
it's kind of
socialist
about
candidates.
that.
talking
Yeah,
about-
also, what really helps,
Okay,
really helps.
that embeds on the conversation.
Hold on.
Hey,
Independent.
Colloquial understanding.
Okay,
Independent.
here's what's going to happen. Right? I'm going to. So,
Just let me finish. I got 10 seconds. And I'll be done.
Stalin
I'll give you 10
guys
seconds.
laying down the
I
law.
want
Yeah, I'll be
Tom
done for a
wants
while.
to-
Patrick.
Tom wants
Sure.
to say something in response, and I want to give Bam a chance
Sure.
to jump in. Then go to Ali.
Sure. And
And anyone
just
else, let me know.
so here's the
Definitely
final closing thoughts on this.
participate.
Really, if we look at this, Republicans are mostly on the 80-20 side. We look right now, we're seeing this push for the socialists in the like left-wing party. However, when you look at independents, they're overwhelmingly against all the social stuff. It's polling like 18%. You're seeing like the Dems right now, the libs are losing, they're struggling overall. And guess what? The Republicans are putting out 76 to 72% approval rating within their own party. So I gotta say, if y'all think you're gonna be doing good at midterms, I hope y'all keep pushing these socialists because it's gonna be great for the Republicans.
This
Okay,
is
thank you for that.
why people end up saying that they
let's
think
get Tom. Tom wanted to jump in, and then I'll go to you, Bam.
Tom's gonna talk about
Tom?
what socialism is. That's not the topic, Prime.
But hold on.
Related to the problem there, Ian. That's what
I'll bring it back.
I don't want to talk
I'm
about.
going to explain. Yes,
but
I'm
I do
going
wanna
to
get-
explain. So the reason that it matters is because we're talking about whether or not the people who are primarying incumbents right now are actually good candidates. We're talking about whether or not they are worth it. And this movement from these people taking out the incumbents are actually a good part of the Democratic Party. And when he's saying that these are people who are similar to Nazis and what it is that Hitler was doing, he is just objectively incorrect, because the Nazi Germany had a very similar economy to the United States currently, with a mixed economy, and about 30% of it was like a socialized economy. It was almost exactly the same. He just said that they had to answer to the fucking government. They didn't. That you could create new businesses. By far the majority of the businesses did not have to answer to the fucking government, but they were heavily regulated while there was wartime, because they needed shit for war. Like that's just very, very different from socialism, where it's going to happen all the time, one way or the other.
Let's go to our friend Bam, and then we'll go to Ali and Madonna.
Candidate. Bringing it back to what we actually came here to talk about. It's about does anyone disagree with what political parties, like with how political parties work? Do we think that, like, oh yeah, these things make everything worse, or do you think there's any inherent value to people being a part of a party that can generate large amounts of funding, that can coalesce around each other, that can defend each other, and that can vote in tandem for like broader, like bigger things across the country? Do we think that's a good concept,
as a caucus,
or do we feel like there's an issue with that?
Yeah, I think there's room for caucuses in parties. I maybe I would weaken the party system in itself, but at least having caucuses where people could come together and do it. Like I don't necessarily like endorse like the parties as they stand, but I
parliament system.
I think understand what the point you're saying is that, like, we should have blocks, right, that come together and like get things done, right? You have agreement, work together to make that enter policy. So I agree with that.
And you can't, but I don't think you can do that. I don't and somebody else can jump in, because I want people to talk about this. I don't think you can do that if it's like, hey, we're coming together to work together, shake hands, we're gonna build around you, and the moment it becomes election season, that person's a Nazi, a socialist, a communist, racist. We need to get them out of power, and we need to get this like 22-year-old in here, because they're like, that's who I'm endorsing. Like, I don't think that can function. I don't think what the idea of
Bam, I'm a little bit confused. Could you elaborate more? Yeah, who's the 22-year-old in this situation?
I don't know anyone. I'm just saying that, like, I'm saying that, like, you're removing your veteran, seasoned members of your party, of your caucus, the people that you've like coalesced around and that you fundraised with, and like immediately come election season, you like stab them in the back and decided, like, actually, I want someone else in your position.
Is there?
Are you talking about the voters, or are you talking about?
Who's doing the stabbing?
The voters are stabbing.
Who's the specific incumbent that
voters are going to vote for whoever, but I'm talking about like the idea of like you
can't endorse it, like someone
like
endorsing
members of the party, like throwing endorsement, like, or not endorsing for primaries, or not like supporting incumbents. Like, we think, because a lot of this comes to, like, we think it's bad that like party members support incumbents. Like, oh, why are they doing that? They should just stay out of it and let the in. But like, that's what parties should do.
So Bernie Sanders isn't, like, at least I believe
he's not a Democrat.
Yeah, he's not a Democrat, but let's just pretend that he was for a second, right? And then he says, like, I'm going to endorse a challenger to an incumbent. You're saying that's a bad thing inherently, right? Like, that's a member of your...
Depends on the candidate.
Sorry, I don't want to load your words, right? But it's bad, right? That, like, for the functioning of the party, for the institution, right? And then for the betterment of the government in general, right? That we should... instead, not protect at the very least, but not like attack incumbents. Is that what you're saying?
No, yeah. If you're someone who is a member of a party, like who is a member of a caucus, and you decided, like, these are the people I work with, I think that you I think you can draw some hard lines in the sand of like, you know, better things that you want. But like, if we're like incumbent people who are voting on legislation that I propose like 90% of the time, or 90, you know, like I don't think that that's workable. I think that like Fetterman, like advocating against Fetterman makes sense because primary Fetterman's made sense. Like he's like, oh, okay, he's not really working with
so
the party.
you just liked it whenever the people you like stay in there.
I'm confused as to your position, Bam.
Could I also?
Okay,
Let me clarify here. Are you saying that like because this was asked to you, but maybe just a very simple answer? Are you generally opposed to during a primary talking shit about the incumbent to try to get your guy elected in the primary? Is that
who are you saying is talking shit?
If you're backing a new blood trying to beat the incumbent in a primary, do you think that it should are you arguing that it should be discouraged?
Am I a congressman in a different district? Am I a party member?
Sure.
Bam. You is your position?
No, I'm just a guy. That's what I'm saying.
No, I understand you're just a guy, but you're on this panel giving your opinion. Is your opinion
I'm saying
here?
That I'm as a voter can fight for whoever they want. I'm saying
hold on.
I'm saying that like
I'm listening. We're getting somebody.
Politicians to do this.
Well, hold on.
Yeah, I'm
saying
saying
I missed that part of what he said. You said that the average voter
I
can
think
vote
like voters can do whatever. But I'm saying like if I'm a congressman, I'm a senator. If I'm a high-ranking member of the party, I shouldn't be advocating against current members of my party, other senators.
Why?
Unless they're like if they're doing the party's goals. Like I might not like this one thing they're doing, but if they're generally vote in tandem with the party, like
what if someone else is doing a better thing?
Yeah,
matches all
that'd be the next question.
Well, I think
1% better or 2% better, but still better.
I think Bam is referring to the operations within government itself. You guys are talking about the political calculus based off policy that they're representing. But
yeah, he's
focused on the structure of the government itself and the relationships that are intertwined.
That's what I'm asking about. Like, what kind of culture is served by having like you should
lackeys
calcifying these positions?
Not lackeys.
These are coworkers. I think that all of the good things that you want, I don't think you can have I don't think you can have it like, hey, we're advocating for doing a good thing. If I don't trust anybody in the room, if I know all these people.
I understand.
Yeah, he's focusing on the trust element in this conversation.
I understand. Your
or just building. Yeah.
Okay.
Relationships.
I think it's fucking stupid to care about this shit. I think that first off, Kamala threw a lot of elbows in the primary in 2020 at Biden. And then they ended up working together and being fine because they fucking understand that the outcome together, they need to work together.
Tulsi took
they
her
need
out.
a low-key, sure. They need a low-key be on the same side. And fucking, I was just hearing this interview by Pete where someone was like, oh, Kamala kind of dissed you in her book. And like, Pete was like, I don't fucking, can we just like move forward? Like we have to sort of focus on the same thing.
Well, wait,
this idea that
hold on, wait,
they were literally competing.
He's talking about. Position. Hold on, wait. Yeah, what Bam's talking about has been a huge issue over the last year, especially when the fact that like Jeffries didn't endorse what's his name? Mamdani. Right. Yes, that like a lot of people were pushing
until
for
the primary.
Even when he was like the Democrat, like leading Democrat. Yes, after the primary. But that's what people are talking about. They're only talking about the primary. You can't endorse Hunter. You can't endorse somebody running against an incumbent after the fucking primary. You can't do that. It's in the primary that we're talking about.
No. So but you vote. No. You can. Yeah. Yes, you can. You can endorse them for the general.
That doesn't mean anything. Obviously, you endorse them for the general.
Endorse, right? But yes, but you're normally
it's a hotly contested general of
the primary matters more.
Yes, obviously, who cares?
That's what we're talking about is the fact that like there is generally a rule for the Democrat Party that you endorse the incumbent. That's the rule. Like they do it and people are mad about it.
Generally, the rule is you also elect the guy that got the most votes in the thing, but then we saw what they did with the Bernie. So that's whatever.
Chuck Schumer did not endorse Mamdani for the mayoral race. He didn't do it. He didn't do it.
I get it.
Yeah.
I actually understand why he didn't. I don't like it.
Kamala famously got all the primary votes.
So like, let's not pretending that it's all vote blue no matter who. He didn't endorse, right? Hakeem only reluctantly endorsed.
Hold on, did Hakeem first off? Did Hakeem Jeffries vote for Mamdani in the election? Secondly, did Jeffries say vote blue no matter who? And three, did who are we targeting?
I didn't talk about Jeffries. I mean, I said,
Who'd you say?
I said Chuck
Yeah,
Schumer.
I don't even think.
initially.
I don't think.
And then also Hakeem Jeffries.
Jeffrey probably. I think
reluctantly
he was asked who he
endorsed.
voted for. I think he
What the
wouldn't
fuck?
say.
I'm a little
I
lost
feel
on
like-
the actual.
So bam,
proposition.
Are you
What's
saying
the-
like Mamdani
normative
shouldn't
statement
have
here?
endorsed the DSA like candidates above the more liberal or moderate or the incumbent in New York, and like that's kind of what you're saying is that like the person
Well,
who's running New
it's
York
more
should
so-
probably not endorse like the people that they feel like work with them the best, but endorse the incumbents that have been working with New York the best, right? So like you say Mamdani endorsing his DSA candidates is something you dislike.
If you want to
There
have
we
a
go.
party,
Well, so-
like yeah.
Well, it's
I
a
think
bit more
it's important.
complicated than that.
So
It's a
what-
lot more
I don't
complicated
think
than
it's
that.
that.
But
Well,
that's
just let
his
me
gripe,
correct
is what
real
I'm
quick.
saying.
I'll let
What-
Tom. Tom, if you want to jump in for a second, I will let you do that. In 1 second, Duba gave $10 a while ago, right? $10 says Comrade Piker did nothing wrong. That's from our friend Duby. Thank you, Duby, for the kindness. Not sure if you're still around. This was a little bit ago, but thank you for the kind super chat. But to be clear, Connor or anyone else, I don't endorse anything Piker said, but I will take money from people who endorse Connor. So you can put that.
Valid.
So do I. The
That's very valid.
yeah, but the fight there, just to interject real quick, just because I haven't spoken in a while, is like,
Fuck you,
well,
Tom.
just don't sweep for the
what he
fucking
said.
tankies.
But
That's it.
no,
just call the
that's-
tankies
no,
the
They
tankies.
can't help it.
Wait,
Connor,
this
this is who they
they have
are.
to.
I'm not a.
They have
I'm
to.
not
Wait,
a.
wait,
wait,
hold on.
That's who
gonna-
I am.
Hold on.
I'm
Hold on.
about to say to
hold on.
bring it up,
The-
just to
the-
not make this about tankies. Just like again, I want you to talk about this, but
Yeah,
kind of the fight that like stirred all of this up last week. Like the Republican Party is worse off in Texas by Trump not backing Thune. Thune is the second leading member of the Republican Party, and Trump decided that didn't matter to him, and the Republican Party is worse off in Texas from it. Like it was bad. It's bad for the party to have Paxton.
Thune is from South Dakota, brother. You're talking about
No,
corn.
Paxton is.
Paxton.
Oh yeah,
is, Paxton is the AG.
Oh yeah,
in
I'm talking about
Texas.
Corny. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm talking about
Gotcha.
Corny. Yeah.
Well, hold on, Gibbs, you
yeah,
even
sorry.
agree with that? You think Corner would be better than Paxton?
No, I mean I want Paxton over Corner. Corner's got to go. He fucking did not.
Hold on,
He didn't
why
push
does
to say
Corner?
that.
Why does Corner have to go?
Because
He's not aggressive enough. He doesn't. Yeah, his foreign policy's dog shit. His fucking say that.
What's
you
his
know,
foreign policy?
he's
He said
like an
this
old
last
school.
time.
He's an old school neocon. He's not aggressive enough. I want fucking imperialism. That's what we want. That's what we all want. Paxton wants it.
Wait,
Yeah.
All right, Connor. Connor,
Yeah,
that's my
yeah,
response
yeah,
too.
Yeah,
No,
this-
so
Tom, finish your
wait,
thoughts,
This
then
is
I'm gonna go to
considered as a
Ali.
bulk style manifest
Huh?
destiny, baby.
Tom, finish your
No,
thought. I'm gonna
no,
respond.
no
Style, you mean
nuance.
fascism?
Tom, and
what we were
then
talking
Exactly.
about earlier.
and then
What
we're
we're
done.
talking about with the convents is a lot more complicated than what you guys are talking about because, like, with
Okay,
Mom
can I
Donnie, we
just
were
say
talking about
Gibbs
who he
literally got
endorsed.
me to quit a fucking panel by saying that Trump wrote an op-ed in 1987 about invading Karg Island and therefore the
Hey.
Iran war was based.
Yeah,
Nobody
that's-
cares.
Dude,
true,
dude,
man.
So-
he literally
it
said that
follows.
shit to my
That is
fucking
true.
Hold on.
face,
Okay,
That's
and
true.
I
okay.
hung up.
It's true. He did do that though.
The fact that like Mom Donnie did endorse a bunch of DSA candidates, but he endorsed DSA candidates for Congress, right? Who didn't endorse those DSA candidates? AOC. She didn't endorse any of the congressional candidates, not one of them.
Okay.
You know who she did endorse? The New York Assembly candidates. She got 4 DSA New York Assembly candidates elected. And you know who didn't endorse any of those candidates? Mom Donnie, because Mom Donnie is part of the state. He can't endorse any state assembly candidates. AOC is
endorsed
part
the,
of
the
Congress.
federal
She
election.
can't endorse
Yeah.
any congressional candidates.
Yeah.
They're
So
sneaky
she
about it.
endorses the yes, they're very sneaky about it. And this is the rule is that like
Is that
AOC
sneaky?
is
That's
part
just
of
that
Congress.
sounds like politics.
She cannot. But yes, but this is the point that we're talking about is that she can't endorse somebody who's running against an incumbent. She can't do it, and so she's endorsing other people. Mom Donnie's part of the state. He can't endorse people running against an incumbent, so he's endorsing for
Yeah.
the fucking federal election. And they're splitting their endorsements for
And-
this because this is the rule. And I think that like when we're talking about this, people
It's a
keep saying, "Well, just
scheme.
endorse whoever you want. Just endorse whoever you want."
It's not
But the
scheming,
parties
it's-
kind of
it's
have
politics.
rules that you don't do that. You don't endorse against an
think you should-
incumbent.
I-
within
So
the
let's,
Now that's
let's go to
fair.
Ali, and then
I
we're
don't
done.
like that rule. I think it's a
So
dumb
all
rule.
this to say, for BAM, all this to say for BAM, like you don't like that, like that's what's happening. But at the end of the day, like if these politicians are listening to their voters and their voters are like wanting the politicians that they endorse, right? Like the politicians they endorse are winning, right? To like Tom's point, you know, AOC endorsed these 4 people, they won, and then Mamdani endorses these people, they win. So it's like they're listening to their voters. Their voters are getting what they want, and the only person is annoyed is you because you're an institutionalist, because you want things to kind of like, I mean, what it sounds like is kind of keep the status quo to an extent,
right.
kind of move
What do you
things
think a fucking
incrementally.
institutionalist is? Are you for real? You just think
That's
that
what he
All
said.
he is absolutely correct.
He calls himself an institutionalist. So
He
you
calls
let's
himself-
put
That's
your
not what it
pennies-
is. That's not what
Huh?
it
He
means.
calls himself
all he is absolutely
I
correct.
don't know what it means.
Yeah.
That's why
Bam,
I said
Bam,
incrementalism and
Bam,
slow
Bam,
pace.
Bam will do it for himself. Bam, are you institutionalist or not?
I am. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
he is.
Yeah, see, so all he
That's
is
not
right.
what I'm saying. I'm saying that
What are you
doesn't
saying?
That's
fucking
exactly
mean-
that's exactly what he's saying.
no,
Bam,
no,
quick.
no.
he
Wait,
already
I'm not
said
done with
it.
my point.
He already said it.
I'm not done with my point.
I agree.
Yeah,
he's
finish,
an
finish.
institutional.
Yeah. So
That
like,
doesn't
I
mean
want to
being in
interject.
favor of the status quo. Those are two different statements.
okay,
that's literally what it
sure.
means.
I'm sorry, but like, it seems like he's okay with the way things are. Is what it
No.
what, is what it gives.
No.
Is what it gives.
That's what it
So
means.
that's not my perception. What Ben is saying.
But
From my
then,
perception, of-
yeah.
Let's
from
go
my-
to Vidal.
are you finished, Ollie? Are you finished?
Yeah, go ahead, Rid. I'll just finish up right
Okay.
after you.
From my perception, I think he's kind of considering two calculations, and maybe the first one is a little bit more questionable, but I do think he's referring to an important part of the human element in terms of like the relationships that a lot of these politicians forge with each other that are very important to know. Regardless of what you feel about it, people will get pissed if certain people don't endorse other people. That's just the reality. And you want a functioning government of people working together for a common goal. And then the second aspect I'm sure he's considering as well is the political aspect of the incumbency obviously has an advantage from everything that we've said earlier in terms of name recognition, in terms of working with the people that are already there, in terms of already working on policies or specific agendas that you already had in the chamber for a couple of years and you want to continue working on that policy. It has a lot of advantages in addition to obviously being a little bit more politically savvy, unless your name gets completely bastardized like Cuomo did. That would be super advantageous for you when it comes down to getting elected. So regarding these two aspects of like deciding to endorse an incumbent, these calculations do matter. I don't think it's simple as we just like it how the way it is, or we just love to be institutionalists. I think these components are why these things are valuable in the first place.
Yeah, but
There's also how you
they
get
can be
the vote
valuable, but
through,
if
like,
the
it's-
people
it's-
are voting against the incumbents, if there's
That's
a
fine.
reason to that. If the people are endorsing it, well then, but you being annoyed at it and you being frustrated by it,
Why
it
can't we
does
be
nothing.
annoyed by the voters?
But the people,
No,
but the
hold on.
people,
Ollie,
but
you're
the
missing
people
what
that
you're
are winning.
saying. You're missing
No,
what
but the
you're
people
saying.
that are winning, like they
can
give
give
you
it
a
to you in real
vibe, but I'm
terms.
saying that like when they're getting
We're gonna
in the
lie to it next.
position,
Layman
I don't think that they're
terms.
actually doing anything
Layman
better.
terms.
Like like people, I think people underestimate what goes into whipping votes. I don't think Hakeem Jeffries, at least at this point, is going to go down as a great Democratic leader. I don't think like I said, I think he'll win the House. I don't think he'll go down as a great speaker. I think Nancy Pelosi was an excellent speaker of the House, and I believe that the two reasons she could do that, one of which is the reason why Hakeem Jeffries is in the position. She was the biggest fundraiser in the party at her time. Nobody could raise money like her.
totally disagree
And,
with that.
And
She was
number
huge
two,
fundraiser.
yeah, and number two.
No, I
is-
disagree that Jeffries isn't going to go down as a great, during this offseason where they're the minority, they've been winning like every narrative war. They've been doing so much as a very small minority right now.
I don't think
but
that's
they have
because
been
of
fucking killing it.
anything.
It's
Jeffries
because
done.
Trump is crazy,
Yeah,
not
that's
because
what the
they're
poll
great
numbers
at
say.
running the
According-
narrative.
Again, but
According to
that's what the
AOC,
poll
it's
numbers
the
say.
same.
Okay,
You
let's
can
go
Give the
disagree
credit
back.
where
Finish
it's
your point.
due.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can disagree with that. The second part, and I think the thing that I like most about Nancy Pelosi is Nancy Pelosi whipped votes. Nancy Pelosi could get the party in line with regardless of the majority for like even niche things. And it's not because every Democrat, like it's not because like the Democrat in the 7th seat in I don't know how many seats New Hampshire has, but like it like cares about every niche issue that you want them to vote for. Like you don't just say like, "Hey, will you vote for it, pleasey weezies?" And they say sure. It's like there's things that happen in return for this. It's like, oh, okay, I'll offer you. We're gonna offer you so much funding. We're gonna make sure that so many people back you. Like there's promises made,
Pork.
and if
Yeah.
those promises, and pork, you said.
Yeah, pork. Yeah, you can put pork in bills, right? It's like
Pork barrel.
I'm
No,
trying to
I'm not
help
even
you out
talking
here.
about what goes in bills. I'm just talking about
Okay,
like,
sure.
like I'm just
Having
talking about like
support.
the aspects of like
Promises with each other.
leadership of like getting people on the same page.
Yeah,
of,
yeah,
like,
that's what
like
it's
you're
the
having
pork.
them.
I'm sorry, but it's the same thing. Though. I'm saying like that you can insert. That's what they call it. You can insert like favors, right? Like for your district within a larger bill, right? So like that seventh person from Virginia or whatever, right? Like you can insert like that funding you're talking about. You put it in the bill, right? And like we'll pass this. We'll put this amendment in, right, to get your support in the larger bill. But I'm agreeing with you here.
Okay, sure. Yeah, but I think that's a skill, and I don't think that that works if it knows that like, oh, okay, none of the promises I make can be kept because you'll actually like you're coming to me asking me for a favor, and then next month you're gonna advocate for my opponent. Like, so no, I'm actually not gonna help you pass this Medicare for all thing because I live in a state that like, yeah, I'm blue, but I'm purpley blue. And like, it's not really in my interest to like go on the record for this, and we're not really party. You're not my friend. You're not someone who's going to defend me. So I think that's the thing.
Which is
people
why
don't consider.
you're saying
it's the reason why like,
challenge.
yeah,
Wait,
it's the
but-
reason why we like I said why we seen members of the squad come in. They were awesome. People were hyped. Like everyone knew their name, but we've seen them lose seats. One because of like APAC money and outside funding for sure, but it's also because they didn't have the parties backing because they chose not to.
Just a real quick
you're talking about
question:
the individual
is the
political calculus as
question,
well.
are the relationships more important than the will of the voter getting like passed? Because if you have the relationships, but the big things you want don't get passed, well then like what like you having the relationships doesn't really matter, right?
Because
that's why he said
Because if you're in a purpley state, but you get the votes, but you have the relationships, but you can't say that you want the Medicare for all because it doesn't benefit you because you're in a purpley state. Well, I mean, like then what?
No, I'm saying that
Fetterman should be
but
challenged.
Also, discover the problem with the uniparty, Ollie. Thank you.
Also, in a primary and an endorsement, you don't know what the will of the voters necessarily is at the time you're endorsing. Typically,
I'm saying that the people that you're getting in, like you assume you're going to get something better.
You should be able. You should know your constituents more.
But to this point, the people that like if you look at the like leftist candidates that have came and won, they haven't done anything legislation.
It's not stupid.
That's what I'm saying.
It's how people feel.
I like to address that.
But like Stevens,
you can call it stupid if you want, but how people feel affects votes.
Democrats are still being
of course understand them.
So let's go to Lactoid and Gibbs. I do want to answer that question.
Dumb it down for me, Lactoid.
So this is how I interpret it, okay? And maybe they're going to disagree with this characterization, but this is the actual characterization. They are saying that politicians should not speak their mind in favor of the status quo. That is what actually is the proposal. If you're a politician and you do not think this incumbent is the best person for the job, and you think this other person is better for the job, they're saying you still shouldn't come out and endorse the up-and-coming candidate because it can cause discord. It can cause division amongst the party because people are going to be looking over their backs. And, well, I don't want to do anything with you if I'm concerned that you might push for somebody running against me in a primary. I disagree with this on two bases. The first basis is I want people to speak their mind. I want people to endorse who they think is the best candidate for the job if I'm going to take their opinion at all, right? I don't want somebody not doing that. I mean, I want to hear what the people have to say, especially if we put them in a position of trust. And second of all, I think that the threat of like having your opponent be liked better than your colleagues
Whips you into shape.
I think can absolutely whip them into shape. I mean, like it or hate it, one of the ways that Trump motivates the people, like in the House, to vote for his agenda, is if they don't, he endorses their opposition.
That doesn't work with Democrats.
Who usually win.
It didn't work for Trump.
Democrats just blame the voters. Like that's the issue. They go, "You didn't vote for this person that we liked. It's your fault." They blame the voter. They don't blame.
There's criticism on both sides. I do want to respond to that.
They could. I'm just saying that, like in both, I think that in both scenarios, like I don't see it providing the benefit that like the supposed benefit. I would like to see a little bit of like a concern and anxiety about people. I think that, yeah, you should be afraid to lose your job if you're doing a bad job, but also I want people in positions of trust to feel free to speak their mind. Whatever supposed benefits come from politicians being chummy with each other really doesn't sell me.
The Republican
I
Party
do
can't
I do
pass
want to
legislation.
Lactoid.
Bam,
What's
before
up
you
with
go, because I know you have your opinion. I do want to establish my proposition, because just because I was explaining my perception of what Bam is doing doesn't necessarily mean I co-sign the behavior. So when it comes down to candidates themselves, I do believe in ultimate authenticity of like picking who you are for who you are. However, just because I believe something doesn't mean I don't understand the political calculations taking place in real time. Because at the end of the day, the point of politics is to get elected, is to win elections. And that is the calculation that they're making to optimize getting elected, especially in reference.
We don't want them to lie, though.
No,
I understand they do, but we shouldn't endorse that.
No,
when you talk about when you're talking about lying, just an endorsement is not necessarily you lying.
If you endorse somebody that you don't actually endorse, yeah.
The goal of politicians.
Yeah. So if I endorse somebody,
the goal of politicians is not to get elected; it's to pass
just
policy.
Because you don't agree, just because you don't agree with their entire policy platform, you can endorse them because you know they're the best for winning. That happens all the time in terms of choosing the best candidate.
Sure,
to
but
win
again,
the election.
Sure, but if I think the up and comer has a better shot at winning the election, or they have better policies, or there's some combination of both that makes me genuinely like them more, then I would be lying if I endorse the other guy.
But that combination of both is the important part of the calculation to figure out which is the optimal person to win the election.
And that's not always the incumbent, right?
Oh, I agree. It's not always the incumbent.
There you go. So it should be a case by case. Yeah, it should be a case by case scenario, not this.
But I think Bam agrees with that. It's
well, that's what Riddell was doing. He was breaking away from.
Sure. Hey, look, like that situation. Hold on, that particular analysis, I think that's probably fine. But I think that like I would want to hear the endorsement actually, because people are actually doing this right now in Wisconsin. People are saying like they're endorsing. I forget his name. That's how far behind he is. They're I think it's Smith or something. Yeah, they're endorsing him, and literally the endorsements are, we think that he can win, and we don't think Hong can win. That's like the extent of their endorsement. They're actually not even really commenting on like political policy. But I would think that like if you are a Democrat,
that's how most voters vote as well.
Sure, but if you're like a blue dog Democrat, if you're like a Bill Maher type, where you're like your vote's actually in play now because there's these DSA lunatics are winning elections, then your endorsement should be based thus. You should say, look, I know that like the centrist might have a lower chance of winning or whatever, but I can't tolerate a actual socialist winning the election, so I'm endorsing whoever the centrist moderate point. And if that's your genuine opinion, that's the opinion. That's how you should act. I want people to act like authentically, genuinely. I like
Let's
that.
go to our friend
like
Gibbs.
Trump.
And anyone else wants to jump in, let me know.
So before I begin,
check my message real quick.
I asked my homegirl to bring me a shot, and she brought me a fucking wine glass half full of whiskey. This puta loco. Secondly, here's the I'm crazy bitch. Anyway, secondly, I want to say that I was taking the shot because I love what y'all are doing here. Y'all are just like not understanding what Ollie is saying. This is what I've been talking about when I talk about the lefties all the time. Y'all have this like uppity smugness that y'all just know better than the American people. You know, there's a thing that happened back, I don't remember, the 1800s sometime. It's the wisdom of masses, right? The wisdom of crowds, right? There was people were, if you got a bunch of people together, they could guess on how many balls were in the fucking pot. Yeah, Cauchy, same kind of concept, right? And you have these people, and what happens is the crowd wants something. And then you have people like Hunter and Bam who are like, hey, brothers, you know what? We know better than you. You don't want the thing you want. It's not electable. And then they go and sit here and make sure you keep electing the uniparty people. And that's why you're having this massive turn towards the populist left. You have this massive turn towards the populist right. And you all keep bitching about institutions. Republicans are getting what they want. You know, we're getting Brandon Herrera in there. We're getting, what's his name, Gill in there. We're getting all sorts of people in there to replace it. Cornyn's out. You know, if it wasn't going to be Cornyn, it wasn't going to be Paxton, it was going to be Hunt, who's also a MAGA guy. Like, we're getting people that want to move as what the people that are in the Republican Party want. You can bitch all these things, but 76% to 72% approval rating within the Republican Party right now is saying, hey, if you're an incumbent, get on the train or get off the train. And guess what? If you're not getting on, you're out. The Democrats don't seem to know what the train is. Y'all are going 15 directions and you're taking each other out. And the way y'all are going is more socialist, despite what Hunter wants. And here's the crazy thing. If you don't go the way Hunter and Bam want, at least Bam's nice. Hunter is telling you y'all are retarded. And I'm just saying,
yeah,
hell yeah, join the winning side.
Hunter's actually
That's
costing the
crazy.
moderates all the votes because he just keeps
I
casting
just-
away the
I just don't
30% of
think that-
Democrats that are claiming the DSA. So I'm just
It's
saying.
not even about the
Hold on.
DSA stuff. Like there's stuff that I don't like. I just keep thinking of examples. Like there's a reason why like things that Joe Manchin did did during his time used to piss me off. But there's a reason why I don't spend a lot of time being upset at Joe Manchin, or people are like, we should primary Joe
'Cause he's
Manchin in West Virginia.
He's in
It's because he's in West Virginia.
Yeah, 'cause
And
he's the
and
only
he
fucking
and he
Democrat that could
held
ever
a
get
seat,
elected
and he had like a as good as you could reasonably expect voting record with Democrats. Again, would someone rather like a progressive be in that seat? Sure, but he's in West Virginia. So that's part
sure.
of like that has to be part of the calculation with forming a party. Like
Joe
but
Manchin
The
I
or
don't
option is
I,
him
I don't
or
think that
Republican.
like for example, I don't
Yeah.
think that Ilhan Omar would have that calculation in how she discusses Joe Manchin. I feel like I'm not even saying she did because she didn't talk a lot in general.
She's a
But I feel like if you
pan-Arab
asked her
socialist,
what she thought of Joe Manchin, I think she would like shit on him as a member of the party in West Virginia on like why doesn't he vote for Medicare for all, blah blah blah, or what and I don't think that's feasible. That's what I'm saying. That's not competent of running a party. Like you have to understand that you're in a super blue seat versus being not. Versus like what is our goal? Our goal, because people say the goal is to get elected, and that's true. But the goal is also like my goal. I would hope for the party as a whole to pass legislation, and passing things takes more.
So I'm comment on that very quickly. I want to go to Hunter. That like I agree that like for a politician, their individual goal may just to be elected and like have a job like continuously. Fair enough, right? But the goal of politics isn't to get elected. The goal of politics is to get things passed, right? The goal of politics isn't for me to provide a job, right? For these geriatrics for decades. I don't care about that, right? If they're not doing what I need, right? And shout out to Gibbs. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah.
Shout out to Gibbs. Like, yeah, actually, the point is that like we elect these people within these the parties, these political bodies,
To do what we want.
to do what the people want. Our group wants, right? My group
Asterisk.
is a bit different from Gibbs' group, right? And
Individual
Lactoid's
groups,
group. Yeah. But like Lactoid has a desire, right, for his
fascism.
his leaders. Sorry, yeah, for his leaders.
He said it, guys. Let's get him.
He
It's gonna be the tagline tomorrow.
be able to find politicians who actually are going to fight for that. So no, I'm not in like the job the job protection racket for these geriatrics. Fuck that. No, I'm in to the passing policy, right?
Sure, but I feel like you're
And the policy that you want.
Congressman
Lactoids in
probably
the
haven't
same
passed
racket.
policy.
Yeah, we actually should.
Wait,
be on
but you
that.
just
I'm with you. I'm
let's
with
go
you.
to
contradict
Hunter.
yourself.
Sorry.
Wait, but didn't you just contradict yourself? You're saying that like you're not in the job protection market, but you're in getting policy done market. So when we're talking about somebody like Joe Manchin, where the option is Joe Manchin or a Republican, but then the progressives come in and primary him because they're like, we want more progressive policy. Well, now you just have a progressive that has zero chance of winning, and now a Republican gets in instead, and now you're not passing any policy because you have a minority again.
I can address that. Sure. I think that what Bam said about Joe Manchin, excuse me, sorry. What Bam said about Joe Manchin is fair from like a pragmatic standpoint, right? That like that might be the best way out. And we did, to be clear, right? In West Virginia, we did have progressive try to run against them, and they lost. And it's unfortunate. I like the guy who was running against him, but he lost. And so fair enough, right? Maybe Joe Manchin is the best we could get in that situation, right? But then on the other side, don't tell me, right? And maybe you're not actually saying this, Tom, right? And I'm not trying to put words into Bam or your mouth, right? But from the Democratic establishment, don't tell me that we have a safe seat that we can't actually push left, right? For the deep crimson red seats, the Republicans pushed right? Our friend Gibbs, right? He's like trying to get people who represent him, right? They're not like
90s era Democrats. Yes.
They're not. Oh, sorry, hold on. No, I get. They're not the conciliatory. They're not like they're not trying to like appeal to the. No, you are next, Hunter. You're on the list, friend.
Sorry.
no worries, fine. Yeah, you can't. The people in Gibbs's district aren't like trying to appeal to the rest of the country, right? They're trying to appeal to Gibbs, right? His constituency, and if it's in a safe red seat, which I imagine you are, right? If you are in a safe red seat, yeah, actually, it makes sense that they have the ability
I'm in
to
Gill's
push
seat.
right.
Yeah.
I'm like the only San Antonio city, province or not province. What am I looking for? District that's not part of San Antonio that votes red. So like we're voting Brandon Gill. Like obviously I like it's either Gill or Herrera. I always get them confused. But yeah, we're pushing more right. We're pushing more imperialists. Like that's what we want. Like and they're doing that. And I even in our opening spoke out against Patrick because he's doing the opposite of what they have the 80-20 issues are in the Republican Party. Like so yeah, if you're not doing what we're doing, get out.
Hell
Then
yeah.
get out. Then get the fuck out.
Get the
yeah,
fuck
so
out.
If you are in New York, right? If you're in a safe blue seat, absolutely, yes, we should push left, right?
Yeah.
And then our friend, I think Bam and Tom, I think something they were trying to get to is that these group of people, the squad, they got into Congress, and like what have they done, right? And I think it's fair. There's very little, right? Not nothing, but very little they can show. But yeah. There was like 5 of them at the most, kind of 4, right? Because the one in Massachusetts, I think I can get her name right now. She was barely.
They're also generally unproductive.
But I want to be clear. That's why I'm saying, like,
let me just finish this off. So, they're lazy.
Bernie Sanders is like one of the worst attendance ratings. Like, of any, they're just lazy people.
You're just.
That's why they're so.
These old white men, Blacktoid, right? They're just lazy.
Blacktoid.
Bad for our
we
country.
should get rid of all.
Blacktoid.
Get rid of all the old white men.
You know exactly how to get out of my skin, friend. But you're great. You're beautiful. But anyway, the point. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Because I want to hear what other people have to say. But like, fuck. Shit.
Sorry.
Hell yeah.
They haven't gotten
You ruined your flow.
Blacktoid.
Conservative tactic victory.
Yeah, right, yeah. So anyway, look, I guess I'll just wrap it. I had something else I was going to say, but like, yeah, we should be able to push back. Oh yeah. Sorry, you were saying that like, they can't get anything done, but yeah, they're a tiny caucus, right? This is the process of building that caucus, right? To actually have a significant block. The centrist Democrats don't agree with the progressives. You guys, right? Keep saying how much you disagree with the progressives, and then you're like, "Oh, okay, for this tiny ass caucus,
Hunter says he is
a huge body. Why haven't you done it? Why haven't you changed the world? No, actually, that's not how that works. They have to build. And that's the important part, right? Like, and this was, and I'll give because centrists made this point a long time ago, right? And this was correct, right? Saying, hey, you're just trying to insert Bernie Sanders at the head of the Democratic Party, but he doesn't have a caucus behind him, right? The other people disagree. We disagree with him, right? We're more on Hillary Clinton's side. We disagree. So he has to have something. If he goes in without a caucus, he'll be extremely ineffective. And you were right about that. This is the caucus building right now. That's what's happening right now.
So it sounds like you will want to protect those people. It sounds like you actually think that like your intra-party, you think that like, oh, there's actually value to building them, even if they're not accomplishing things. They shouldn't talk bad about each other, and you actually want them to expand their power. Because maybe
talk shit all you want as long as your voters rep you.
No, here's the difference between you and me, right? So I do want them to expand their power, but if there aren't actually fighting for my priorities, right? If I think any of them are fighting for, I want to primary them too.
But that's a vibe.
I want to primary
talk all the shit you want as long as the voters are happy and they keep voting for you.
All of them should get primary, right? And all the squad members that you think that I have some sort of loyalty to, primary every single one of them every time. Put up a strong candidate on them. They should always be fighting. There should always be a churn, right? Mm-hmm. That's important.
I don't disagree.
Actually,
with that.
100%.
That's how politics should work. No, that's how politics should work because the whole time during the Kamala loss, all anyone tried to say was like, "Hey, she didn't earn the vote," and all you guys were, "What do you mean she didn't earn?" You have to earn the vote. You have to be on your toes. You have to put up a good fight. You have to put up the best fight, and if you don't put up the best fight, you don't win.
Let's go to Hunter. Hunter's been waiting patiently. Hunter usually doesn't wait patiently, so this is amazing. Let's all enjoy this moment. Go ahead, Hunter.
Okay. I feel like I have 2 things that I want to say. The first is to Prime, the second is to Ali. So I'll like try to figure out what specific. Okay. Ali, I think you're a little hypocritical. I do think that you're saying you want politicians just to be honest with themselves, okay, and just be honest with voters. But you don't want me to be honest because I think voters are retarded and you don't like that I'm honest. I do think that that's what's going on. I
Because
do
you're
think that
uppity.
that's the issue, and
No,
you're
I think-
frustrated that I'm honest. Wait, hold on.
No,
hold
no,
on,
no.
hold on.
I'm cool with your honesty. I just
Okay,
think
okay,
that your
okay.
your honesty and your goals conflict. But go
Let me
on.
be clear. If I'm talking to a homeless person, and I shouldn't just go, hey, look, you don't understand. Like the system is really bigger than you, and you were brought in a place that like you really didn't have a lot of free will given to you. It's like get off your fucking ass and go get a job. Like genuinely, if it's someone I know,
Hell yeah.
especially, right? Like if it's someone
Hell
I know,
yeah.
my brother was homeless for a little bit, and it was because he was like, he's an idiot, like.
Yeah.
And like, it's not because he didn't just have the
What
resources.
about people who
You
can't
say
afford their
things getting
rent?
pretty
They should be
awkward.
homeless,
just
right?
listen. Hold on. He knows. He knows. I think it's already awkward. Don't worry with that fucking kid. Well, then it depends what we're talking to. It depends on who we're talking to. But if I'm talking to like a legislator, okay, and the legislator's like, these homeless people need to get off their ass. It's like, no, dude, you don't understand. Like the systems are really not working for itself, and like you have to build structure to make sure that it works for these people, even though they. You know what? Like it depends.
So the person
on
who
you're talking
isn't
to.
listening to you, you give the empathy and the kindness. But the
Yes.
person who would listen to you, you don't give any empathy and kindness. Go, keep going.
Sure.
The politician,
No,
you
no,
tell
no,
them,
no,
it's
no,
a
no,
better
it's not
system.
empathy and
But the
kindness.
homeless
It's
person,
not
you know, get off
empathy.
your
Wait,
ass.
No.
Wait,
It's
wait,
not
wait,
empathy.
hold on.
Wait,
I
no.
don't think-
I'm talking. It's not empathy and kindness.
If it was a homeless person, you'd give him money to go vote.
You
Yeah,
look at what you
consideration.
can do within your sphere of influence, and you do what you can. Okay. And when I'm talking to the voters, I'm saying you got to be fucking smarter. You actually have to figure this shit out and actually understand how these policies work. And like not just be whiny little babies. Now, if I'm talking to a politician, I would change my tune. I would say, hey, you really do actually have to fucking listen to these voters, and you really do.
But you want the
depends on who
voters
I'm
to
talking
vote for your politician, right?
I want vote. Yeah, of course.
So if you're calling them whiny babies and bitches and so on and so forth, why would they listen to you? And
I
vote for the
guess-
person
I
that you
guess
vote?
I need them to not be whiny
if they disagree
babies.
with your politics, or if they disagree with your views,
it's a self-referencing
You know?
circle. Because if they weren't fucking whiny babies, when I called them a whiny baby, they'd go, "Shit, I really do need to be better. I really need to stop being a fucking whiny baby."
I mean, or you just think they're a whiny baby and they're complaining about problems that they have in their lives, and
They're not talking about problems
solutions
that they have.
want.
They're not talking about
Yeah,
problems that they
But the
have.
I think a lot of people
voters
are.
just changed their
I think,
branding.
I think their vote.
Yeah.
I think their vote is indicative of like, hey, people seem to be voting a little bit more left, and it keeps increasing a little bit more. And we keep looking for these policies, and you're calling these people that want these policies whiny bitches.
Yeah.
So you don't understand how policy works. It's like, well, they don't care
Wait.
how policy works.
Yeah, I
All they
know,
know
and
is,
they
hey,
need to.
I want to
They
vote
need
in this
to.
person
They need
who
to.
can do the thing I want. And if you're not going to do the thing
they
I
don't
want,
want
well, then what
that.
the fuck did I vote for?
They don't want that. They
yeah,
want.
but
They
which
want
side
economic.
are you
wait,
going to be on, Ali? Are you going to be on the side of educating them for the right side, or are you going to be on
Exactly.
the side where you just keep saying,
No.
"Do what you want"?
Wait.
Exactly.
No. You guys
Fine.
you guys keep doing this thing where like we need to educate people into being okay with the fact that they're broke. No. I think people. I don't think we need to educate people and be like, "Hey, listen, you're right. You can't afford your rent. It's
that's
fine. Look
not
at this
what we're saying.
policy
No,
right here
no.
that explains why you can't afford your rent. But you can
Ellen,
go fuck yourself. Come
No.
vote for me
Preach.
next year."
No, I'm talking about how to
Preach.
lower their rent, and they don't fucking care because they're like, no way, just fucking lower the rent. Just turn the dial
Because
down.
they can't afford their rent.
I know.
And you're
I'm
like,
saying-
well, no, it's fine. You can't afford your rent. Just get
No,
evicted.
that's not what I'm
No,
saying.
Hunter, you know you're
That's a better way
unironically
to
doing the
do it.
bourgeoisie thing.
We're
Like
saying-
that's what you're doing.
Hold on, wait. We're saying
I
that
think
there's
there's a
more likely way to
perception
get
gap
it
that needs to
done.
be
We're saying that
mitigated here.
it's gonna make it to
No.
where it can actually
You're
get
you're
done.
saying
If
you're
you
saying
don't get rid. Hold
no.
on, wait,
That's not what you guys are saying.
Yes, we
Yes,
are.
no,
No, it
listen,
isn't. No, it isn't.
listen. We're
Okay.
saying you're more likely to get it done with Manchin than you
Yes.
are to have a progressive come in, lose, and replace him with a Republican.
Or
You're
Yes,
saying
and-
you're better with
or
the cinema. than you are
the
with
people who are living in
Republican.
blue seats, the people who are living in the blue states, right? They can prove. So like Mamdani does the rent freeze.
You
If it
keep
doesn't fuck
pivoting
up,
to that.
if
That's
it
not what
doesn't
we're
fuck up
talking
all of
about.
New York, and then it gets proven that freezing the rent may help the people that need their rents frozen. It can help, and then oh my god, now we can push for that policy going forward, right or wrong?
Wrong.
Wrong.
Because, wait,
Or
no.
wrong.
Let me clarify. Let me
I actually
clarify.
respect El Said for running in the competitive.
Let me be
race.
super fucking clear here. Okay.
Mhm.
First
Do
off,
as well.
rent freezes don't work. This has been the most
Oh my God, I
historically.
never-
we're gonna have this
That's
argument
fine.
again.
I
I agree
don't
with
care
you,
to have
but
this
we're not
argument.
skipping-
I'm saying
I'll
if
skip
it
past
does
I'll
work.
skip past it.
I'm
I'll
saying
skip
if
past
it does
I don't
work.
care. Great.
Yeah, there
great.
you go.
If it does work,
Yeah.
for who really?
For
is
New
what
York,
it would be my
right,
question.
right
Party
now, the
pushes
Mamdani-
it, though, Hunter.
if the DSA works in New York, right? If the people feel
I
and
don't
keep
think
electing
I don't think you're
Mamdani,
capable of having the conversation I want to be having. Genuinely.
Yeah.
No,
So
like,
I'm gonna
I'm-
skip past the conversation I want to have.
I'm actually agree.
Hunter has this thing where he thinks he's the most intellectual person on this podcast, and yet no one understands him. I think there's the common denominator of no one understands what the fuck you're ever saying, and I think that's more.
Okay, how about this?
Everyone gets what I'm talking about.
Hunter,
because he's
you
too
wanted
smart,
to say
Ali.
something to me? Hunter,
he's a
you want to
genius.
say something to me? So you can say that to me. I do
want
to let
be much quicker.
Connor, because he hasn't said something for a while, and I feel lonely about him.
I'm gonna say something.
And bam.
I'm going to say something much quicker. Grime, I do apologize if I'm getting this wrong, because I do think I'm not exactly understanding your position. So because this feels like such an obvious. Okay. Anyway, I think you're saying, hey, we should always be pushing more left. And in purple districts, we should obviously be pushing more left. And then in deep blue districts, we should still be pushing more left. Obviously, that's only from the perspective of people who are further left than any of the Democrats right now. But I'm to the right of Zoran. I'm to the right of Hong. So obviously when they caucus build and when they primary challenges, when they primary challengers, I'm against those, but I'm for it in a purple district when I think that they should be moving slightly more left than like Kelly. I think Buttigieg is a better, like, whatever. Like,
but I wasn't criticizing you for that, right?
I thought you were saying.
No, I said specifically, right?
Okay.
The party establishment. I said I don't want to put words in Tom or Bam's mouth, right? Because I don't want to say they said this, but the party establishment says that we can't push left. They fight us all the time on pushing left, saying these things are unreasonable and all this nonsense. No, I'm against that. So no, I'm not saying Hunter, you can have your opinion, right? You're certainly allowed to. I won't take it away, right? I mean, I haven't made the camps yet. The re-education system isn't set up, so you have your opinions. But yeah. So I'm not going to criticize you, friend.
Okay, maybe I just misunderstood your position, and I am a little bit distracted by Gibbs's. I
see it.
All right, but yeah, we could move it over to Connor or whatever.
Yeah, let's go to Connor, then Bam. Then anyone else who wants to jump in, let me know. Down?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like Bam has distracted us with attempting to recenter us on the conversation rather than let us have like the socialism is bad fight that we were all craving. And so what I would say
our opening statements were about.
I took a substantial amount of flack over the past year when I said that I went with Kamala as a result of a calculation that Trump was going to be terrible. And I feel vindicated in that calculation. But what I also said is that the center leftoids are going to have to do a similar calculation where the left is getting more and more extreme, further out the field, et cetera, et cetera. There's going to have to be a cutoff point. And then what's weird is there's this fraction between the liberals. I would say the DGG associated liberals, maybe Hutch, Destiny, Mootin, Wick, and all that kind of stuff. And they're saying, no. Here's my line. Here's where it's too far left. I would actually vote for a center-right person over
and
a
Pisco
far
for once
left
is right.
person. And I think that is the conversation that I would love to see. Is I'm looking like Hunter and tomfoolery and maybe Riddell and maybe Bam. What is the line at which point you vote for Rubio over Abdul al-Said?
That's actually a good question.
When they're the lesser evil.
That's actually a good question.
Well, right, but at the same time,
clarify where that is.
Clarify where that is, because for me, sorry, real quick. I'll finish this and then I'll be quiet again. I promise. So for me, the decommodification of basic human need and workers owning the means of production. So food, water, and shelter being free, basically everybody can consume it, and then the workers owning the means of production. The level of state that you would need to enforce that would be so fucking big, it would be indistinguishable from the CCP. Like you are just going to implement a massive authoritarian state. So I don't care if you put democratic in front of it. Socialism is too far left for me. Now, if you want to talk about like Scandinavian social democracy or whatever, we could talk about like technocratic fucking welfare policy and all that bullshit. But where I know where my line is, where is your line?
Sure. Let me.
So I don't.
let
Well,
Tom
real
go.
quick, I don't. I
Tom can go,
don't think
sorry.
that it's like as simple to where I can ever say that like there is this line, because I think everybody's way too complicated for that. Currently, my standard is like if you're going to help Trump, work with Trump to help his policies, you're going to help him do the things that he wants to do, and we're more likely to get a far left progressive, nut job in who I may not agree with them on much of anything, but I do think they're more likely to fight against Trump on those things. I will vote for the lesser of two evil in that case. And there isn't a line where I will never not vote for the lesser of two evil. If there's one person who's going to rape 1 million kids and the other one's going to rape 10 million kids, I'm going to vote for the one who's only raping 10 million
Or you
kids.
don't vote.
Weird.
Or you just don't vote.
Yeah.
Or
I
you just
think
don't
No,
vote.
I'm saying
I
I
don't
just
believe in
said there is literally no line where I don't
you just
vote.
don't
Like
vote.
that
Yeah.
does
He
not
would have
exist.
voted for Platinum.
no, no,
dude.
no.
I think that's bad.
That's what
I
he's
think that's a
saying.
bad position.
Hey man, do what you
Let me
gotta
give
do.
you a less
Well,
bad position,
We
but
will
it's still
go
not
to
satisfying.
Bam, and before then, I just want to get these super chats out. No, they just came in.
Liberals
No,
always
go to
run the
super chat.
child rape as their example. Why?
Let's go to
Because that's the
just-
worst thing we can think
Because
of.
it makes
Ali,
yes.
You guys
You're
think
a
about it
baby
a lot.
brain.
You guys think about it way
What?
too much.
it's
I'm
the
just
worst
saying.
thing that is capable of doing.
Thank
They're
you
always-
very
they're
much.
also the ones
pushing the
It's
stuff in
just
the
always on my
library.
mind.
I'm gonna get the super chats out, and then I'm gonna do friend Bam. So super chat from Starch Manning says the Democratic Party needs to move back towards the center, so to the left. Corporate Democrats need a new FDR. So I'm a little confused here, though. Right?
I know what
You're
I know what
saying-
this person's saying. This person's
Sorry, go
saying
ahead.
Is he doing
the roots of the Democratic Party are like FDR
Are
socialists,
left.
and you guys should move back to that, pretty much.
They've gone right, is what he's saying.
Windows.
He's saying the
Extreme
Democratic Party's
socialism.
gone right.
Yeah, that
Okay.
we're actually right wing.
Yeah.
Which is one of the
And they need to
dumbest
move
ideas.
back.
FDR is famously
Oh,
right wing.
okay.
Famously.
You should
Okay.
go back to putting people in
Kids,
camps
you're an
based on their
idiot. You don't know what
ethnicity,
he's saying.
like FDR
If-
did. Yes.
They're saying FDR is
yeah,
left.
oh yeah,
Gunner,
yeah, like
I'm
Donald
more aware
Trump
of what's
did,
going
right?
on than you are,
Alligator
my friend.
Alcatraz. Anyway,
Was that
You're
based
the one
on
your
their
own voters are
ethnicity?
retarded. I'm
yes,
just saying.
actually,
You asked Trump, and
yes,
absolutely
yes,
not.
actually, we've been going
No,
around
it was
the
based on
media.
whether or not they were in the
Actually,
country
that's
illegally.
That's the whole.
No.
That's exactly.
No,
how I
people
see
that
it.
people
It's
just
bullshit.
don't in their
tell
So
you
anyway,
because they're
it's
Mexican.
fine.
As
But
opposed
Starch
to
Manning, thank you for
the
kindness.
internment
$5.
camps.
And then,
Well,
let's
surprise,
go.
surprise,
No, they were
socialist
both
camps.
bad. They were also bad. I will agree.
You're right. We should go back to FDR with the
I
internment
did, and I
camps.
did,
Just
and
like
I
all socialists,
disagree.
they love each other.
I will be
camps.
brave. I will
They're
be
just
brave.
talking about the New Deal.
I will be brave and say I disagree with internment camps.
You disavow
Yeah,
FDR.
Hot take. Hot take.
I disavow. I disavow.
You disavow
Let's go
FDR.
to our-
We
let's go
condemn
to,
FDR.
Starch Manning. It
thank
says
you.
another $5. It says Democratic leadership would rather lose to Republicans than raise the minimum wage or offer Medicare for all. Actually,
yeah.
true. Starch Manning, you're cool. You're cool in
True
my
and
book,
base.
especially if you give to the channel. But no, seriously, thank you for that. I agree. Yes, they would actually rather lose. Yeah, the
Then
actual
raise the
political
minimum
enemies
wage. What the
are
fuck
the
are we
left.
talking about?
You mean the federal? Sorry.
The minimum wage trash.
You mean like when we're the fight for $15 an hour, right?
Uh-huh.
Where all of a sudden the parliamentarian is the reason why we can't do that, even though we can fire them, which is that's been done plenty of times. Oh, but the rules stopped me. I really wanted to do it, but the rules stopped me. Yeah, bullshit. Okay, whatever. But thank you, Starch Manning, for the kindness. And then we'll go to our friend Bam and sorry, who else I had here? Bam Riddell Gibbs and
Riddell.
yeah.
Big Riddell.
So I'm gonna answer your question as part of my response, Connor. I don't go nearly as far as Tom, but I think that there's I think that
voting for 1 million
I-
rapes.
yeah, no, I think that there's in the current reality,
Disappointing.
anyone associated with like
With a
actively in
million
the Republican Party as it exists as MAGA is to me the more immediate threat right now. Whenever you talk about like, oh, where do you draw the line at like El Sayed, if you actually look at what he's talked about instead of like what people associate him with,
Sharia law.
it's a okay, that's what he that's what he's talked about. God, Jesus Christ, y'all are racist.
Yes, I mean he said it, not me. I'm just saying.
No,
Yes,
part of his
yes.
campaign.
He
is
said he
that-
wants to do Sharia law.
There-
in
there's-
Michigan, yeah.
No, he's distracting. Just keep.
Yeah,
answer.
there's a
Go ahead.
reason. There's a reason why he's like one of the a primary in Michigan Like you can't do that with just like Muslims. Yes, they're a factor, but they don't control the state, contrary to popular belief. As again, I say I'm an institutionalist. Like I do have things that I advocate for, and I do have lines that I draw, but I'm not a contrarian. There's people in the party. Like I don't think I was would have advocated for Manami. I did not advocate for ALC. I think both have so far been excellent politicians. I'm like, oh, they're actually good at doing politics, politics for their location, for their area. Even if I don't like everything about them, I support them as members of the Democratic Party.
They had to change for that to be the case, right?
Yeah, and they did change. They grew. Or I guess Mondami didn't really change.
They moderated.
That wouldn't be fair to him.
No, Mondami definitely moderated. But
well, I don't
all
know.
of
Maybe
them
on what
do
he's working
is
on.
the point.
But like I said, regardless of what that, somebody I wouldn't vote for. Like I would just not participate if like Brianna Joy Gray was on the ballot. I think she's a Russian asset.
He hates her so much.
I hate her.
Fairly.
yeah,
Like,
she's
I think she's actually a Russian asset. But outside,
I love
like
her,
there's there's different lines you can draw on that. My broader point, and what I believe the future looks like Connor, let me ask you this, and I'll make my last point after it. Like and this is me just outside looking in. I think you're probably disgusted with what happened to, I don't know, your party, the Republican Party. Like people talk about the Republicans have pushed right into populism and it's worked out for them. But I think you're actually disgusted with what your party looks like. Like that, it's a reason. I don't think you like. I know your politics are in the middle, but I don't think you want to be a Democrat realistically. Like you'd rather have a better.
I mean, you're right. I don't want to be at all. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So whenever like people point to what MAGA's doing as some like success story, I think the Republican Party is literally like zombification of itself. I don't think there's any principles. Like like Trump is buying taking ownership in the private corporations, and they're like celebrating this the high levels of corruption. And yes, the
voters are celebrating it.
Did they win a couple of? Yes, that's what.
Yes, because the voters are dumb, like Hunter said.
No, because the voters are getting what they want out of it. So the people who did vote for Trump,
how are the voters? How are the voters benefited by the federal government buying 10% of Nvidia?
Because they're getting the other things that they think that they want, the deportations
and
so on and so forth.
Ollie, you are demonstrating. Hold on. Ollie, you are demonstrating exactly why you claim to hate like the economic field, where you're like, everyone keeps thinking in economics that everyone's such a rational actor. Don't you know that people actually do things that are irrational? Don't you know that voters are irrational? Don't you know sometimes they just
on the issues they're unhappy.
I know, but if the voters feel like they're getting what they want, they keep voting for him. It doesn't matter if Connor's disinterested with the
such a rational view of voters. It pisses me off.
I mean, Ollie's absolutely correct though.
But Ollie is correct.
The Connor's disinterested with the Republican Party doesn't mean anything.
Advocated against.
If you guys are disinterested with the Democratic Party, but the DSA keeps winning, right? And they keep winning the voters over. Well, your disinterest doesn't really fucking matter.
You won like 3 races.
That's not the Republican Party anymore.
Advocating against it, Ollie.
I know.
You're saying over and over. People want the Nazis. What, you don't need to advocate against.
I just wouldn't use MAGA as.
I never said you don't need to advocate. You can advocate against it.
Right about the fucking Jews.
The interest doesn't matter. The point that Bam was trying to make. The point Bam was trying to make was, oh look, the Republicans actually they're not doing that great because a lot of some of their people are disinterested with the party now. That's what's happening with the Democrats, and now that's what's happening.
No, I'm saying.
I want to say, I'm sorry. You made a comment to Connor, right? So I want to give Connor a chance to respond to that. But also quickly, I want to respond to Connor. Connor asked a question. I'll answer it very quickly, right? You said,
I still get
Hunter, don't worry. So yeah, I haven't forgotten you. Riddell,
the question wasn't to you, Prime.
It's Riddell, Gibbs, Lactoid, Hunter. No. But he asked. No,
I was asking lefties. True. Moderates, to be fair, it wasn't to you.
But okay, well, I'll answer it because you're asking lefties. Okay. So quickly,
being
right?
censored.
Yeah, you're saying. Yeah, don't worry, you're not. We're gonna go. You're on the list. I have your name. So what do we gain for 10% stake in Intel? What do we gain? We gain a stake in a company that we invested in. right? Connor, if you give me like, I don't know, $100,000, right, and invest it into my like a private corporation, right, privately held corporation, it is not unreasonable, Connor, if you're like, yeah, I want to stake in this, right? Like you needed some sort of bridge loan to make it across the hump. Yeah, I want to stake in it, right? Actually, Trump did a good thing. Shout out to Trump, right? And hey, it's something the socialists wanted, right? So I thank Trump, right, for putting in a socialist policy. I think the man that Lactoid voted for introducing the socialist idea of taking a stake into these companies. I love it. Yeah, I actually love it. If we're investing,
We
in
both
these
bitched about
companies,
that too.
just about the banks, right? Remember the banks? The banks, we put so much money into them. Yeah, actually, we deserve a stake in that. 100%. Yeah, that's reasonable. So, but Connor, I know you're like, I'm killing you. So you can respond to me very quickly. I want to go to Riddell Gibson.
Oh, yeah, that was a lot. What I think what Bam was scratched at before we went down this thing, and I'll try to address anything that I remember, was the fact that I do view the Republican Party as getting zombified. I do view it the populist economic right wing pandering to the lowest common denominator in order to win power, and then doing fucked up shit with power as what's potentially threatening the left. I am praying that the democratic institutions or Republican institutions of our country are able to temper these things. And I'm praying. But what I wanted to say to Ali was like there's this thing with the left that it kind of feels implied by what you're saying, which it's like, oh, well, the vast majority of people want it, therefore it's good. And I was raised with like a completely different perspective that was rooted in American representative democracy, that the masses are oftentimes poorly tempered, ignorant, fucking average, mediocre, dumb fucks who don't understand policy at all, don't understand economics, barely made it out of fucking high school, barely made it through fucking college. That so it's the equivalent of becoming, and I hate that this is the example, but being like, I'm going to run for school president, and then I'm going to get pizza every single day, ice cream every single day, nap time is going to be extended by an hour, and then recess is going to be double the amount of time. And then everybody votes for that person regardless of their capacity to actually implement them. I'm not impressed by popularity. Popularity is one of like the least important things that I care about, because any dumb fuck can say shit that's popular. And so the reason why I'm frustrated with your appeals to popularity is because it's like, yes, to some level, you need to like do what's good for the quote unquote vulgar masses. But if you're asking like, oh, well, shitloads of people fucking want it, therefore, isn't that what we should do? Absolutely the fuck not.
So it's not that. It's not that they want their pizza and their what's called. It's that the American voters are looking at things that other countries seem to have implemented, other lesser countries seem to have implemented. And what you just said was like, well, hey, we can't implement them. So it's not that the voters want pizzas and they want things that they can't have. It's that they want things that they can have, but we can't implement them for some reason.
I want to rebuttal to this because I can be very specific.
Good content.
So if you, like I said earlier, if you wanted to talk to me about like technocratic, social democratic Scandinavian systems, then we could have a conversation about what the appropriate level of the state interaction with the economy is. But Prime, in my opinion, rawly blew this the fuck up in the past 5 minutes, where both him and Gibbs were cheering, oh, the government intervened in the economy. They should take massive stake in our corporations. I'm sure they'll have no deleterious effects on the way that the American economy works. And that to me is suicidally fucking stupid because it's effectively Chinese state capitalism. I'm not interested in Chinese state capitalism.
Okay, counter.
Now I want to answer it.
Yeah, I will just 1 second, because Prime's end goal, right, in the eventual future, in the future that he wants, is that yes, we decommodify blah blah blah, and the workers own the mean of production, but he doesn't think we're going to get it tomorrow, right? There are steps to getting there.
It's
right.
a step in the wrong
yeah.
direction.
I mean,
No, the right
well,
direction.
no,
That's the
wait,
beautiful
that's
way.
your opinion,
The
which is what
most beautiful
politics are. So when the politicians are getting up,
Right.
when you when
But
you say we have a
Connor, it's his
representative,
opinion,
when you say
though.
we have a representative democracy, Connor, but the voters are idiots. Well, guess what? We still rely on the voters to elect our representatives, right? So either so either the representative is just as retarded as the voter,
No.
right? What do you mean no? Because the retards
No,
are the one
not at
voting in
all.
the policy,
They have
so
to
the policy
appeal
must
to
be
the, they
retarded,
have to
right?
appeal to the retards.
Correct.
They don't,
But no
they
one's
Yeah,
don't
they have
saying
to
that
appeal.
the politicians have
So
to be as retarded.
so right now, if
candidates
if there's a
Tom, you
shift,
have
if
to
there's
do
a
this
shift
or
in how the
you're being
and if there's a
anti-black.
shift in how the representatives are
Let's go.
if there's a shift in how the voters are voting, right? Then it's up to the representatives to catch that momentum, not up to the voters, right?
Let's go to
I-
Riddell.
sure.
That's what
I
they're
do.
doing.
Well,
We
I
gotta
do
move
are in
on. We
a
gotta move on.
really
We gotta-
bad
We
spot.
gotta move on. We gotta move
You're
on.
in a
Like
really
limited
bad
vote
spot.
base.
I can
Gotta
be
move on.
10
Riddell,
seconds.
you have to.
You're not
We're in
gonna
a
do it.
really
You're
bad
not-
I gotta
spot
take the
where
mic. I
people
gotta-
are
Yeah, you
getting
just gotta jump in,
laws
Riddell.
becoming
I also
more
gotta
like
vote.
state
I would've
Talk
capitalist
over
strength.
Connor, make
Wait,
him
wait,
mad,
hold
make
on.
him red.
Okay.
Connor.
Okay. Well, next is Riddell. Then it's Gibbs, and it's Lactoid, then it's Hunter. Thank you.
I understand the passion. Don't get me wrong. I would say there needs to be an understanding to reach out to voters. I do think education is very important, but the perception gap is also very important to make sure that there's an understanding of how these things work, and we're not putting into like terrible systems that will erode and destroy America. I think those are all very important things to consider. To answer Connor's question, I'm not principally attached to any party. I'm just not. My biggest thing right now is I'm principally attached to progressing the American project, to improving the country, and I advocate for policies that I think will do so. And I also am very antagonistic to movements, parties, and ideologies that is going to be against those core principles. So obviously I'm against MAGA fascism, and that also means I'm against DSA Marxists or DSA communists, because I think their project is antagonistic to my project. However, regardless of those opinions, there's also the calculation of limiting harm. And that's also something I'm very passionate about, because at the end of the day, we all recognize the immediate threat is MAGA. We all recognize that they are the ones with the power, and you got to take that calculation into account when you're picking the candidates to put in power. If we do reach a point of, I don't know, Republicans being normal again, then I think there is a legitimate argument for those individuals over DSA communist candidates. However, another play that I do think is interesting in this conversation is that there is a growing momentum, not as big as like the far left DSA. And there are some candidates that are not DSA, like Abdul is not DSA, but they're pitching like far, like you could say far left, progressive policies, all that stuff. There is also the movement of pitching to independent candidates that is growing as well. And if there is a calculation where there's a DSA Democratic candidate and a MAGA candidate, and somehow the independent candidate could win, then that's something strongly I would consider, because there's been times in the past where a write-in candidate was against, like the Tea Party was a perfect example, where a write-in candidate beat a Tea Party candidate. So I do think it all matters in terms of determining what is going to ensure that America survives and moves in the proper direction. And right now, MAGA in power is the thing we got to deal with. So hopefully
Let's
that
go
answers your
to
question.
Gibbs, Lactoid, then Hunter.
Yeah, so first I want to object to a couple of things. I for one bitched real hard on this panel with Lactoid specifically about him buying the Nvidia. So that's fake news. I also bitched about the Argentina beef deal because once again didn't want Trump interfering with the economy. That was a thing. I also bitched about subsidies to row farmers that Trump has done. I bitched about corn subsidies previously. I don't like it when government gets involved in certain economic sectors, especially ag overall. Like there's the things that I would like them to stay the fuck out of. The government never does it right. They always fuck up. Specifically when we're talking about row farmers, which gave a bunch of benefits to corporate farmers, not anything to mom and pop, and it also hurts the ranching industry. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, though, this is what the Dems do. They sit here and they try to frame Republicans as this monolith, like, oh, we all want these same thing. But I once again came on here and said, hey, I don't want Dan Patrick. He's got to go. He's fucked up, and he's an entrenched incumbent Republican that's mostly sided with Trump for almost everything, right? So these are things that I've gone over and over again. I go against it. Now, what's interesting to me is that a lot of the people that are voting Republican and voting Trump are saying that Trump is basically reminiscent of a 90s Democrat. If you look at the immigration policies, you look at foreign policy, look at a lot of the things, you can go and see Chuck Schumer, you can see Harry Reid, you can see Clinton, all saying similar things that Trump is now. He hasn't moved that far. The Overton window has moved so far to the left. Yeah, very similar things, actually. He's moved over so far to the left that these guys over here are just upset about it. And Ollie is absolutely right. See, the thing what happened with the Tea Party is that was the first of the signs of the populist movement with the Republican Party, saying we want changes to the status quo. The incumbents are a problem. They're not doing what the people want. And then when they went to the Bernie Bros, well, the Dems screwed the Bernie Bros, and then a lot of those guys switched to Trump, and guess what? They've been pretty pleased with it. That's why we have a 72 to 76% favorability rating right now with Trump. And here's the thing: if these guys can keep telling us, these guys can keep telling us, oh, they don't listen to the people, but Ollie is absolutely right. Hunter and Bam here would be what you call the bourgeoisie back in the day. They're not listening to the proletariat, right? They're sitting here making all these people mad. They're not listening to what the voters want. They think they're uppity. They think they know better than the common man because they're educated. You know, and most of these people here that are saying this, I don't know about Hunter and Bam, but most of these people that are sitting here saying it aren't really, but maybe they're college educated, but it's community college or fucking University of DeVry. Like, it's crazy. I have a degree from like a major fucking D1 fucking university with a presidential library and a massive research center, right? I'm sitting here saying this.
And 2 doctorates.
had 2 doctors and pretty educated. So I'm sitting here saying these things going, okay, I feel like education is one thing, but y'all have been brainwashed to sit here and go, oh, we know better. Let's push this policy. And then y'all go, oh, surprise, Pikachu face when everybody goes against y'all. And y'all just won't listen. Prime has been saying this for years. Prime openly says, hey, get these people out. They're corrupt. Y'all, people are seeing the corruption. Y'all put a system in place and people are upset about it. And I'm like happy that y'all are paying the price on the libs, right? Because y'all enabled these pan-Arab socialists and the normal socialists to get in here and push this agenda. Now, whether or not that's a good agenda is a whole different subject. But whenever y'all sit here, y'all don't get the right to bitch whenever they're pushing what the people want and you're not, and then they vote you out. That's cool. That's what voting's for. That's why they're here, is you vote for the people you want. Those people fight for the policy they want. And if they don't get accomplished, then they push them to other people to vote in other districts. And I guess what y'all really just don't like is democracy and constitutional republicanism. That's what y'all are really bitching about. And that's why y'all put the system entrenched to sit here and keep people down. And that's what I was saying right there. Thank you.
So
I don't even think we need to make an argument, Ali. You sound like him.
No.
You sound like Gibbs, Ali. That's it.
Yeah, but we're arguing the same points from different sides.
It's called being dissatisfied with your party, right?
Yeah, we'll go to
it's called being dissatisfied with your party. It's what it sounds like. It's kind of a universal feeling.
Who were called out, you will get
pretty happy now,
right? After our friend Lactoid goes, you'll get your chance to respond. Lactoid.
I want to engage with my friend Counterpoints here for just a second. When you asked the question, where was the line? I understand why you are asking that question. And I think that's especially telling that you would ask the question because you are somebody who broke with your party because you found that a particular candidate from that party was too detestable or too extreme or too far beyond the pale. So much so that in your analysis that the Democratic candidate was better, right? Was less extreme. And so you're sort of trying to gauge, well, where is the line for everybody else? Like, do the Democrats have this line? And Connor, I don't think that they do. I mean, you're talking about the people who endorse Plattner over Collins. We're talking about Plattner over Collins. Collins, who is one of the most moderate Republicans, who voted, I didn't know this, in 2024, voted against Republicans and unity votes more than half the time. You have somebody who is not afraid to stand up and vote against the Republicans, and they were in favor of Graham Plattner. I don't think that. I think
where's the policy on the sleeve?
I think you are.
You got to vote blue.
I don't know. Yeah, I think you are.
No matter who.
Hold up.
No matter how many rapes Lactoid, you have to vote blue no matter who.
I think, Ali's joking a little bit, but I do think that this is the underlying philosophy, and I think that they're not. I think you just need to recognize that. I suppose that's the first thing. The second thing here is. You brought up, when Republicans get power, you feel vindicated because, when Trump and the Republicans and other Republicans get elected, they wield power, I guess, in bad ways or evil ways. I think that if you take a step back, there's a lot of specific policies where this just simply isn't true, and it's easy to get caught up, I think, in specific controversies in which Trump is the center or other Republicans are the center of, and then hyperfixate on that. Just today, Massachusetts is now the 10th state, blue state, that has removed all gestational limits for abortion, allowing abortion all the way up until the day of birth, potentially. The 10th state. Now, Connor, I know you're pro-life. These people will do evil
Compared to
things
Prime right
if they
now,
get into
Jesus
power.
Christ.
Sorry, go ahead.
You're making Connor
No,
regret
I'm
his
sorry
vote
for
now.
interrupting. Go ahead.
No, that was the end of it. I'm saying these people will do evil things when they get into power. And they
Okay.
care a lot about getting into power. They're not going to make decisions like you make.
See,
I think Tom's the
okay,
only one
so-
that didn't give a line.
As
No, I
a
haven't.
counter argument,
Tom
though,
did. Hunter
I think
hasn't.
there are liberals who you can say that they're improperly motivated. You can say they're motivated by spite, vindictive nature, et cetera, et cetera. But Destiny, Wick, Hutch, I think those are the main characters. Mooten, I know, is a Destiny orbiter or whatever. But they are taking an incredible amount of online political flack right now because they're saying, no, Trump is on the way out. The emergency threat that would make us vote for Plattner over Collins is shifting. And so after the midterms, we need to start doing this calibration of, do we strangle the DSA in the crib now, or do we let them effectively gain 30 to 40% of the party? And this is a real fight that they're having. So while
I think they're
I
having
think
it.
that you can say
They're definitely
that
Hutch is still blue.
a
Hutch is
shitload,
still blue no matter
No,
who.
not quite done yet. A shitload of people are going to be with the PSCO, IRI, vote blue no matter who caucus or whatever. I think probably even Hunter might say, hey, there's actually a moderate Republican versus a ardent socialist, and despite my affiliation for the Democratic Party, I will pick a moderate Republican over an ardent socialist. And I don't just want to say, fuck you, Hunter, you don't exist. Because that's what a lot of people said to me. They said, fuck you, you don't exist during 2024.
But that's not true. I
That's
literally
what
had this
I-
argument with North literally yesterday, who was basically your mini-me, and he was like, I'll pick Madami over Rubio if they ran for president. So this is fake news. Like, that's more representative.
But
Rubio's not
that
about
doesn't
North-
say anything.
I
You
think North
think
is
Mom
young
Dommy's more
and
radical
he's
than
been
he actually is.
poisoned.
Here, let me
by-
let's ask Hunter right
go-
here. Hunter,
let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask Hunter since he's up next anyway.
Please do,
Would you
please do.
vote for, let's say, Marco Rubio?
Let's do
Pretty-
Collins over.
I would assume pretty
Over
moderate,
who?
right? Over AOC,
Rubio is not
someone who
moderate.
endorses the DSA
Not
candidates.
AOC. I wouldn't
Yeah.
choose AOC, but I could wait. Hold on, but I could easily find. I would say easily Rubio over Hong though, and it does depend on the specific situation. Let me clarify. Sorry, I wrote down a lot about my line here, so I really want to clarify. Firstly, it really depends on the type of election. Like if we're talking about Congress, governor, wherever, I have voted for libertarians over Democrats because they were in my local city council and I wanted to liberalize zoning. That to me mattered a lot because they were in my city council. They were in my city council. It depends, like president, whatever. Let me just read what I wrote. I don't have a specific line, but I think that having an election denier in charge of a swing state in terms of Wisconsin and who Hong is up against, I can't let that happen. But if Hong were in a bluer state and was up against a moderate Republican, I would do it unquestionably. Either of those two were to happen, I would vote against Hong easily.
Well, doesn't Marco Rubio also go with Trump on the whole?
I don't think
election
he's an
thing?
election denier. I don't know. I haven't seen it. And if he did, then that would be.
I think you kind of
a nail
have
in
to
the
be
coffin for
part
me.
of the.
Well,
part
that's
of the
what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I'll be
You gotta have
honest.
to
No,
be, yeah.
sure.
You
And maybe
kinda- you
Rubio. Wait,
definitely
hold on,
have to
hold on.
be.
And if it were Collins versus Hong, it wouldn't be a choice. Like I wouldn't think about that. I
Well,
want to be
Collins
clear.
is
And let's say
state
wait,
in
wait.
2021.
I wanna be clear.
Rubio,
I wanna be
you know,
clear.
like make it simpler.
What?
I was saying back in 2016, Rubio was like a never Trump Republican. So if there was a character like that,
100%.
That
think
doesn't
you- I think
exist
you argue
anymore,
Thomas
Connor.
Massey.
You're
The
not-
current-
I
the
think
current
Thomas
Rubio is
Massey's
not
very
a good
conservative,
example.
but he's
Hold on.
principled.
I can't hear all of you guys. I'm gonna just power through because
I would if you should have said Thomas
Blackwood-
Massey over Rubio.
Thomas
Massey's
Massey's a good one, actually.
Massey
Not
fucking
because
sucks, though.
he's
I really don't like
conservative, but
Massey.
Massey's principled.
I don't
think-
like Massey at all.
I think
that
I would
matters.
take Rubio over Massey.
I would in a second.
I would take
Really?
Massey over Rubio. Wow.
I would
okay.
take
All right.
Massey over.
I would take.
I would take Rubio over Massey in a
Rubio
second.
over Massey.
I just don't like. I think when
really
push
would
comes to
be.
shove, you will
Fucking
get in line.
neocons.
Massey's more conservative.
Me?
Fucking
No, all of
filthy
you. I think when
neocons.
push comes to shove, at the end of the day, you will get in line and you will vote. for
Hell
him.
Don't
yeah.
you can't don't apply that to me.
Most of the
that's-
time,
Not-
yeah.
Hold on.
Not
Let me
me.
clarify
clarify.
Let me clarify.
Yo,
I've advocated for independence. Besides Prime and
DSA.
Ali. Those are the only two.
not
With the
you.
rest of you,
No, you
Inshallah,
can't apply that to
Sharia
me.
law
You
will
can't apply
spread
that
the
to me.
It's still my turn. It's still my turn. First off, Lactoid.
Eric
First off,
Kissinger.
Lactoid,
He did
Prime
my
and
vote.
Ali are the shove.
Adam Kissinger.
They shove
Adam
like if push comes to shove, like anyway. Sorry, let me be super clear. Lactoid said I would prefer Plattner. Okay, I want to be super clear about my position because Connor wasn't here for this. I said it was a coin flip between the two, and let me be really clear about what I meant there. I care way more about policy issues than like ethical considerations. And to me, I was looking at Colin's platform, and I would Plattner's platform, and I would compare that to Hong's platform, and I do think that Plattner is a distinctly better candidate. I think that abolishing police and abolishing prisons is fucking deranged, and having a governor in charge of that freaks the fuck out of me. I also think that an election denier
shut down
in a
the
swing
prisons
state
in her
also
state.
matters a lot.
Hunter's in favor of the 10 million, Tom, by the way.
Here.
That's what he's saying.
Okay, that's about my position. Connor, does that clear things up? Do you have
Let's
any?
go.
Okay.
Does, and it makes sense.
Tom, and then Bam. And anyone else afterwards? Okay.
Wait, hold on. So Collins over Hong? That's what you'd say, Hunter?
Collins over Hong, yes. It's weird.
For any role, for governor, Senate, anything.
Governor,
like
unquestionably. Senate, probably still, yeah.
Tom.
So I've been fighting like the DSA people for the last couple of months, and I've been fighting them, for my entire career as a streamer, the socialist, the communist. I don't think that there's any reason to believe that I would get in line as somebody who also left the Republican Party when Donald Trump came in and moved towards Democrats. The fact that I'm on Blue no matter who, because it is a movement that is the idea is to stop Trump. The idea of Blue no matter who is to stop Trump and stop what it is he's doing. Currently, yes, I would say vote for these DSA candidates because I think that they're more likely to vote against what it is that Trump is doing and more likely to vote against what it is that he's in favor of. But in the long run, once Trump is out of office, if they went in favor, move towards somebody like Rubio, and my party continued moving in this more, socialist DSA direction, I would almost definitely be back in this in the middle sort of direction.
Yeah.
Voting
Once we get the free healthcare and the free college, you gotta go back to red, baby. Fuck yeah.
That is true. Thank you.
Y'all be in the
Just this one more hit, and then I'm done with cocaine.
Hold on.
One more,
With
and then
that
I'm
said-
done.
With that said,
Yeah, just one.
with that said,
One more
it's
spin.
absolutely
One more
fucking-
titty, baby. I'm sorry.
With that said, it's absolutely fucking brain dead to keep repeating that this is what the people want. You guys don't understand. This is what the people want. The entire time that the socialists have been upset with the liberals in office, for us to just keep repeating, "Oh, sorry, socialists, this is what the people want," instead of arguing with you guys about what it is that's best or what it is that's going to be beneficial, how to win elections.
How about
instead
earn our
of just-
vote?
But this is what the people want.
How
That's
about earn our
totally
vote?
Earn our vote.
You know,
Earn
it's
our
like-
vote.
yeah,
You're the
how
one
about
saying
earn our
ignore
vote?
the voters.
Just earn our vote.
Yeah.
Earn
Ignore
our
the
vote.
voters,
Wait,
but please keep
hold on,
voting
we're
for
not.
us.
Hold on.
You're using
Hold on,
Ignore the
hold on.
voters, but
Hold on.
please keep
Ali,
voting.
Ali,
Hey, voters, you're
earn our
stupid.
votes.
Come vote for
Exactly.
me.
Yes,
I
yes, you're
smart
right.
guy.
Hold
I
on,
know what
hold on.
I do.
No,
I know
Ali, are you
politics. You
fucking
don't know
stupid?
politics.
I'm
Hold on,
obviously
that's
using
literally-
your arguments
this is
against
literally what we're
you.
talking about.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
that's literally what we're
We
talking
understand
about,
that. Earn our
Wait,
vote.
wait, wait,
Yes,
wait,
you
wait,
should
wait,
earn
wait.
the votes. Sorry, go ahead.
Hold on. This is what we're talking about though, is that when we say earn their vote, that's a joke because that's what it is that people Hassan kept saying
It's not a
about Kamala
joke. I don't
Harris
get why you
earning
guys think
his
it's a
vote.
joke.
No,
Sorry,
but it
hold on,
is
let-
because
He's referring to bad actors
It's-
that utilize the same technique.
it's
Okay.
no, it's a joke because if we keep saying we don't like these candidates, we're not in favor of them, and we're more likely to go vote for somebody else. You do this, oh, you don't think the voters know what they want. Oh, you're against the voters, blah blah blah. But it's literally the same thing that the socialists have been saying for a long time, while the liberals have been in fucking power. It's literally the same exact fucking thing.
Tom,
but
I
you
understand
thought
what
you knew better than everybody else,
No,
and
no,
you
no, no,
kept
Tom,
pushing
I
for
get
your
you.
platform.
Tom, I understand what you're saying. Okay, no, that's fair, right? Yeah, that is what they were saying. But then you finally move over to my position because so you're talking about your career of fighting the DSA, right? Fighting the good fight against the socialists. Okay, good. All right. Well, I've been having fighting the good fight against people like you, people like Hunter, people like Bam, right?
Hell yeah.
I've been fighting the entire time, and during that fight,
Redoubt
right,
too, you get
have
thrown
been
with
saying,
this.
vote blue no matter who. That's what you've been saying to me, right? You've been saying during the fucking last election. You guys told me vote blue no matter who.
I clarified this like 1,000
so you gotta
times.
do it, right? You gotta vote blue no matter
No,
who.
it
right?
is what you
and
guys.
I
Come
said,
on.
hey, earn my
Practically
vote.
speaking.
Yeah, so
It's
I'm
not.
glad.
I say it, but I think that means that for
clarify it,
Democrats.
but this is not.
I am MAGA lose no matter
I'm
what is
glad-
my motto.
So
I
I'm
just
glad-
said yes. I just said I'm still on blue no matter who.
Yeah, exactly. So hold on, no. You're being
I'm not blue no
schizophrenic with
matter
your
who.
position here, right? Is it vote blue no matter who, right? Or is it earn your vote?
In
Because
the
these are
current
different
political
things. But
world,
vote blue no matter
yeah.
who, you don't have to own their vote, right?
Prime,
It doesn't matter.
we
As
ju-
soon as
we-
they're a
we
Democrat, as
just
soon as they're
said-
the nominee,
I
then they get your
literally
vote.
just explained it, Prime. I just said that the vote blue no matter who is there to beat Trump. That's the point of it. And while
it's
Trump is
not.
still in office,
No, it's
yes,
not.
it is.
No,
Yes, it is. It came about.
precedes
Hold on.
Trump.
Vote blue no matter
doesn't
who
matter.
started
Bullshit.
with Bernie Sanders.
No.
Bernie Sanders and the Bernie Bros, where they say Bernie or bust. We said vote blue or no matter who, because we need to
No,
beat
no, no,
fucking
no, no.
Trump. It came
No,
about Trump,
Yeah,
and because of the fucking Bernie Bros. Once Trump is gone, it's a
may have the
different
Bernie
fucking
would have beat
story.
Trump so
This
Once
is-
bad.
Trump
wait,
is
hold on.
gone,
Yeah,
we'll
sure.
never
No,
bring it
no,
up
well,
again.
the-
Bernie would have beat
Yeah,
Trump so
yeah,
bad. He
yeah.
had
The
Joe Rogan on
president
his
had
Then you can vote for
jock.
JD. We don't care.
Hold
Just
on.
He had
One
Joe
second.
Rogan on his
One
jock
second.
at that
One second. I'm
time.
gonna finish it.
Yeah,
Shut up.
yeah,
I'm
no,
gonna
it's
finish
still
it.
vote blue
I'm
no
gonna
matter
finish it.
who.
This is the dumbest.
I understand what
This
you're
is the dumbest
so
shit.
it may be the phrase itself like came from maybe that moment in time. That might be true. I actually am not sure, right? So you might be correct there, right? But the sentiment, right, of hey, you got to get behind the party, you have to get behind the Democrats. Yeah, that's a lot
To
fucking
beat
older.
Trump.
That's a lot. No, it's
let
not
me clarify.
just about Trump.
Let me
It's
clarify. I
always an
disagree with
emergency.
Tom.
Every single
But I
time
agree
it's an
with his
emergency.
outcome.
And
I agree
I
with his
can't
outcome.
possibly get with the things that you want, right? Every time, next time, voters, but today, but you see, hey, John McCain is an existential threat, right?
We
Mitt
get it.
Romney
All right,
is an existential threat. George W. Bush is an existential threat.
Existential threat,
All
yeah,
in
everyone's a
all,
threat.
existential threats, right?
The
and
next-
then
the next
now
Republican
it's
candidate
Trump.
will be
And then
an
after
existential
Trump,
threat.
it'll be someone
And the
else.
one after that,
It'll be
and the
someone
one after
else's
that.
turn.
Yeah,
No,
and
the
the
next
one
one
after
will be.
that.
Yes, exactly.
MAGA still
That's
exists.
get rid
true.
of
And the one,
MAGA
and the
with
one,
the
wait,
vote.
Lactoid, and the one before
It's
that
always the
too.
same.
Uh-huh.
And that Gibbs,
The one
Gibbs,
before and
they
that.
did the same thing to Republicans, right?
Was John McCain
on,
the
on,
existential threat?
on
I
fighting
don't
for
think anybody said
abortion,
that.
because he didn't win.
anti-abortion legislation, right? It was always
I didn't like
hey,
McCain
at
when he
some
ran.
point.
I think
hold
people
on,
were just excited
But hold
about
on,
Obama.
Lactoid and Gibbs. Hopefully, you guys can agree with me. Like because like on the national level previously, right? On putting pro-life legislation, right? It was always next time for that group who that really mattered. It was always next time. But now they're actually pushing for it. Now, in this moment, right? They're doing what their base wanted. Actually, it matters. And the people who push it aside because it's politically inconvenient for them at the time, they're gone. Or they've been broken, they've been
I wasn't
cowed,
any of
and now
those
they do what they're told, right?
I wasn't
Actually,
those
that's the
people.
way politics should go, right? The politics should do
I
what
wasn't
we
those
say,
people.
not the other way around.
Okay.
Bullshit.
Let me
No, I
let
wasn't
me-
really-
Also, I didn't like McCain when he
Hold
ran
on, I
down.
want to go.
Bullshit.
I was a Republican
wait.
when that was happening.
I wanna-
was
I didn't-
voting for Trump.
I want to
or,
take a different. I want to take a
Bush,
different
so-
approach.
I wanted
Come
Huckabee
on.
over
We also
McCain
got
Take a different
Bam
approach.
or Romney.
I feel like I
I
go
was too
crazy
young.
every time I have the vote blue no matter who conversation because here's what it feels like. It feels like I'm going, I love my family and I'm going to stick with them no matter what. And I say that out loud. And then my mom and dad come to me and they go, okay, guess what we just did? We adopted baby Hitler. And I go, I don't know if I stand by that.
He was a
position
socialist, so
anymore. I don't know if I stand by that. I actually don't think. I think baby Hitler. I have now redefined what my family meant because it changed. And then then these sort of concepts happen. Obviously, when we said vote
Israel's
no
the
matter
new
who,
Nazi Germany.
we weren't fucking talking about the
It is,
1840s. Okay. Obviously, I would vote for Abraham Lincoln in the 1860s. Like it's crazy. There's this term called reification where we take these conceptual ideas and we turn them into fucking objects. The Democratic Party shifts. And if it shifts to a place that I no longer recognize it, then it's not the same party I was talking about in 2018 when I said
what
vote
about
blue no
when
matter
I
who.
don't vote for Kamala Harris, and then you
Well, that's because you're
fucking
retarded,
nuts.
not because you don't.
Yeah,
vote
see,
blue no
that's how
matter
that
who.
works. That's how it
no,
works.
hold on. No. Fuck
That's how it works.
Fuck you. That's
Okay,
exactly
okay.
how it works, right?
Don't let him piss you off, Prime, but that's how it works.
No. Everyone shut up. Everyone shut up. No, fuck you. Right?
Okay.
Exactly. This is what, you guys have no principles. I give you.
Wait, what?
tests.
Well, are you
Hey,
surprised the left doesn't have
hey,
principles? They get rid of all their moral standards every time. Like they're like,
Hell
you know, the
yeah.
right's the one that's like morals. The left is
Prime.
not.
I don't even understand what
That's
you're talking
hilarious.
about.
Like,
Like,
you
that's
have moral
principle.
standards.
That's
Because I put
Prime,
you
I
through
don't
the
get what
test.
you're saying.
I'm like, hey, what about a child rapist? So you pretend like, oh, baby Hitler would be too far for you. I give you, hey, if there's one candidate who promises to rape one less child than another candidate,
That's
who are you
never
gonna
been my
vote for?
position.
Oh, I'll guess the slightly
That's not my position.
kinder
What's your position
child
on that?
rapist.
That
I'll
was
vote for
time.
that.
I
said multiple
bullshit.
times.
Don't bullshit.
You don't-
me.
do you not
Hold
vote
on.
in that
I bring it-
situation?
I
No,
don't vote in
I
that
will
situation.
not be
I
gassed.
clarified
Well, that's why he
multiple
didn't
times I
vote.
wouldn't.
Excuse me.
That's why he
Excuse
didn't
me.
vote.
know, and that's
Excuse
because
me.
he's.
Excuse me. You're gonna shut the fuck up. I promise
I'm
you.
talking
you're
to
gonna do
Ollie,
that
but go
right now. I
ahead.
promise you're gonna shut the fuck up right now. I promise you it's gonna happen. Shut the fuck up. No, don't tell me I haven't sat here for years, right? Being attacked by people like you. Don't tell me that, right? And then this is the exact same excuses you have used. Right? Don't tell me that. And then you're like, oh, you're fucking stupid. No, I said, hey, earn the vote. If you're on that wavelength now, that's okay. Great. That's where you always should be, right? Kamala Harris didn't earn my vote, right?
Okay.
That's what happened. She
Let me
didn't
be-
do it,
let
right?
me
She was
be-
disgusting.
Well, he's
Fuck
not being
her.
serious about
Let me
earn
be
the
super
vote.
clear.
No,
No, hold on.
no,
let me be super
sorry.
clear.
Then don't play like that with me. Shut up. Don't play like that with me. Fuck you. Because I've been here the entire time, right? Actually, fuck you, Hunter.
Okay.
Now
No.
respond.
I won't do it. No, sorry. Don't tell him. Don't stop. Everyone shut up. No. Don't fucking play with me like that. Fuck you. Because I remember. I've been here the entire time, right? And you guys and people just like you have done it. So I'm not going to let you rewrite history. It won't happen on my watch. Go ahead.
Okay.
I'll never let you forget it.
Thank you. I
Never.
appreciate that. I think that there's
The
some
way
fair
you do.
conversations to be had. I want to be super clear here that when Prime says, my issue with Kamala is that she is throwing
A
bombs
genocidal.
at Palestinians and that she's essentially just writing blank checks to Israel so that they can go in and then just skewer Palestinian children and rape their bodies, their dead corpses. And Trump is going to do the same thing. I would also not vote in that situation. The problem is, I don't think you live on planet Earth. I think that your assessment of the situation is fundamentally broken and wrong in a disturbing way. So I would obviously say that if your premises were correct, you would logically come to a situation where I would go, yeah, it would be completely fucked for anyone to vote for Kamala. I would agree with you. I have issues with your premises.
Yeah,
But I don't know if we want to
sorry.
get into Palestine.
No, yeah, hold on. We don't have to get into it, right? But like just like the last time, what Hunter does in these situations, you just say, "Oh, your premises are bad, right? Oh, it's it's more complex. So you don't understand." He condescends to you. Again, this is what Gibbs is saying. Gibbs is saying was exactly this.
I'm the
constant
bourgeoisie.
condescension
Bring
from
up the
you people.
bourgeoisie.
No,
Do it.
fuck you.
No, I
That's
got
what
you.
I'm saying.
No, the
Fuck
Zoom
you,
worked.
actually, because I've been studying this issue for the entire time of the genocide, right? And you haven't put anything, right? Anything out there to contravene these points. And instead, right,
Hold on.
you just
I've done
condescend.
multiple
and
Palestine
just say,
debates
oh, your
here.
premises are wrong. I can't actually argue with you.
No,
on
you've
this,
done
right?
a lot of.
and it's just
It's
too
kind of
complex.
complicated. I don't
think it's
know.
more complex than you understand. When you do not have even close to knowledge on this subject that I do. You don't. Because you don't care. We both know
Okay,
you don't care.
it seems like
you
you're
both know you're
condescending to me
fucking
right
ripening
now.
on this. So don't bullshit me. It won't happen. I won't let you gaslight me. But that's okay. Look, we don't have to get into it, right? We have a different subject. We can move on. We can have the conversation. We'll definitely land on Israel some other time. That's for certain.
Am I Mussolini
but
here?
we don't
I'm
have
trying to
do it
figure that
now.
out.
We can go to our friend Bam.
That looks
Unless-
pretty
sorry.
good. Hold on. That's a good
no.
picture of me.
Okay, so Bam.
actually-
AI is crazy.
Yeah.
I
So,
know. It's
I-
like, shit, that looks good.
Bro, I got the
I
props so
said-
that I can make these in like 20 seconds now. It's amazing.
That's pretty cool. I think
Which
that,
platform do you use?
Fuck our drinking
Grok.
water.
Oh,
I
Grok.
think that,
Oh, please.
I think that people should vote for Democrats because they're better, and I think that the
Wait.
Republican
I
Party.
agree.
I think the
agree.
Republican Party doesn't have any current moderates. Like if you say, like, oh, you would vote for a moderate Republican, like who? Josh Hawley. Josh Hawley has no principles.
Who's
Josh
saying
Hawley-
fucking Josh Hawley is the moderate Republican?
Who is the?
He
who
said-
is the
I
Who's the
brought up
moderate
Susan
Republican?
Collins.
He was just using
We
that as
said
an
Rubio.
example. He was
Yeah.
just
Yeah, it's a
using that as
terrible
an
example.
Susan Collins hasn't voted no on any important piece of Republican legislation at a time that it mattered.
We literally brought up
the only
Rubio.
time you
We said Rubio.
She'll vote against
Rubio is one of the
Republicans
worst
and a
examples.
decent amount.
No, I'm saying Susan Collins. You have to pay attention. Is the duties and the details. Susan Collins doesn't vote no. Susan Collins votes no. Like she withholds her vote until she's sure that she hasn't they have enough votes to pass whatever they want to pass, and then she'll vote no. To put a little check mark against her, but she doesn't actually vote no in cases where they don't have the votes. Like she voted no to Todd Blanche's AG. She didn't come out and make an opinion at all on how she was voting for Todd Blanche for AG until they were sure that the Republicans had the votes. Once they had 50, then she was like, "Oh yeah, I'll vote no." Now that it's actually irrelevant. But if they needed their vote, he absolutely would have been there, 1,000%.
It's not gaslighting.
Again, Rubio sucks Trump's dick every day, and he's a completely unprincipled man himself. Like I don't care what he said prior to MAGA. Once he bent the knee and became MAGA, now it's like, oh, okay, you can't be the moderate. You can't. You allow Trump to get away with the things you get. You're not the moderate.
Wait,
100%.
Bam,
calling Rubio the moderate is like calling JD Vance the moderate.
Wait, no.
It's
I have a
crazy.
clarifying question.
But the DSA aren't moderates either.
Wait, I have a clarifying question, Bam.
I'm not for
Are
sure.
you saying
He's
that
not
moderate Republicans don't exist, or are you saying they don't
No, I'm
currently
saying
No, they
hold
do
power
exist.
in the
Congress.
Republican
MAGA is moderate. They're
Yeah,
sitting
like,
right.
Bam, I
Kissinger.
don't fucking care. I'm asking Bam.
Yeah, I think Adam Kissinger.
We know you don't care because you don't like facts.
Was a moderate Republican.
Gotcha. What if
And
Adam
Kinzinger?
Kissinger was against Hong?
Yeah, I vote for him.
Hold on. Wait, you're saying you're Kinzinger, right?
Yeah.
How convenient.
Vote against the Republican goes other.
How
person's a
convenient.
social-
Yeah, someone who's
rough.
not antagonistic to Trump. Yes.
Yes, somebody who'll just
Uh,
vote
let's,
Democrat and endorse the Democrat.
Super
Yes.
chat from
That was his voting record,
DT.
though.
They say the cow herding redhead
pro
and the
life.
guy in the middle should start a mumble rap band. Don't be fired. So I guess that's me.
Base.
Mumble
That's
rap.
hilarious.
Am I been mumbling? I don't know why. I've never listened.
You're
to mumble
clearly
rap.
not loud enough, Prime. Clearly.
I'm not. haven't been enunciating enough, right?
I think it's the way you say "shut the fuck up." You just say it as like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
one word.
Oh, maybe that
You're
maybe.
quite-
maybe.
yeah.
I've
shut
said
the
so
fuck up.
much that it probably has melded into one thing. That's fair. I'll take that then. But thank you.
You
for
got
the
a big tongue, boy.
Euro. Yeah, euro. I always get the thing for the symbol for euro and pound mixed up because they both like E's to me. And I always think they're euros.
They're both not American money.
They're
It's all
both not
fake money.
American money.
Yeah.
But I'll take it. But thank you so much. Thank you for the kindness. Okay. So
But they do have free healthcare, so we'll take their money too. You know, they have so much
Yeah.
free healthcare they can give Prime their money. You know,
Yeah.
Because they
They don't have the
outsource.
type of
They
free
outsource the
healthcare you
military to
want.
us. That's why they have free healthcare.
They don't want the type
That's
of
true.
free healthcare you want.
Has anybody's opinion shifted at all on what they think about the value of the party system or caucus system? Like, do we understand why we do it? Even
I
if
think
you
it's
might
working
want
as
to use it
intended.
a little bit differently.
Man, you just don't like. When
Yeah,
it works
we-
as
I
intended.
like-
Literally
yeah.
earlier you were bitching about Fetterman, who's like a moderate dim, right? Like you're sitting here bitching about Fetterman, like, and you're going, "Oh well, we should all
he
vote
had to
blue no
look
matter
up
who,
the
except for
candidate
whatever."
he said he
Well,
was
except when Republicans do that with Massey, you're like, "Look at this bastards over here! They're all MAGA dick sucks." Like, but it's crazy when we're like, "This guy's got to go. He's not representing modern Republicanism," and then you're over here doing the same thing with Fetterman, bitching. It's crazy how y'all do this.
No,
It's called
it would
it's called
be-
double
it would be
speak and a
one
double
thing-
standard.
No, it would be one thing if Fetterman was like living up to what he ran on. Like he's a shell
Which was
of
common
who
sense.
he-
He's living up to common
who he
sense.
ran
That's what he
himself
ran
to be.
on.
Like
It's
he
pro-Israel
like,
common
he
sense?
literally didn't he like have like a brain injury and now he's like a different person?
Yeah, he saw God and saw he was going to hell.
damn,
Biden
that's
had a
so-
brain injury.
Biden,
That's an interesting take.
and
That
and
was
the
in the
thing
80s.
was doing starting to make sense a
Multiple
little bit now.
aneurysms.
Brain
That was in the
injuries,
80s.
support for
And he's
go to
Israel.
I don't
Connor.
think more sane than
I
Trump.
think the most recent
That's
one was
crazy.
then.
If Biden had a
I'll go to
brain
Connor,
injury,
but
it
to
made
be-
him
but to be
even
clear,
more
right?
based.
People don't
It
like.
made him more
To be
based.
clear,
Yeah,
right?
fair,
Like
yeah.
the media
Working
did a very
through the
bad
struggle.
job.
Respect him.
The media did a very bad job of vetting John Fetterman. John Fetterman has had these positions,
loved
most of
him.
these positions previously, and I believe this is before the aneurysm, right? And someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mean to spread information, right? But he was working with AIPAC beforehand. He asked AIPAC, "Hey, send me a policy position, all right? I'll just sign on to that." Before the aneurysm. Again, if I'm wrong, then someone please correct me. Let's go to Connor.
No.
Yeah,
That's
Prime loved
exactly
him.
what I
Prime
was
said
going to
that
say.
You need to vote for
So, hold
Fetterman.
up.
He's the best.
So hold on. Well, I was gonna say, I think people legitimately have like a deranged mentality when it comes to Fetterman. Both the Republicans who are saying that he's actually MAGA and the Democrats who are saying he's actually a Republican, you're both wrong. Like his voting record is 91% Democrat, and his breaks with the Democratic Party have been over two things. They've been over Israel and opening the government over ICE. Besides that, he has a 91% voting record for Democratic policy, and not just that. As a comparison to see how often a moderate Republican voted with the Democrats, Rubio voted with the Democrats 10 to 15% of the time during his time as senator. So pretending that Fetterman is not a Democrat just because he sims for Israel is fucking bananas.
Well, I think
he is a Democrat.
Israel when they're referring to Fetterman, they're referring to primarying him out versus anything.
Stats,
and then also going like
stats that are from before the. Wait, just real quick.
Oh yeah,
you're using stats from before the brain injury. Like if you use stats after the brain injury, it is a bit more lopsided. I agree that he still votes with the majority with Democrats, but he is. And to be fair, the other person who's voting, I don't remember exactly, but I was going to say Warnock and John Ossoff are two people who actually vote with Republicans and break party lines. I think more than anybody, and they're two of the most popular for like a Democratic candidate.
They are amazing.
Like it is
for the center, right?
Yeah, but
right.
Those are for the center, for the fucking senators. By the way.
The thing about
I know, but like,
is,
do you think it's funny that the most popular like senators are the ones who vote with the Republicans the most for the moderates in the middle versus like you guys are terrified of socialists, but you guys keep saying that MAGA is the big fight. If they keep voting for the right not most of the time, but like more.
Well, no, they win in a conservative.
No, Ossoff is popular because of himself.
They're the most popular with the socialists.
Yeah, their populist messaging really resonates with the left.
Yes,
100%.
Correct.
So
I wouldn't consider John Ossoff or Fetterman populist. They're working class, but they're like
their messaging.
I'm not talking about Ossoff, but like absolutely not Fetterman. And
not Fetterman. Ossoff and Warnock.
Ossoff or Warnock. I don't consider
Warnock. Yeah, I don't know about Warnock either. Yeah, I don't have enough insight into what Warnock.
Also, Warnock is very
cool last name. That gets him 10 points.
Well, hold on. What's really interesting? Hold on. You said something really interesting about Fetterman. He votes 91%. You know how often Cornyn voted with the Trump agenda? 67%. So whenever y'all are saying 99%. No, hold on. Cornyn was not. I'm just looked it up on PolitiFact. I just did. That's what I only know that because I just looked it up, right? And so
you looked up.
Okay, why don't you guys?
Well, the point that I'm making.
There's a difference here. There's a difference between, and just to be clear, Gibbs, there's a difference here between unity votes and non-unity votes. So when you look at like, believe it or not, there's actually a shit ton of like just like bills that are pretty inconsequential that both Republicans and Democrats vote together on. And so when you look at that, the rates are actually very high among both parties.
Well, yeah, it's like 99%.
But when you look at, so for example, like in 2024, Susan Collins on unity votes actually voted against the Republicans more than she voted with them, right? And so on the actual votes that were contentious, she was more against. Yeah, and then so yeah, when you look at the unity votes, you're going to see actually who are the real outliers here. And you see people like Rubio, you see people like Collins, and
Cornyn is one of them, and that's why he got booted. I mean, and like when y'all say this, though, it's funny because I sit here and hear this argument about like, oh, we're reasonable Republicans regularly, right? Like, oh, these guys out. So I'm going to start doing that. Fetterman's a reasonable Democrat, right? He's trying to escape the social. Like, you'll see how this argument is like it's so stupid. It's like the party has moved. Like y'all's party has moved.
John Cornyn's voting record with Trump. He has a 99% alignment.
I got one right here. I don't know. Google AI says 67% with Trump.
Is it unity vote or is it
the Heritage Action Committee? Whatever.
Yeah. We have to disambiguate that. But thank you for giving. I didn't know the term unity vote.
Yeah, you're talking about lifetime versus under Trump.
Oh yeah,
you're talking about since he's been in Congress. Those are two different numbers.
I just want to get these super chats in very quickly. No problem, friend. So super chat from Starch Manning. Again, thank you for the kindness for $10. He says the top federal margin income tax for the United States was 91%. Also, I've never met a MAGA who understands marginal tax rates. Also, no one moved out of New York. Also, tax rich. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. We love you. I love you. They don't love you. They hate you. But I love you. Thank you so much.
I hate taxing the rich.
And then Starch Manning, thank you for another $2. Says 91% in 1963. Expanding on what they previous. Yeah, thank you for that. Top marginal tax rates. Well, I don't. It's a distraction. I'm actually curious what your
I am
position on
opposed to
taxing rich are.
taxation.
Well, of course. Well,
I mean, he's a
fair enough.
libertarian.
But I'm not sure about Hunter. But like,
It is
that
theft.
might-
You don't know my
It doesn't
position?
surprise me that the same people who put
I don't know your
people in
position.
camps also want to take money. Makes total sense. The Nazis did both at the same time.
Yeah. So, but anyway,
do you want-
So Connor, yeah, I think you saying, oh, I don't know what other leftists say. Like people say stuff online, I can't be responsible for what they say. But like for Fetterman, no, Fetterman, he looks like a Democrat to me. Absolutely, yeah. Democrats suck Israel's cock all the time, right? He is a cocksucker of Israel. So yeah, not a surprise, right? He seems to be voting in line in that case, right? Like and also what I've always said is that for when we're talking about corporate Democrats, just like he is, and their positions from Republicans aren't very far, right? So even if like tomorrow he decides, oh, I'm going to move to the Republican Party, he was talking about, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that like he was saying, oh, you know, these types like Mamdani enough, like if they keep moving left, then I don't have a place in this party, right? Yeah, fuck off. It makes perfect sense. Corporate Democrats have much more in common with Republicans. And we've seen it here today, right? These centrists are saying, well, yeah, these lefties, if it just keeps moving left, I'm just going to have to vote for Republican. Because as we've always been saying, is that, yes, they would always prefer a Republican than the left. They don't like us. They hate us. We don't have the same goals, right? And so
Because they're fascists.
Yeah, and to be clear, we don't want corporate Democrats.
You would also prefer
Republicans
Cut a
like you
liberal
said,
and
like,
a
yeah, the
fascist,
Laguna Party,
please.
right? The Republicans and Democrats,
you guys
they're
like
very
it?
much like Democrats, just like gay people, just a tiny bit better than Republicans. So yeah, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, he's a Democrat.
I don't know. When
That's why-
Republican
that's
conventions
why the
happen,
populace went from Bernie
Grindr
to
gets
Trump.
a lot of use. I think they do.
Grinder does get a lot of use. In reality, Republicans love a lot of different things. I'll be honest.
Including
I just don't know how we can make that claim in the big 2026 with the current construction of the Republican Party. Like I don't see the utility of making that claim right now.
Which claim?
What's the point of the what's the point of the messaging and the rhetoric utilizing being very antagonistic to Trump?
About? Just want to be sure.
What claim? Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Again.
That Democrats
Democrats
and
are-
Republicans are the fucking same.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Someone, Prime, you asked me my position on taxing the rich. Can
Yeah,
I
sure.
clarify? If anyone's interested, I really like taxing the rich. I feel like it's a really good policy. Usually, that universal health care is we need a broad middle class tax as well in order to substantially raise enough taxes. I think that wealth taxes are fucking stupid, and that often a lot of the proposals by California, by Bernie and such, are not effective policies at all. I like VAT taxes. I like property taxes. I like Pigovian taxes. I like carbon taxes. I like land value taxes. All that shit is dope, and we should be doing more of those.
Would you?
I don't think I
very
hate when
quick
we say
question.
tax the rich.
Very quick question, and I'm not trying to like make this the topic, right?
Yeah.
Just very quickly, right? So would you create new tax brackets, new marginal tax brackets at the top for like billionaires? This is what I've always, to be clear, I've always said that, like, you know, we shouldn't be charging someone who's making $100 or $250,000, right, the same we charge like Jeff Bezos. So we should have additional tax brackets, and then from there tax the upper ones. Would you be in favor of such a thing?
I would rather just increase the amount of taxation on the highest decile, but like I also think that that's like income taxes are like somewhat like not the smartest ways to tax the billionaires, but like sure, largely so. Yeah, that would be good.
You'd be fine with that. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
well, then,
I
like
just,
not ideal policy.
I just want
but
to
like,
think
sure.
I say that like the tax the
I
rich
agree.
stuff get like the reason it gets bogged down, and the reason is it gets attached. One is populism. Populism is the root of all this evil that's going on in my country. I want that rooted out above anything else. But the big issue
that's not
that
going
comes
away,
with it-
Bam. I'm sorry, that's not going away.
I'll fight for it to my dying breath. The biggest thing that happens with the tax the rich stuff is it gets too much associated with emotions and punishment. and that just like we have to get away from that energy.
Like the rich.
Yeah.
Or
Either, billionaires shouldn't exist. It's really stupid.
It just needs to get attached to like
billionaires
like
shouldn't exist.
This is the thing.
That's a pretty stupid.
Okay, I'm just gonna
At least not while people can't afford their rent.
We need to get away from.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry, Bam.
No, you're fine. Because
It's not either or. It's so stupid.
We just need to get away from the idea of that, and we just need to get towards the idea of raising revenue for the things that we want to fund. Just advocate for something good and say that, like, oh yeah, this is going to require some tax revenue, and these are the methods that we come to do that. Like people want these like to tax these people, but they don't even know like in general what that it's going toward. They just like if they have less, then I'm.
Well, that's where the value of populist messaging actually is very intrinsic.
One of the biggest.
It's easy to understand when it comes down to voters. This is very core to Ollie's point of tax the rich, of billionaires bad. At the end of the day, the idea is like progressive tax policy that ensures we're putting more money into the governmental system. But how do you get people on board with that is the question. And the idea of breaking it down for these people is not as effective as just making some blanket claim of tax the billionaires.
So
well, that's
I have a nuanced take on, or I think it's nuanced. Maybe a lot of people don't feel like it's nuanced, and that's fair. You might feel it differently. Okay. But like, there's a reason why I say billionaires shouldn't exist, right? And I've been consistent on this. I've said this for many years. The reason why billionaires shouldn't exist is because they have a massive concentration of wealth, right? And it works. And I always use the same metaphor, right? It works like a black hole, right? The more money you have, like the more gravity you have. When you reach a certain level of wealth, you simply warp the political space-time fabric around you. Everyone starts just obeying you to get more access to your money, right? Politicians do it, organizations do it, nonprofits do it. Everyone wants a piece of that money. It gives them an inordinate power within democracy. And so the reason why billionaires shouldn't exist, because when you have that level of wealth, it is poisonous to that democracy. And so people can be wealthy, right? People can be extravagantly wealthy, right? I would say millionaires can exist. Tens of millionaires, decamillionaires can exist, right? Centimillionaires can exist. But like the reason why I draw the line at billionaires, not because that number necessarily means like that much, like exactly 1 billion means anything, right? But that's an easy cutoff point. It's an easy way to message that, right? But yeah, at some point you have too much money, right? We can see that from like the tech billionaires, right? Who are like, I think lots of people here are not in favor of what they're in favor of. I think that's true across the party lines. Is that a lot of you guys
Elon Musk
disagree with them? And so,
I think there's some
for Peter Thiel and Elon Musk and these Palantir, actually, they should not have that much power within our political realm through their money. That's why I believe that.
But I think the only thing I'll say to that, Prom, is I think that like the issue is inflation is catching up to that number, and I think that it contradicts. I think it contradicts something else that like your politics would generally advocate for. Like I think you're big on workers owning the means of their own production, or just like not even in like a socialist way, but like in a co-op way. And the example I love to point to with this is the professional sports market. Like the ownership in professional sports makes the majority of the money, but there's athletes like. LeBron has made $1 billion in his labor. Not forget about the shoe deals and stuff like that. Like the NBA contracts have increased to the point that his labor is actually worth $1 billion. So you're saying that like you actually want to extract his labor, like if he just happens to be in a business that makes a lot of money as a laborer. Like I know it's a new future. We didn't think we were going to get to a point that a worker would. Their value would be $1 billion plus, but we're entering that realm.
I think
that might be interesting. I mean, no one's ever told me that like an individual sports player could like earn $1 billion, right? This is my first time hearing this concept.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
Not for
Soccer's
sure.
even worse.
Hold on, LeBron has $1 billion, but that's because he owns like sports teams.
No, if LeBron's value, again, I'm saying that like if there were no NBA owners, if LeBron was paid his value to he would make $1 billion. And there's also like the current players are now.
The teams.
Wemby. I'm about to say also like forget about even with ownership, like Wemby is going to earn $1 billion. Wemby's already made his second year in the league. He got a $250 million contract. You times that by 4, that's $1 billion. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
it's definitely
I can understand.
It's exceptional, but it definitely can happen, especially across all major
This
sports.
is so dumb.
So I don't. Look,
Well,
I don't,
he's not making a
I
crazy
don't
claim.
know.
He's
So
talking
look,
about the totality of money you can make.
I don't know anything about this claim, right? So I'm just going to take your face value, right, Bam? I'm going to assume you're right. I don't know anything about sports. If that's the case, right? Yeah, I'm okay with those exceptional workers, like our friend Odell said, like taking a haircut, right? Okay, you've made up to $1 billion, but past this point, we're going to tax you at a 91% or whatever, 95% top marginal tax. So you can still keep earning a little bit of money past that, right? But we're going to severely limit your ability to earn past that, right? Like this works for 99% of the rest of the population, more than 99%, right? 99.9% of the rest of the population, right? They'll be okay if they can't enter the second get a second billion. That'll be all right. I'll be okay with that sacrifice.
We'll be fine without
Hold on, you're gonna force them to like, because you understand most of their wealth is not like money.
I gotta head out.
Okay, friend.
Scared.
Right,
Yeah,
Michael. This
appreciate
is
you guys
exactly the fucking problem with wealth taxes.
Well, their wealth can be money. That's their like contracts. Like I'm saying.
No, I'm not talking about NFL. I'm not talking. He's talking about billionaires. Okay, I'm talking about like typical billionaires. We're talking about people who the reason why they're billionaires is because they own shares, like a significant amount of shares in some large company that has grown massively. And
but
so
they do that intentionally to not have an income.
That doesn't.
Hold
Now,
they would just switch up their world to
hold on.
like receive an
If they
income.
sell, if they ever sell, so they can't just like use that money. And if that, because it's not money, it's value. The value.
They just take a loan. They just take a loan against the stock, and
they
they
gotta pay it back.
It's a complete misunderstanding.
So
yeah, but not tax.
No, hold on. If you take a loan and then you got to pay back the loan. Yes, like you eventually. Like,
there's no tax.
The roosters. No, you do, because again, the roosters will come home to roost. If you take a loan like $500, and then you have to pay back that loan of $500, like you pay back that loan with interest. You're going to have to liquidate. If you spend that money, you're going to have to liquidate in order to. No, it is. What?
No.
Stop. No, listen.
Interest
to me.
is the bank
Stop,
making
listen.
more money that I took the loan from. Taxes is the
Ollie, listen.
the income that I made. No,
listen.
Right?
So if I loan
am I wrong here?
You're wrong.
Yes.
If I loan you $500,
okay,
you spend that $500, right? Because we're assuming we're talking about people taking loans to spend on themselves. How do you pay me back?
The liquidity of the business.
Yeah.
I
took the loan against my stocks. I took the loan against my stocks, and then
took the loan against stocks?
My stocks appreciated. I let
now it comes time to pay me back, right?
To pay you off with my stocks.
Oh, and how do you do that?
Because
the business took in money. I'm taking it from like it's a
liquidate your fucking.
You
stock.
sell the stock and then you.
No, you don't.
What are you talking about?
Sell.
No, they just take the stock.
They don't sell the stock.
They transfer the stock
you
over.
Guys,
they took
they
the
transfer
loan.
the liquidity from the business. They use business resources.
Hold on.
That's a taxable event.
Like, just hold on. I have a question.
Capital gains.
How much taxes proportionately do you think billionaires currently pay? Not corporations, billionaires.
What do you mean, like percentage or like?
Yes,
like a
you talking about income or what?
Income. Because you guys are saying that they don't have income.
Yeah,
they report very little income comparison to
okay,
the
dope. We're talking. You are getting an idea of corporations, not billionaires. Those are distinct entities.
No, billionaires.
Corporations. No, stop. Corporations.
Much income.
Corporations routinely.
How much does Jeff Bezos make as an income a year?
His W-2.
So
I would guess like $100 million. I don't know.
You think Jeff Bezos
He pays himself $100 million and gets taxed on that?
Hold on. How many fucking tax? We could check this information.
Yeah,
how much
check it,
taxes?
because we're just saying it's something stupid.
Okay.
You don't know.
Yeah,
someone
I
else
don't know
called Hunter
exactly
stupid.
what you guys are trying to attack Ollie and Bam for. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm not
In
exactly
2024, hold on. In 2024, Bezos sold roughly $13.6 billion worth of stock and paid an estimated $2.7 billion in federal income taxes on those gains. I can literally show you charts on this.
What's his income tax?
That's
what
the fuck? What do you think he's doing here?
He's paying. Stop. He's paying taxes. I can show you charts that show that America's tax system is highly progressive.
Yes.
Like the top top 1% is paying a higher share of taxes than the share of money they're making.
I hate fucking talking economics with leftists. It pisses me the fuck off.
Bam isn't a leftist.
This is why.
Bam isn't a leftist.
Just
Bam
watch,
is, I'm
just
not
watch,
gonna let
just
you. I'm not
watch.
gonna let you disagree my
That's
baby
how I
one day.
feel
He's not
when I
a
talk with
leftist.
left-leaning
most
people.
people.
Democrat,
when it comes
whatever,
to
whatever.
economy stuff.
Anyone really. Here's my issue. Whenever we say billionaires shouldn't exist, it is a sloganification of something that's really difficult to understand. Not that difficult, but like whenever we're like billionaires just shouldn't exist, we should just have a one-time statewide wealth tax in fucking California. What a dumbass policy.
Wait a minute, hold on. That's not the
dumbest way
position.
that
That's
we
not the policy. That's not the policy.
What are you talking about?
Oh, sorry, hold on. Even in the California policy, right?
Uh-huh.
That isn't to get rid of billionaires, right? That's a one-time tax of their wealth. That isn't to make billionaires not exist. And the thing I proposed wasn't a one-time tax. So what are you talking about?
This is such a come on. That's so disingenuous. Do you or do you disagree that the people who are advocating for that wealth tax would normally use slogans like billionaires shouldn't exist?
No, they do, but that policy doesn't accomplish that.
Okay, I agree because it's a sloganification, and you agree that like when you say billionaires shouldn't exist, you don't really mean billionaires as an arbitrary threshold, and at $999 million, it actually fine, but at 1,000 million. Now we're talking. Obviously, we're talking about taxing the rich without really having conversations about how taxation functions.
No, can I respond to what y'all like Todd and Hunter, what y'all said was stupid?
Sure. Go ahead.
Like, don't talk about things that I know.
Okay.
It says
Cook 'em, get 'em, Bam.
When a billionaire borrows against their stocks, that they don't typically sell their stocks to pay back these loans. They do one of two things. They take in cash dividends.
Which are taxed
from their stocks.
I'm
just
How do
talking
they
about
pay
you said
their
they sell their
chef?
stock.
How
Wait
do
a
they
minute.
pay for food?
There's three. Just shut up. And when you don't know what you're talking about, and let me listen. You said the wrong things. They either use the cash dividends that they receive from their businesses, or more commonly, if the business is appreciated, they take out new stocks, pay back the old ones. And now they have new appreciated value.
What does it mean to take new stocks
take
and
on new
pay back
loans?
old ones? What does that
New
even
loans.
mean?
He meant new loans.
Yeah, to take out new loans. I'm sorry. Yes, they borrow a larger amount on their new appreciation,
pay back their old one,
the old loan, and continue it on into the future, paying zero taxes.
Okay,
three, they leave it until death, and they settle it as far as their estate.
Estate taxes
and then they pay estate taxes are 40%. If you take out a loan to pay back another loan. So we let you give your 3 points. First of all, dividends are taxed at regular income. You don't even get the preferred capital gains rate on those. So getting dividends from your stocks is not like a good tax strategy, actually. Second of all, taking out larger loans to pay back other loans, I guess you could do that, but this is simply kicking the can down the road. Again, eventually,
it's a limitlessly.
You could do this now. There's people who do this now, and there have been times in which the richest have come home to roost because Jeff Bezos did pay billions of dollars in taxes. And three, what was your third one again?
Estate taxes, which are
estate taxes, which is 40%.
Which should be higher, by the way.
Not of the business,
maybe it should be higher.
No, but
they're going to take it from your personal income that you've had an entire life to accrue.
Wait, now they have personal income?
No,
they take it from your net worth.
They don't have much. They don't have much personal income. I didn't say it's zero.
It's not. Hold on. It's not from your. Stop. The estate tax is not from your personal income.
It's
based on your overall transferred assets, which includes your stock. So when you die and you have all this stock and you transfer it to your kid, if it's over 11.4 million, which for Bezos and Musk and these people, it's way over that, they're paying 40% on that, which is higher than the capital gains rate. And higher than the income tax rate.
So they're dead at this point. They got to live exactly.
So after they die, they pay their taxes.
That's a different conversation than what you were talking about. You were saying that estate taxes.
They're selling their stocks to pay taxes.
They're paying their fair share in taxes.
Look at the chart. I posted a chart. Look at this. Share of all income earned compared to share of all taxes paid. The U.S. is a highly progressive tax system. It's just
I didn't say that.
Unquestionably.
I don't
No,
think
no, yes,
anybody's
you
denying
are.
that
And you
part.
are. You're all
I
of
know
these.
that
These
make
people don't pay
$100,000
taxes.
Pay the majority of taxes.
If
But you
you're
said
saying,
the
if
They
you're
pay a
saying-
higher percentage of taxes than the share of
Yes.
income they get.
And by the way, Bam, this is not incompatible with thinking that
Look at
that
the
tax
chart.
rate should increase. But it is. We need to have a fucking understanding of how taxations work in this country, and the idea that
You
billionaires don't. Huh?
You said that they were selling their stock to pay taxes. You said something stupid. Don't
Selling
act like you're
their
a champion in
stocks.
this
Of course, they're
conversation.
selling their stocks. How else do they?
They're
look at
not.
that
That's not
money?
happening.
Okay,
Wait,
Hold on. Bezos did not sell his stock and pay a $2.7 billion
he
tax
mailed-
bill that didn't happen.
No, he might not to sell, not for to pay taxes. He
No,
didn't sell
no,
them to
Wait,
pay
no.
taxes.
How did he pay
told
those
them to
taxes?
invest in some
Wait,
larger business.
You don't
his
sell
tax
to
record.
pay taxes. When you sell, you pay taxes. You can't use that until you sell it.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
so,
you can borrow
Wait,
against that loan and
wait.
still have
Bam,
to pay
Bam.
taxes.
I have a question. How do we have Jeff Bezos' tax records and it says that he paid, I don't know, how much was it?
Billions.
$10 billion?
Billions.
$10 billion.
I assume it was Amazon.
Did that happen
paid
or did that not happen? And if it did happen, how did that happen?
He didn't. I'm saying that he ended up selling a portion of his stock, but he didn't sell
Why?
it to pay back his loan.
Wait,
why did he sell?
He sold it-
Wait,
I wanna-
Bam,
He
what are
needed
you
capital to
talking
buy a
about?
super yacht
What are you
or
saying
something,
happened?
Whatever else he wanted to buy.
What are you saying happened? He didn't pay those taxes?
No,
The
I didn't say he
IRS
didn't
did
pay
not
those
collect
taxes.
that?
You said
Well,
that. You said
well,
that that's how he paid those for as income taxes. You said
It
he
doesn't
sold them
matter.
to pay
Wait,
off his loan.
wait, Bam.
All right.
It doesn't matter what he did.
Stop.
Wait. Don't say
Bam.
that. You
Bam.
What?
Did he or
I
did
agree.
he not pay $12 billion in taxes last year?
last year? I don't know.
Okay, that's
He
the
should have
fucking-
just taken out
Well,
more loans.
let's talk about that for a
Stop,
second.
What are we talking about? Lactoid, can you
Did
just? What was the number? What was the number that you came?
Yeah, let's look up. And is this
So,
is this-
while
is
you're
this
doing
income
that,
tax?
Gibbs,
Is
you
this
can say
total
whatever
tax?
you
What
want
tax
to
is
say.
Yeah,
this?
so
This is why I
this is
hate
really
the
this
fucking left.
so this is really
God
interesting to
damn
me because
I'm
you
not
know,
a leftist. You're more.
So-
He's not even a
left.
leftist.
Liberals
He's
are on the
talking
left.
like that.
so
yeah.
something interesting
Like
is
that.
happening here.
So
See,
condescending.
Bam,
See
see how we get
Yeah.
treated, Bam. See how we
So-
get treated.
So this is something interesting. I want to combine
Yeah.
kind of what Ali has been saying, right? He's been talking about like he wants the people can't afford rent, et cetera, and what's the
There's
solution?
no public record
tax-
on Jeff Bezos' taxes
Sure.
in 2025.
Great.
There's
great.
estimates. There's
Hold
estimates.
on. Just let me go, and then you can yell at each other again.
Trust me, bro.
So here's the deal, right? He's talking about, we want to be able to pay rent, et cetera, yada yada, right? This is what the people want. Republicans, the reason why they got behind Trump, similar reasons, they have populist reasons, right? Here's what's interesting. Hunter is actually, and Blacktown are kind of hitting something kind of like on the head here with like how y'all may not understand how the economics work, but then they're kind of like, then Hunter for sure is missing the boat, right? Which is, okay, if we're going to sit here and restructure taxes, right? Okay, how many, if I looked up how many billionaires there were, right? And then how much of their total like wealth they had accumulated together. They're about between about $8 to $9 trillion in wealth total. Now, the United States debt's about like 38 trillion last time I looked, right? So even if we took every penny they owed, we still wouldn't be able to go and fix what Ali is saying. And this is why y'all are going over here with all y'all's bullshit, because these programs aren't how you fucking fix these issues.
This is also stupid.
These people
Yeah.
are the ones that are providing the most jobs. Look at Elon. He's building the biggest factory of all time in Texas, right? This
To
is
pay
providing
people $15 an hour.
We're gonna have, like,
hundreds of
17
thousands of
employees.
jobs.
Get your
This stimulates the
$15 an
economy.
hour.
This creates other jobs like adjacent to it, which increases the economy.
Hell yeah.
This is how you get people to be able to pay rent.
Love
Not
jobs,
what y'all say.
$15
And this
an
is
hour.
why y'all are losing the middle, right? Because y'all are sitting here saying, even the like,
Yes.
bourgeoisie people in the
Particularly
middle are
billionaires,
going,
no.
okay, hey, let's just tax all the middle class. Let's change structure. Let's tax the rich
Amazon
even more.
receives 10%
Like, that's
of all
literally
federal
what y'all
income
just
tax
advocated for.
credits.
And then the other group is going socialism, and the independents are going, holy fuck, y'all are insane. Let's go vote Republican or not vote at all. And so, hey, keep doing what you're doing. This is why the incumbents are getting voted out on y'all side, because y'all sound like crazy people.
Okay.
Lactoid says something that doesn't seem verifiably true.
Lactoid, did you
Amazon
see
as a
the
company
fucking
receives
chat?
10% of all federal tax subsidies. There's no
Not
record
talking
on
about Amazon.
on his personal.
Yeah,
on
I
his
keep.
personal
Wait,
wealth,
and I called
the
this.
taxes,
I called
there's
this that
no
he
estimate.
confuses billionaires with
No, I'm not
corporations.
confusing. I'm saying something in order. That there's a first thing, and there's a second thing that comes after it.
Obviously, Amazon is not paying a lot of
Go ahead.
corporate
It's gonna be
taxes.
lame.
Go ahead. You
too.
can say the second thing. Go ahead.
Is that there is no public record related to how much Jeff Bezos
I
pays
answered
in
this.
personal federal income
I
taxes.
don't. You
There's not
can
even an estimate.
maybe you didn't hear
There's
me.
no estimate that exists because there's
There
no
is estimates.
information that exists.
There is estimates.
No,
There
it's
is
not.
estimates. Yes,
Hold
there
on,
is.
let me finish. Let Ben finish. Go ahead, Ben. What are you going to say?
I estimate he
They
paid
don't
nothing.
even- They don't even
You're
know
an
what he
idiot.
makes as far as
Yes.
personal
So
income.
no.
Yeah, I'm the
He
idiot,
sold
Hunter,
13.6 billion in 2024. The estimate is that if you sell 13.6 billion dollars in stock, he paid about 2.7 billion.
Wait, if you can't verify that, then how are you going to make that as your part of
Are
your?
you?
Because I don't have access to Jeff
Are you a fucking
Bezos'
idiot,
tax
Riddell?
returns.
Are you a fucking? Are you an idiot, Riddell? Are you dumb?
Stop.
No.
What the fuck are we
definitely
talking about? We can verify that he sold stocks. That
And
goes
that this
against
is a
BAM's
taxable event.
Stop.
Yeah,
Black
hold
Joy.
on.
This
I agree with
this
them.
goes against BAM's principles, which he's saying that they don't need to sell stock, that they can just perpetually hold on to stock for as long as they want to, and they just borrow against that
They don't
amount.
have to.
That goes against the verified activity
Not
that
for
Bezos
taxes.
multiple times sells stocks all the time.
So,
Yes.
hold on,
You think he
hold on.
sold-
Yeah, agreed. We should take all of Soros' money, and then
hold
the
on.
Democrats will never get any coming in there
And
again.
he pays taxes on those
I think there's
sales.
multiple things. I think there's multiple things happening here, right? So there's,
I think I'm
there's
working on
Realized
it.
happening.
gains.
There's multiple things happening, right? So I think, and I haven't checked what has been sold, what hasn't, right? I'm just going to go off of the things that you have all been saying, okay, right? If Jeff Bezos sells a certain number of stocks, right? Yes, that is a taxable event, right? And he
sold
should,
it to
unless
fund the
he's
aerospace
loopholing
company that
somehow,
was
right? He
tax
should
subsidized.
pay taxes on that event, right? That's separate, okay? And
Black Joy's gonna
then
disagree with the should, but
I
I
think
agree with the should.
Elon Musk
I
sold
think
16
what-
billion of Tesla stock and paid 11 billion in taxes.
Yeah. But hold on, but I think he's. But I think, and maybe Bam, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm misstating your point. I don't want to do that, right? But I think what you're saying is that there are other taxes outside of like stock sales, right? And then for those taxes, what they may be doing is like taking out loans, just like they do for most of their expenses. They take out loans
Like his
against their
personal- again,
collateral.
he's not
and then,
living.
He's a
off of
billionaire,
it.
but not getting
trying to
taxed on
say?
his billion.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's not living on these things. Like we looked up how much he sold because like you're talking about, he sold these things. He sold his stock last year to fund his Blue Origin space exploration company that's receiving a massive amount of tax subsidies.
Right.
So he's like, oh, okay, I need a little bit of cash flow for this, and I'm gonna make it back in subsidies.
No, that's not how that works.
Wait, what do you mean you
money.
make it back in subsidies? Subsidies are deduction. What are we talking about?
Yeah, so he
It's
doesn't
not
pay. He
positive
doesn't pay the
income.
tax there. He just paid it. With,
No, he
with the
does
sale.
pay the because if you liquidate,
He liquidated.
if you liquidate to then put into a company, you pay taxes on what you liquidated, even if the
crazy.
company gets
But
subsidies.
but then
even
it
if the company
subsidizes
gets
you.
tax deductions.
The subsidized
But
isn't
the
positive
company's
income.
profitable.
It's a deduction.
Hold on,
But
Bam.
the company's
What you
profitable.
Bam is what
And
you're
this is why
saying,
subsidies are bad.
Hold on. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm trying to help here, right?
We're not
And
having that fucking
guys,
argument.
I can't verify any of this, right? So I'm just going over what you're saying. Bam, is what you're saying that yes, he took it out, right? There was a taxable event, right? When he sold the
Right.
stock, right? But then like he did other things with that with the rest of that money,
Not like
right?
personal. It's not like, oh, I'm using this to pay my bills.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Put that
Make me
somewhere
money.
else, right? And you're
Uh-huh.
and I think what you're saying is that the cumulative tax burden after you add all that up is that he comes out ahead. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, puts it into a profitable.
He comes out
billion-dollar
ahead.
company.
He
doesn't have to
makes
pay
more
taxes.
money off of. Hold on. Wait, let me be really clear about what you're saying right now. You are saying that Jeff Bezos. Let's pretend for a second that the IRS doesn't exist all of a sudden. Now Jeff Bezos loses money. That's what you're saying?
No, he's saying he gains money.
No,
No,
right.
yeah.
So he's gaining money because of the IRS.
No, because
saying-
it's
no, no, no,
depreciating
he's lowering-
value
I
of the
think what he's
company
saying-
that he's investing into.
He's
That's what
lowering his
referring
hold
to.
on. He's lowering his. I think what he's saying, and again,
You said
Bam,
he comes
correct me
out
if I'm wrong,
ahead.
'cause I don't want to. I don't want
Because of the
to.
tax-
Because of the appreciating value of
Because
the
I
stock
believe
that
what
he's
he's saying
utilizing.
is that
That's
there's a-
different. What are we talking?
Let's say hold on.
That's what he's referring to.
That's
There's a-
different.
But hold on,
That's
there's a-
making
there's a-
making
okay,
money.
bro.
Obviously, he
There's-
is.
wait a
What
second,
the
hold on,
fuck
hold
are
on,
we
a second,
talking
hold on.
about?
Hold on, Hunter. I
Yeah,
think
we're-
what's saying,
we're
again,
missing
I could
each
be
other,
wrong,
I'm
and
not lying.
please correct me, right? But I
You
think
just
what
don't
he's saying
understand, Riddell.
is that there's a
I understand
there's a-
completely, but we're just
No,
Stop
no,
it,
no.
guys. Stop it. There's a cumulative tax burden, right? For all these different events. There's a whole list of different tax events, right? That can happen, and much more for a person like Elon Musk, right?
Yes.
And then, but like because of how complex the tax code is, right? Maybe we should get rid of that. I don't know, right? But because of how complex the tax code is, right?
Shut the fuck
like,
up, Black
be-
Toy. You're on my
if
side,
you-
remember?
if you're investing that money, or if you're like if you're doing various actions with that money, you can lower your tax burden in various ways, right?
Okay.
And the cumulative, hold on, you don't know you can lower your tax burden. right?
Wait,
Depending
hold
where you put the
on.
money.
If you're saying obviously you can hold money into stocks and then you're going to pay less taxes than if it were liquidated, yeah, duh, that's good. Obviously,
That's not what
we
I'm
wanna-
saying.
Okay,
But even
what are
if
you
it's
saying?
liquidated,
That's
what
what I'm
I'm saying,
saying. Right.
I'm
What
using
I'm-
this money for something else. I can
Yeah,
do
yeah, yeah.
like that.
there's a whole list of subsidies, right? Lacto, hold on. Hopefully, I'm not sounding crazy to you, right? There's a whole list of subsidies, right, and tax benefits if you do certain actions with your money, right?
Obviously.
And
Yeah.
okay, great. So then I
I'm on
believe
board.
what Bam is saying is that like what Elon Musk sells that stock, right? There's a tax event, right?
Massive tax event.
What he does with the non-taxed portion, right? Whatever he does with it, that cumulatively lowers his tax burden. So yes, he does pay that initial tax, but like
No.
if he had just like taken out and just put in the bank, right? His tax burden would have been higher if he hadn't invested.
No.
in wherever he
Let
invested.
me, I understand.
Sorry.
Okay, here's the confusion. So we're not talking about corporate assets here because there's depreciation and all that stuff. We're talking about personal assets. So you can reduce your overall taxable income if you give to charity. So let's say I have $100, right? If I let's say I've got a stock worth $100, right? Or even make it even easier. I go to a job and I make $100. I now have $100 in my hand. I'm paying a tax rate on that full $100. If I give 50 of those dollars to charity, I am now only paying tax on $50, but I'm still paying tax on that $50. I'm just not paying tax on the money that I gave to
And
charity.
to be clear,
What if I
you
gave
are
all-
going.
what
Wait,
if
hold
I
on.
gave
To
all
be
100?
clear, the way that marginal tax rates work, which by the way we were just making fun of people not understanding it, you will necessarily have less money than after the charitable donation. You can't be making more money.
Yes.
It's impossible. If you give a
in terms
charitable
of-
donation, you will be making less money. Your just taxation percentage as a whole will be less.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
hon,
so-
but I think
And
that's
so using
and
I
so
think
and
that's what
so
you were
and,
saying,
and this
though.
is the critical thing, right? This is
Auction
why
can make money
when I
on
post
the
charts
tax.
showing that rich people disproportionately pay a share of taxes compared to the amount of money they bring in. When I bring up literal events of Jeff Bezos in 2024 paying $2.7 billion in taxes because of sold Amazon stock, and I post
a guess
another
estimate.
empirical, I guess, case study of Elon Musk paying $11 billion worth of taxes when he liquidated his Tesla stock. Yes, these people pay taxes and they have to liquidate their stock sometimes. I don't disagree that they can take out loans on their stock, but the chickens will come home to roost. You will have to pay that at some point.
I want to clear something up with Bam, right? Because like when I said before, at least when I thought everyone was on the same page, maybe we weren't, right? When I was saying, hey, he made more, right? What I meant like is more than he would have otherwise if he didn't lower his tax burden.
No,
right?
That's incorrect.
No.
But
That would
Bam,
not
is that what
happen.
you meant? That's what that's the point. That's
I'm
the
saying that
example
I'm saying
trying
that
to make
if
here.
he's
But Bam,
put
is that what
taking
you
this,
meant?
if he's taking this money and he's giving it to a government preferential business, something that the government has an interest in, and they're saying that, oh, okay, we're actually going to lower your tax burden. Like we want you to put the capital into it, so we're not going to tax you on this capital that you're gaining. And,
No,
and
they are
this-
taxing
you're
him.
putting it into a profitable business.
They tax him when he liquidates.
Yes, if you sell your stock and then you put all that money into a business, you pay taxes on the liquidated stock. Yes.
Yes, but it will be less because you will get subsidized. I agree that
No, the
subsidization
business will,
happens.
not you. It's very important to keep this separately.
Sure.
Yes,
Sure,
you
but you're-
pay the full taxes.
Sure.
The business gets subsidizes later.
Okay.
But-
Can
but
I?
it's essentially the
go
same
ahead,
as a
can I,
donation. Like
Connor.
what you're going to pay taxes
It's
on.
not. No,
is
it's not a
like-
donation. No. The donation, reducing your taxable income for like a charitable donation, only applies if you give it to a charity, not if you invest it into a business.
Connor,
But what-
I
but
planned on
that's gonna be
I planned on
defined based
being
off of what type
here
of business
for
it is.
3.5 hours or whatever. So if you guys are going to keep fighting about tax policy, can I say
I
goodnight?
want
Yeah,
to give my outro too, and I want.
okay, yeah. Why don't we give our we could do that. And before that, let me just do super chats very quickly. Thank you for the kindness. Audacity 69, who I think I've seen you before a long time. At least I think I recognize this this avatar, but I don't know. Maybe that was someone else. But anyway, thank you,
I think that's
Audacity
from Dragon
69.
Ball Z.
I know.
He's gonna murder you one of these days. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna show up to a debate, and this time I get killed.
I wouldn't commit any violence. Right? I'd like to tell your prosecutor friends that Prime doesn't engage in violence.
You got it out. Don't worry.
But shout out Wish Blaster, which is what they said. Thank you for the $5 super chat. And then finally another one from Audacity 69. How do I stay out of black people's business? I don't know. Did that come up? Oh, black people's business.
It's hard. It's hard. The business is really entertaining. I'm not gonna lie.
We do have a lot of business.
Yeah, and it's entertaining.
Indeed.
Yeah, we're
Definitely a lot
we're pretty dope people actually.
I support black business.
True that part.
When's the last time you supported a black business like Toy?
I have a really good joke, but given new Twitch standards, I don't know if I should say. Go ahead.
All right, well,
my great grand.
That is not what I was going. That is actually the.
Oh no!
Cancel him.
It's crazy. Holy shit. Okay, that was a better joke than I had.
My bad.
Thank you all. So we're gonna give an outro to these amazing people. I really appreciate it. We had a great conversation here. I actually wanted to go back to the incumbent thing because I think there was more to talk to there, but talk about there. But I thought I had a great conversation. This is really what I wanted. Shout out to Bam, who inspired this conversation last week, right? We clearly have different opinion, and that's not going to change anytime soon. But I appreciate my friend Bam coming on here and being so kind as to sharing his opinion, getting into the fight, right? I even appreciate Hunter. I do. I appreciate people who disagree with me. That's always been the case, right? Gibbs disagrees with me much more. Gibbs is a homie. So shout out to everyone who came in here, and we had a lively discussion. We filled out almost the entire portion of time, right, on just this topic. So I really appreciate you, all of you. So let's go to our friend Lactoid for his outro.
All right. Be very quick about this. You can find me at Lactoid TV on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. 2, no taxes because know thy enemy, critically important. And 3, this is where I alienate all of you Dems. I think you're all huffing massive copium if you're not pretending that you're not going to say the exact same thing the next Republican candidate and the one after that and the one after that. What is my evidence for this? Well, we can take a look at not only every single president, but let's take a look at one of the more prominent recent ones. George W. Bush, May 2008. What was his favorability amongst Democrats? 10% with a 90% unfavorability rating. What about 2017? That's not too much later, right? 2017, 51% favorability amongst Democrats. They switched on a dime. All of a sudden, Bush, who they had hated just before Obama, now, well, he wasn't so bad. Look how much better he is than Trump. The same shit's going to happen. Whatever candidate, whatever the Republicans put up, they're going to say, well, even Trump was better than this guy. We have to vote no matter who. That is what will happen. Mark my words.
Well, yeah, I'm not voting for a Republican.
The man speaks. The man speaks truth, right? Except when he's talking about socialism, but he speaks truth most of the time. Shout out to you, Lecter. Seriously.
Can I bet $20 on that?
You don't think that's going to happen against him?
I think if it's Vance, it will. I think if it's Rubio, it won't.
You think
so? Yeah, I'll bet Lactoid. I'll bet Lactoid $20 that Trump will be a unique villain in American Republican history.
I will take that bet, but I need to know what the time scale is. Are we allowing for I guess what the is there Democrat candidate in between?
Yeah, literally whatever makes sense. So for instance, if a Democrat wins, we're not. Well, I guess we would find out, or we wouldn't find out. We would eventually.
Yeah, we would eventually find out. Yeah, I will say, I think that Trump's approval. Now, I believe Trump's approval rating will increase substantially. What that means, I don't know. I don't know if it's going to hit 50%, but it will increase.
Literally, I mean, I know $20 is nothing. We're probably going to forget that we even have this bet. But if we remember that we have this bet, and we get through the first term of the first Republican after Trump. I bet $50 that Trump is going to be reviled as a uniquely shitty Republican.
I would take that bet too.
If you give it a whole term of a different president first, I'll take that bet. Yeah, $20.
Okay.
Oh, you don't have a chance within the next decade.
Clip it and ship it, someone. So
You can't dox me though. I don't know how I'm gonna get you the $20, but I'll super chat it or something. I don't know. Figure it out.
We'll find a way to dox you. Don't worry.
Let's go.
We might not be alive in 8 years. Okay, let's fucking.
Hopefully, my good friend the Lactoid will be around in 8 years, and also Hunter because he's got the beautiful children, and we want him to be around for his children.
Just my children. That's all that you care about.
You've already fulfilled your evolutionary purpose.
It's your only fun.
As an atheist, deterministic, postmodern, neo-Marxist, you know me.
Go ahead, Hunter, please.
Yeah, I do think that the tax policy genuinely is really showing why I find DSA candidates so abhorrent. It's because they think that like free fucking grocery stores, like genuinely, I know everyone's like, but maybe it'll work. If the grocery stores work, if the city-owned grocery stores work that are operating at 30% below the median citywide policies function, if those function, I have to like genuinely throw out everything that I ever have known about economics. And like the Marxists have won, and I will surrender to the DSA. I'll be like, the Marxists were right. I don't know what the hell is going on anymore. I don't know anything about how the economy functions. So until that happens, I'm gonna stick the landing and say that I hate DSA, but you know, if it ends up functioning, you know, I'll be on your team because something is broken. I don't know what the hell. No one should trust my opinion ever.
Okay. To be clear, they're not free grocery stores. Just
citywide grocery stores. Citywide.
Okay, fair enough. But thank you so much, Hunter, and we'll see. Right? I'm curious how they'll work as well.
I'm not curious. I know how they'll work.
Okay, fair enough. And hey, well,
but I could be wrong. Who knows?
Let's go to our friend Admiral Gibbs.
Yeah, as one of the more principled people here, I just want to say, like, real simply, you know, don't vote one color no matter what, right? Like, I don't like Dan Patrick. He got to go. He's not what we want here in Texas. He's failing us, right? So, you know, overall, when we looked at this stuff, all this economic policy they were pushing in their fact, just like Hunter said, they don't really understand economics, right? You know, Hunter might understand it, but he wants to use his understanding of it to oppress you. And this is why y'all are all starting to shift towards the Republican Party. Independents don't like it. And I'm very glad that the DSA is coming in here because it's just proving that the liberal world order is dying and dead. And the liberals just don't know it yet because y'all been uppity and y'all been arrogant and y'all haven't listened to people like Ali from your own party. And you know what? I'm glad that the chickens have come home to roost, Baba Boucher, because guess what? You're getting whoopings now. And y'all can say, oh, only a couple candidates won. But, you know, it's just the start. We're seeing a little more get elected every time. Bigger candidates get elected. And guess what? Y'all are getting pushed out. And y'all can feel it. And guess what? The pan-Arab socialists and the socialists in general are kicking your ass. And, you know, I don't really like the socialists, but you know what? I really don't like the libs either. They're terrible. So I guess if I have to pick one, you know, I'd rather the libs. But, hey, you know, a win's a win for us. And I hope that y'all keep pushing insanity because it's going to keep pushing people to Republicans. If you love what I have to say or hate what I have to say, find me everywhere. It's Admiral Gibbs.
We don't like you either, so I appreciate it.
Liberals are the scum of the earth. Let's go to our friend Riddell, who I like despite being part of that scum. But like, he's cool. Go ahead.
You know, I just feel like there's a very clear issue going on right now in America with this current administration, and I do think, if possible, getting past it will be pretty dope. Ultimately, it is a calculation to kind of get past everything we're going on right now. And then the stuff with the socialism, I do think there's an interesting argument on like what proper line should be drawn to ensure that it doesn't grow. But ultimately, just because people are espousing progressive policies doesn't necessarily mean they're aligned with socialists. A lot of them pretty clearly said that they're not part of the platform. Even more like centrist-y Democrats are pushing out like more progressive policies as well attached to their platform because it just appeals to the people to get votes at the end of the day. So that is what's going on right now. I'm not a no vote blue no matter who individual. I'm a let's stop fascism, let's stop communism type of individual. So as long as we kind of, you know, better America, that's what matters. And a lot of y'all be yapping, I'm not gonna lie. So and you guys need to chill out sometimes. You too, Hunter. I think Hunter, you need to be nicer.
That was
to the
obviously
average
towards
voter.
Me. I agree.
No, you be yapping.
I don't agree.
Don't worry.
I understand
because
that.
at the end of the day, in order for politics to change, the voters have to be on board. That's just
Yeah, but I also feel like I gotta educate them, and sometimes.
But in order to educate them, you have to, you know,
you have to have them listen to you.
They have to listen to your proposition. That's the important part.
Maybe I'm not sure
they
about
can't.
Super condescending.
Well, that's just how it works.
No,
people are not gonna listen to you.
Hunter, I would like to actually talk to you about like the billionaire thing at some point, maybe one-on-one, just to have a conversation, a calm.
I will try to have a calm conversation.
No,
I don't promise
because maybe
no. I think I can have a calm conversation. I'd love to talk about it.
No, Hunter, you know some really good facts, and I probably agree with you a lot more than often, but sometimes relax.
Sometimes I go crazy.
You got to relax a little bit. Final thing. Purple Political Breakdown. That's my podcast. Feel free to check it out. Next audio episode dropping tomorrow. I had a conversation with Mr. Beat, and we talked about the House of Representatives and uncapping the House. So feel free to listen to that when it drops.
We should also abolish the Senate. That's pretty good. DSA's for that.
Well, I didn't say that. Well.
Because you're a filthy liberal. Anyway, wait, let's go to our friend Counterpoints.
Like liberals aren't in favor of abolishing the Senate.
And another one of my homies, Counterpoints, I'm really happy that you were here. I really enjoyed, I always enjoy hearing your points. I wish I could have heard more from you, Counterpoints, right? Because I think you always have a really interesting perspective. Whether I agree or disagree, I always have a lot of fun with it, whatever you're going to say. So hopefully we can get you back again. Hopefully we can have another conversation.
I'll try to make it a more frequent occurrence. I think the lefties took it easy on us tonight by fighting amongst themselves passionately for the first 30 to 40 minutes. So realistically, it was an easy night. So looking forward to the next one being a little bit more challenging. But I hope you appreciated me rolling grenades into the discourse every now and then. So what I would say in reference to this topic, I am a moderate. I do think that I made a moderate calculus in reference to this last election. However, if the moderates don't want to lose out to the generational changing of the guard that's happening right now, both on the left and the right, then they actually need to govern, which means looking at American problems and actively trying to solve them. I don't think that while I am with Hunter in massive agreement that the American electorate is a bunch of dipshits and that they shouldn't be trusted with more than a sharpened spoon. At the same time saying, hey, you're a dipshit who shouldn't be trusted with more than a sharpened spoon. I'm sorry that your rent doubled in the past 10 years, but get good, you fucking loser. That's probably not a winning electoral message. So
I probably agree.
Right. So we should probably work on actual solutions that appeal to Americans and figure out how to market them to actual Americans, even if I agree with that sentiment. Then what I would say is that if you were interested in me yapping at all, then you can find me in a variety of places. I'm primarily a science fiction YouTuber, so Counterpoints 40K is where I break down the wonderful world of Warhammer. But if you want to see more political commentary or live streams, you can check out Counterpoints Politics. That's where I stream on Tuesdays, 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And then the rest of the week, same time frame, 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. EST, I'm live on Valor Media Network, VALOR Media Common Spelling Network, Common Spelling. So come check me out.
Thank you so much. Also, Lagtwood agrees with the condescension because he doesn't agree with democracy and wants to vastly limit it with literacy tests.
And IQ tests.
Yeah. What'd you say?
And IQ tests.
And IQ tests.
And IQ tests, indeed.
I've accepted the libertarian.
That would be such a fucking blue wave. I'm excited for it.
Look, you think so? I don't know about that.
I'm not so sure. But let's go to our friend Ali. Thank you. Ali is trying to fight the good fight. I see you there, brother. Always a homie. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, of course. Thanks for having me. See, Riddell, the issue is I can't speak for everyone else here, but it's hard to yap. It's hard to stop yapping when you're just so right. Right? When I'm correct, when I know what the fuck's going on, and I just have to profess to all of you what's happening. Right? I'm trying to lead the sheep to the down to the flock.
The sheep.
But yeah, no, Prime, thanks for having me, guys. I love the conversations. Once again, Monday's always my favorite night. And as always, free Palestine.
As always, free Palestine every day. All right, we got to get that message out. All right, so I'm going to rate out.
Yeah, I'm sure people don't know.
I mean,
sure
no one will do anything about it. So
yeah.
So it's clearly helping.
because it's inconvenient. I'm gonna raid out
Keep it
to a
chugging along,
woman
guys.
who looks black, so Lactoid gets a chance to pretend to
W
support a black
colorism.
business again.
Hell yeah.
And so I can give that a try. Come back next week; it'll be great. We'll do more stuff. It'll be fantastic. And raid. Thanks, guys.
Beautiful.
All right, friends. Peace.
Bye.
Peace.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for tuning in. Yeah, Gibbs did not fight. Gibbs did not fight with Connor. That was crazy. I expected a big fight. There was a massive fight in DMs. That's the thing. Like, they were just going at each other in fucking DMs prior to this discussion. And then the discussion happened and there was no debate. Or there was a debate, but it wasn't like super, aggro. It wasn't super aggro at all. Get rid of governments, free humanity. Look, I love where you're at. We're gonna raid on out now. Thank you all so much. We're gonna raid out into our friend Gibbs because I don't know. Maybe he's still going. I don't know. Raid Admiral Gibbs. All right, have fun. Oppose the DSA. Oppose these commies. Always, always oppose these commies.